We are live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Plat Valorant episode 228. I was told last week, without me, you all had a fun little time, a positive little time. It's time for misery to return.
Oh,
No.
well, I thought it was our best episode ever, to be honest.
It probably was. It probably was. I think this might be wrong at this point, but I think the highest viewed episode ever. I think the top two are without me, which is great. I mean, listen, that's fine.
Good.
Get me out. Get me out. I'm
Follow
totally fine with that. Yeah. All you need to do is just plot on a graph who gets the most viewership and then bring them on every single week. I don't have any problem with that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's still correct.
Wow.
It's still correct.
Damn.
Perfect. All right. So last week's is set to be another absolute barn burner, and I'm going away on holiday actually for the next kind of couple of weeks. So
We've got some successful podcasts coming up. You just got to wait a week.
the ad revenue is going to go absolutely crazy.
Kurt gets to eat. Yay!
Me food. Well, Kurt is eating good this week because it's a sponsored episode, and we've always got our members' support back there, which I appreciate massively too. I mean, if you become a member, you get access to a bunch of extra, stuff behind the scenes, bonus content. You would get access to our live tickets if we were doing them again, which who knows, but hopefully. But you also get to ask us a question every week. And the question for this week is a good one, honestly, but it's so flamey. It is, what are the top 5 worst partnership teams? How are we starting a positivity episode with this question, Kurt?
It's
What are we
hard
supposed to do
mode
with this?
positivity. Hard mode positivity.
The challenge run.
The thing that I would say is more difficult about us is getting into this topic within the first 5 minutes of the episode where we can't swear.
That's true.
So true. Well, I mean, it all ties together.
Hard mode.
It's a challenge episode.
Thank God there's a sponsor on this.
So Armed, one of our valued members, asks, with the recent disaster that has been FURIA, now that's their words, not mine. I'd say they're trying really hard. And a lot of talk about the greatest teams of all time due to the game's 5th birthday. Who do you think is so harsh? Who do you think are the top 5 worst teams post-partnership? Example, now I just want to point out, you didn't need to give an example. We understood the premise. But example 2023 Karmine Corp. Feel free to include or not include China.
I got one off the top of the dome.
Go on.
Oh.
Well, okay. Do we include Ascension teams?
No, because
I mean, if they ascended.
teams.
It says
No,
post-partnership era.
But
Yeah,
what's
if
the
they
word
ascended-
partnership team, they're not a partnership team.
But it doesn't specify partnership.
I mean, well, who are you going to say?
Bleed.
I mean, that is up
I mean,
there.
that's
And
just,
you know
yeah.
what? That's a cheap dunk as well, because they're not
Yeah.
around to defend themselves and no one cares about them anymore. So
And they'll
yeah,
never
actually.
be back to defend themselves as they should be.
But also, even if we weren't just getting a cheap dunk on them, they really were like abominable. They messed up everything in terms of like the team dynamic inside the team. The actual gameplay was really rough as well. Like they didn't really have anything going on. They put Yay on like Viper and Sky. It was tragic.
They got a lot of
Yeah.
impressions, though, on social media.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
I think that Bleed might have actually been the bell curve of where like bad press, where they say like, oh, bad news is still like news, like you're still getting clicks and all this kind of stuff. I think we finally hit that point where it's like, oh no, this is actually just awful and we need to stop. So I don't know.
I think, listen, again, it's difficult to be positive, but Fury is definitely one of those teams that have consistently underperformed their own expectations, let's say, year on year. And some of that is to do with the problems that they've had, like getting people into the country and stuff. I mean, this year it feels a little... It's not totally harsh, is it? They have been kind of poopy, and the roster doesn't look amazing anyway, but they've also not been able to perform. They started out with their sub-roster, and then they've ended with a roster that doesn't even have their full 5, barely had their coach here until the very end. And they might... I was reading a recent interview that said they might not even get their full 5 there until, like, maybe week 4, maybe week 5. So Basic might get 1 game on stage.
But also they are like I was so in last week for like giving them a backup and be like, yeah, guys, don't bully them. But dude, they don't even have an anti-KO. Like it's crazy the amount of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've seen better. I actually expect better stuff from 5 ranked players if you put them together that were at a high level. The stuff that they're doing is actually really bad as well. So I wasn't in for dunking on them, but I actually want to dunk on them. I think I would put 2025 Furia in there. I would put 2023 was a good year. 2023 DFM.
2020, yes, DFM have got to go in there.
Yeah,
man.
I would say 2023 Gen.G kind of deserves a shout as well. They fumbled real hard and they just
Were they that
went on
bad?
they went on a downward spiral like very quickly and they just couldn't
we're
recover like
talking-
mental
That was
or
when they started
worst.
4-0. That's when they started 4-0 and then won nothing else basically for Gen.G in 2023. But are we looking at the as a whole, or are
right?
we?
Because I thought it was like the whole partnership era.
They
No, I
do say
think-
Karmine Corp 2023, so I guess
Exactly.
we're able to take
Oh,
snippets.
okay.
I think they're able to
Okay.
take
Yeah.
years. Now, that year was also, I mean, 23 in EMEA was phenomenal. You had Karmine Corp. Now, Karmine Corp are a funny one because I think they would still beat this year's Furia because the player quality was just way higher.
I think this is the worst iteration of any partnership team we've ever seen right now with Furia. They would lose to
Again, they're
everyone.
not playing with their full roster. It is a
Sure,
little.
Sure. I agree.
I
But
mean,
they would lose to everyone.
It's rough.
For sure.
It is very rough. Like that 2023 team though was so funny. I think that's what Furia are missing right now as well. They're not funny with it. Some
yeah.
bad
Kinda
teams,
sad.
Nothing, yeah.
some
It
bad
is
teams
sad.
are so fun to watch because they are just clowning around. But yeah, when you watch them, they are just a bit sad. It was like watching MIBR 20. Now, was that 23 or was that 24? I can't even remember because they had 2 bad years.
20.
24?
When,
I think
when
they
did
were
the-
both horrible.
Which year was the knife incident? 'Cause that
Knife
the funny
incident was
one.
23
That's
because that's when
Oh,
EG
yeah,
went
yeah.
on their
Yeah.
Oh,
run.
you're right.
right?
You're
Yeah,
right.
of
You're
course.
right.
Yeah,
But
that's,
24 was also bad, and I can't
It
remember
was
the
also
details
not
to be
great.
honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking China, what's funny in China is the teams that you would look at as like
Yep.
the glue teams. We've been talking a long time about
Yeah,
Thai
enough.
glue, all gluers.
glue.
They're in playoffs. And honestly, they're not looking that bad. Like I was watching AG play against FPX, and I'm like, man, like this team's actually looking
Yeah.
okay.
I wouldn't put any of the Chinese teams, at least this year, in. And I think
No,
the
not
other
this
years
year.
they were playing catch up. So I think the Chinese teams are kind of fine. I think the other teams are more. They don't really have an excuse. I would say 2023 GE as well, considering how good their roster was.
23 Heretics and BBL were
Heretics was
bad.
Heretics,
dude.
yeah. 23.
BBL at least had some like, you know, shining moments where they would like pick a scent and beat people, but
mate. 2023 was crazy.
I mean,
There
there's
was
so many teams you
shit
could pick
teams.
out.
there's a ton.
yeah.
There's an
Wild.
absolute ton that you could put because, like, honestly, like, even like 23 Talon, like they had some moments,
23
but they
Talon
also
was
like they tried to do the triple duelist
Yeah,
on
triple
Split.
duelist, man, yeah.
Like there was some weird stuff that was going on. There's a ton of just all of 2023.
We should make an episode.
Every
on
team-
this. It'll be the
Every team that
negative
didn't go to
show.
champs.
honestly, I think it is like a really fun topic to discuss, just going down memory lane talking about the
Yeah.
bad teams. But
Yeah, a lot of them.
there
When
are
do we
a
get
lot of them.
when do we compile our top 10 WOT players? Just worst of all time.
The problem is,
No
like,
way.
I don't
some
wanna
of the
get
worst
so
of all time
serious.
players, they'd only
that's
play
so
like
messed
one match ever or something, or like 2 matches. You know what I mean? Like, I got to be honest with you. There's some contenders this year though as well. I don't think we should talk about that though.
If they only played like 1 or 2 matches, you don't have to worry about any backlash from.
Wow.
I mean, it's also just like punching down so hard.
Yeah, that's not.
Anyway, let's move on to. I think we got through that without swearing, as far as I'm aware.
I did one.
Oh,
But it was
out of all
after
people.
5 minutes. It was after 5 minutes. Relax yourselves.
Oh, okay.
I've never been responsible for. Actually, that's a lie. The video. I think that maybe.
That one was before the 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that was cuts. Those cuts full for playing it.
That is true. It's my fault.
Just gonna blame Kurt. Crazy for that one.
Oh, you
Actually.
played the video. it's shared
I
blame.
asked for the video too.
Yeah, I gave him the warning.
All right. Well, because our episode may or may not have been demonetized, it's time for us to get you on board with our sponsor for this episode. A shout out to the people at Factor Meals for sponsoring the episode again, consistently giving us support. So go and check them out because what they offer is tasty, chef-prepped meals, dietitian approved, delivered right to your door so that you don't have to worry about ordering expensive delivery food, making up food yourself, learning how to cook, any of that kind of stuff. Instead, they've got more than 65 weekly meals made for how you live. Okay, I don't know how you live, to be honest with you. But It's plenty of different options to help you if you have a busy schedule or various different summer plans. Are you trying to get absolutely shredded like Sliggy? If so, they've got options for that. Are you trying to live your best little snacking life like Achilles? I think I hear some munching in my ear from him over there with his beer and his snacks.
Yeah.
If you're looking to go that route, then they've got options for that as well. So what you need to do is you can eat smart at factormeals.com/Valorant50off and use code Valorant50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That is code Valorant50off at factormeals.com for 50% off plus free shipping. Delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. All right, let's move on.
If I
to
had
some Valorant.
Factor in my zip code, if they delivered and had a thing in Korea, I wouldn't have to eat Doritos, which are also delicious and should sponsor the show. Doritos, the food for gamers.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to just
Nice.
subsist purely off Doritos for the rest of your life, then I guess consider checking out our sponsor for this episode. Let's get into Pacific, shall we? So we had an absolute stinker week in Americas last week. I tuned into some of Pacific. I didn't consider it a stinker week, even though a lot of the games were 2-0s.
Nah, it was like
seemed-
unexpected 2-0s. I think that's
very
that's the thing.
unexpected. Too.
Some
Yeah.
astoundingly unexpected
Yeah.
2-0s. And well, let's start with Gen.G playing against Team Secret, shall we? So Gen.G beat Team Secret. This is not one of the games that I watched. I watched Gen.G in the previous week lose to RRQ, but I still felt pretty good about Gen.G, and I felt like they were doing all right. What was happening in this game? Is there reason to still believe in Team Secret despite them not winning the map here?
No.
No.
You know,
Well,
and look, I don't mean to be a pedant. I don't want to be a jerk. I'm not trying to.
You are a Team
shit on
Secret
anybody.
hater.
Yeah, you really are.
yeah.
Okay, and this is why I'm trying to
Positivity
preface this.
episode, Seth.
This is
Positivity.
okay. Look, this is why I'm trying to preface this.
Okay.
I said that I was going to have a soft reset with my opinion on Secret, given the changes.
Yep.
I think they might have regressed significantly. I think that this might be worse than everything we were seeing previously.
Everything in their
Damn.
history.
No, this year.
This year, really?
Well,
God, was it that bad?
I didn't think it was that bad. I was more impressed with like how good Gen.G looked, but I would say on par with how Team Secret looked. Like it looks relatively the same. It's just MV being consistently good and looks like he needs more help again.
The reason why I say that they're regressing is because there's still just so many fucking weird just role things that are happening on this team. Like
they
there's
cleaned that up a little bit though.
I mean, a little bit.
That's SP's on Omen now, like Perma.
That's like going over to Asmongold's apartment. He's like, "Oh, I cleaned up a little bit," and he moved like a fucking can to the side. It's still a dump in there. Come on, man. Like, it's not to start beef cross on streams and shit, but like, come on.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he's really interested in what we
Yeah,
have to say
he's a
about
big
it.
viewer.
Yeah. And a great guy with great political opinions too. So wouldn't want to piss him off. Fucking idiot.
I think, I kind of side more with Sliggy. I don't think the needle moves much for Secret. I think it's, if anything to me, it's just more like Secret might know like which direction they want to move in and what's going to be good for them in the long run. Obviously, the long run doesn't exist anymore for 2025, but like that's like the hopium you can maybe get. But at the end of the day, I don't think they looked any better or worse. It's just
I can tell you a
Gen.G
piece of hopium.
Go on.
They were winning like 75% of their pistols. God damn, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Don't
gotta
even
set
try
you
this.
off on the
Don't
right
even
foot.
Fucking try this.
I mean, that's a really good pistol round win rate. As long as like, because you're always winning like 90% of your follow-up rounds anyway.
Ooh.
Did you? I mean, I forgot actually. I did watch this game. I had blanked it out of my memory when I did the intro, but I was watching this game because I was watching it at the same time as I was co-streaming China because China was like, well, honestly, this game just
So
happened
important
too
games, yeah.
quickly. It happened too quickly for me
It
to
was,
be
yeah.
able to fill the gaps. But yeah, they were winning 75% of their pistols, something like that. But they were only winning 65% of their follow-up rounds after
Yeah.
winning pistol. I've never heard of a team do it so bad.
They're like the inverse Vision Strikers who never won pistols but always won the series. They're always winning the pistols but they're not winning the series.
That's not great, to be honest.
No.
And their buy rounds,
Astounding.
the only buy rounds they're winning, honestly, are kind of just clutches, at least in this series.
Yes.
Like, no joke, it was literally just pistol and clutches. That was like the only rounds they won. It's pretty
Gen.G
rough.
were on fire though.
Dude,
I remember
Karen.
watching
Yeah.
it. Karen
Karen
was
was
like
back.
massacring people, and Ash playing astoundingly well as well. Like compared to what he was doing at the start of the season when he first joined, Ash is like leveled up since Toronto.
I feel better and better every single time I watch Gen.G. It looks nice. I think the meta suits them, and then this is like the only map in terms of Ascent that they're not playing Viper, and Munchkin's good enough with the KO util
He's so good.
to make sure that you can kind of run the old school comp. So they're in a great place. I think yeah, you highlighted Ash. He's playing sick, which also I don't know if we want to talk about the
Yeah,
news
let's bring
today.
it up. Yeah.
Well,
Because what does this mean?
They've signed Lakia. Now I don't understand
put some
this.
respect to his name, the Lakia of Valorant.
Lakia.
Right?
The
They
La-
signed the
Lakia
Lakia
the
of Valorant.
Lakia of Valorant. Now, there's only one. There's only one Lakia of Valorant, but he's back on Gen.G. What the hell? What the hell going on out here?
Well, do
Chris-
we want to first talk about him being back on Gen.G or him being a 6-man on a Korean team? Because
Is
there's a
he a
little
6-man?
deja vu here.
Yeah, true.
And yeah, the last time that didn't go very well for him. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say my guess is he's back on the market. He has said that he's going to be looking for a team like starting stage 2. Obviously, not the best time for the market. I think Gen.G he reached out early as well, right? Because obviously they have history. They figured let's just get him now before the competition gets rough. He can be a really good playing coach. You know, at the very least, we know that he was a very integral part of the comms. He might be able to help with that. Maybe they feel that they need to pull another suggest where they have Lakia in for one game just to show how the comms are done. And then they bring back Ash for the playoffs. Like, who knows? And then some people are speculating like Munchkin might have to do military service soon, so maybe they're even thinking further ahead. Which I mean that's debatable, right?
And what is that though? Is that 2026 he needs to do his military service?
Most likely. I don't know the specifics in his case because there's always like different ways you can try to do different things, but the rules also
Right.
kind of change pretty flexibly. So
Okay. But at some point he will be required to do it, and that'll leave them without an IGL, without a... I mean, he doesn't have a similar role at all to Lakia, though.
Nah.
That would be a really weird
put
1-for-1.
Foxy9 back on KO, man. Let's go. Let's do a little role shift.
Put texture,
pivot.
put texture on Sentinel.
Yes.
Put Foxy9 on Duelist.
Yeah, there you go.
Put Lakia on Initiator and put Ash on Flex.
There you go.
Perfect 0 and 9 season.
The thing is, you were reading that off, and it didn't sound as terrible as you were saying it, as I thought it
no.
was.
Didn't
No,
it?
no.
I mean, it sounded pretty bad to me, and I was the one
There was,
saying it.
there was at least some history there. Like, Texture was a cracked Sentinel when he was playing on G, and Foxy was a former Duelist main. So, like, at least portions of this did make some semblance of
Well,
sense.
yeah, I was going for the roles in which they've played before and failed. Frankly,
Yeah,
is what I was. Is what I
Well,
was
sure,
going
but
for.
I mean, you know,
yeah,
you
they
could have
listen,
said
they could
put
make
Texture
effort.
on Smokes. That would have been a bit more,
True.
out there.
True, and you know what? Yeah, get Karen off his best role as well, because otherwise he might carry that team. What do you suspect is actually going on here, though? Like, what is the most likely outcome with Lakia joining? Is he going into coaching or something as a backup for
I
Chad?
think
It
Choba's
could be
kind of right.
positional coaching. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It
maybe-
feels a little bit like they're planning ahead. They're planning ahead for maybe something next year if it is what Choba's saying, and then you at least have a player that wants to like prove himself and can add a lot to the team, right? I think that kind of. I can't imagine they replace Ash. The problem with Ash is he's getting better and better and better
He
and
is,
better.
yeah.
If it was Ash like 2 months ago, I could understand this. But now I think he's fragging way too heavy, and maybe it's like to help him a little bit with some of the server stuff could help, like util wise, always. Like Lakia was always very good at util.
Maybe they just watched, Mind Freak be in the coaching booth and help Paper X win at Toronto, and they're just like, that's what we're missing. We
I mean, hey,
need our
Carpe.
own-
Yeah,
Like-
maybe.
Oh,
maybe,
don't do the Carpe.
No,
thing.
no,
No,
but the
I'm just
Carpe
saying,
thing-
every Pacific team that's won an international this year had a 6th man helping them as a playing coach, all right? I'm
Yeah.
just saying, there's a
That's
recipe.
true. That's true. Yeah, and maybe they're the only person that looked like at the T1 T1 documentary and took something positive from it, and they were like, Also, we could make Lakia actually be exactly like this.
Or maybe they
Just-
watched
just
maybe
say
they
all the
watched the
positive
T1
things.
documentary and they were like, "Wow, that's how we treat Ash. Maybe we should get rid of him."
Yeah, I think
Hopefully
they're going with the
not.
Carpe route.
No,
It feels like.
I
They
mean,
won't
but
play
I-
him.
I-
They won't play him. I don't think.
No, I
okay, but that
don't-
is the Carpe route. The Carpe route is we play him.
True. But only
Well, a
once,
couple
though.
games.
Yeah,
No,
couple.
it's just no. They qualify for champs with him. That would mean that they play with him like for the final
Yeah.
3 games or something of stage
Yeah,
2.
true.
It does
Don't do
baffle me
that. Don't do
because
that.
when I talked
Very
with
funny.
Lakia in stage 1, because he was at the venue a couple times, he seemed very driven to want to play. So, like, I mean, he could be a playing coach and thinking ahead, but I doubt this is like a long-term plan for him where he's like, hey, I want to get into coaching, so like, let's try to
Right.
figure something out. I doubt that was part of the equation. I mean, Gen.G might be thinking that that's also an option, but I imagine. Listen, I will just say this. If he desperately wants to play, but clearly the plan is Gen.G's just trying to secure him now, and he ends up not playing, he really has no one to blame other than himself, because he said he looked back and the decision was not correct about the DRX
he's-
move back in the day. So like that's
He's
on
been
him.
here before. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think if he did do that, he's probably smarter now and he's signed a shorter contract. But
Right.
it's like you said, no one's going to pick up a player right now anyway. It's like the worst possible time to want to try and go back. So maybe it's like I can get back on a team. I can just maybe not
Yeah, it
play,
could be
but like
short-term.
get back in the team environment and then yeah, it might be like a small contract.
Do you think that if Gen.G, the only other thing is Gen.G could be also considering like, what do we think potential future meta is going to be like, even at champs, right? And just say, hey, it wouldn't hurt to have a short-term contract with someone where we know we could run other types of double initiate or other types of comps and
Like,
whatnot just to round it out.
Double
Well, that-
scan on Corrode, put him in.
Yeah,
Leave Munchkin out.
Well,
No, you would
that's
leave
No.
Foxy 9 out.
No.
Yeah, you'd have to leave Foxy 9 out.
You would
which
leave
would make-
Foxy 9
Yeah,
out.
you
You
go
go
Foxy
double
9
scan
out
I
to
suppose,
control the
yeah,
Viper.
double
Yeah.
controller, double initiator would actually make some level of sense. But still, pretty weird, and like that's
Oh, it's
committing
bold.
to a full 6-person roster. Look, I want to move on to our next game though, because the next game was actually a pretty good one too. Talon was able to beat T1 with, I mean, some insanely nice clips coming out from the Talon players, some ridiculous demonstrations of physical prowess from the aiming across Corrode, and then after a close game on Corrode, kind of beat the piss out of them on Lotus too. They've kept the weekly pattern going. Is this now
Yep.
the narrative?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Week by week.
we'll see. I mean, they broke it, and now they're back on it.
Well, no, they didn't
No, they
break it
didn't
because they were
break
both
it.
the
No.
same week. That's the new narrative, right? It's not.
Ah,
it's not every match. It's every
ah.
week.
Super weak set. It
I
was super
see.
weak.
I see. Okay.
Every week. Yeah, I mean, what's some big takeaways from this game? I guess let's start with Corrode. Both teams, I think Pacific is experimenting way more than other regions when it comes to compositional archetypes on this map, which I like. I think especially when you begin with a map in a region, it's nice to see that every region is experimenting. No region is just like permabanning this map, but a lot of regions have started settling into like a rhythm way earlier than it feels like Pacific have.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think if we look at just how T1 were playing on Corrode, the way they play is like very individual, especially on attack. They're pretty much just reliant on getting picks, like on the sides. And then when on the side you're losing every jaw, it doesn't feel great. So yeah, they had a bit of a rough attack. I don't feel like they do stuff as a team enough, but that is like one of the things with a chamber. You kind of have to rely on him to pop off, and I feel like he was getting shut down pretty hard. Dude, the individuals from Talon just looked insane though. There's so many, like
this
Ty
round.
especially. It's just
Is it this round? Yeah, this round from Primmy's
Ah,
remarkable.
dude. I mean, this is kind of sums it all up. To be honest, it was a lot of individuals going crazy. But at the same time, they just didn't. I don't know. It's like they didn't respect them as well. I felt like they were going for. They were like they wanted to duel. I felt like when I watched Talon as well. So yeah, it's a good performance from them. And then, what was Ascent? Was it? Yeah, it was Ascent for the end. And
Lotus, I think. Was it?
Lotus.
Yeah, Lotus.
Was it Lotus? Oh, okay, yeah. That's when they did double duelist, right? And Primy was going crazy.
Yep.
But like he was going crazy, but in like a good way. He was like jumping on people with TPs. He looked really wild. And that's the first time we kind of seen them play a double duelist, which I think they can lean into a little bit more as well in terms of Talon. So I felt not too bad about T1 because I think the stuff that you can it looked like they just hadn't been tested on Corrode, and they thought that they could just constantly rely on individuals opening up the actual rounds itself. And then they were just like, wait, we're not getting first kills, we're not getting picks. Now what do we do? That's what it felt like.
I think especially on Corrode, I think Talon came very well prepared to like just punish Buzz, right? Just get him always out of position so that they would have to make up so much more map space. So I think that was part of it. I think the good news for Talon as well is that it's one of the first times where I felt like they were not only playing well individually, but they actually were showcasing what they prepped. You could tell like, oh, the game plan is like find Buzz, push him back, and then we have more room, like things like that. Get the pick, and then always swing as double, which Talon, sometimes they get too excited and they take 1v1s all the time. But I mean, you look at how many kills Killua has, a lot of those are just trades, right? His teammate goes in, gets one, gets traded, and he goes in and trades too. Like a lot of this stuff is that I think it's just like, okay, you're actually like playing like you probably scripted. We can kind of see that. So I think that's good news. For me, on the side of T1, my eyes were just also on DH, right? Talon's another team where it's like the individuals are so strong, and TH still individually was able to hang. So I think that's good news for T1 looking forward.
I was a bit concerned watching them about the like actual literal agents that they were playing on Corrode too. And Meteor looked a bit uncomfortable on the attack side, lurking on Astra. I don't think they're doing enough with their because the theory of the comp should be that you do a lot of the stuff that Gen.G used to do on Breeze, where you do like pullback smokes for the Yoru to TP into and that kind of stuff. And it feels like they don't have any synergy between Meteor and Itsu, and both of them look uncomfortable on the roles that they're playing. Like Itsu doesn't look that great on Yoru either.
It felt like again, because on their attack they rely on Meteor so much to just like lurk over towards B. I think he tried it twice and got shut down twice. They were just like so ready for it.
People in cover,
yeah, and he tried it really early as well. And it's just like, bro, you've done this every single time. They're just so ready for it. They definitely dissected it. Kurt, if you want to play round 10 right at the end on Corrode as well, like this Meteor Astral is an absolute shocker. Like it's an absolute shocker. It really is. We got to play it, man.
Yeah, you can't defend this
criminal,
one.
Man. It was criminal.
You can't defend this
so
one.
Yeah, it was again,
Actually,
man. They didn't have a. You haven't seen this one? Oh, it's a classic.
I was like flying back when this match was taking place, and I skimmed through some stuff, but I haven't seen specifics. So
I was racking my brain to try to figure out like what the game plan was, and I mean, maybe you can go for a theoretical stretch, but this is definitely just discomfort, I think.
So this is so bear in mind T1 are on attack, right? So they're getting over towards the site. It's a lower buy, and that you do a right to actually make it a winnable round, and then the Meteor focuses so much on like the choke point at the top, not Heaven, the other one, that he like does his Astra ult to get that choke, but then at the same time it literally cuts off half of his team and isolates them, and it's basically the most perfect Astra ult to retake. Like the defense love it, and then they're all behind the ult, and then they can't hear the tap of the spike because they're behind the ult. And you're like, mate, you've just ulted for them. Like, what are we doing? It was it was a shocker, but this was like a good demonstration of some of the struggles they were having. And again, if they can't get picks on the sides, T1 they don't know what to do. And shout out to Talon for like being on top of how they played. They punished them. They really did.
That was a weird one.
Where do you feel,
not the best Astro, yeah.
Where do you feel with T1? Because obviously, right, T1 are potentially
a lot worse than I did 10 seconds ago.
Okay, fair enough. T1 could be doing the same kind of thing that we've seen from teams like Loud in previous years, or even Sentinels last year, where they peak super high at the beginning of the year, have a slump in the middle, and then they resurge towards the end. We've seen that pattern many times before, but I don't really believe it. And I want to get input from people who've seen T1 much more than I have, because I've missed some of their weeks of gameplay.
See, I think having these kind of losses now is actually gonna benefit them. They're kind of in a spot where they only have to get fourth, I would say, right, for the points, and because they're above everyone, they can kind of get the points in playoffs I'm talking about.
It is very close.
It's very close.
Yeah, they have 10 points. The people behind them, like Gen.G, DRX, RRQ,
they got 12 points, right?
Sorry, I'm looking on.
Yeah, you're not.
Well, VLR is so out of date.
It's like 14 for
Paper
Paper X, 12 for T1.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it's T1 have 12, DRX 11, RRQ 10.
It's still pretty close.
Yeah, no, it is close,
Yep.
but it's still like up to them to mess up, even though they've had a couple of mess ups. And I think, again, just losing matches or maps like this gets them to go back, work out their weaknesses, because it feels like when you're T1, they don't necessarily like plan ahead. It feels like it has to happen for them. Like they have to lose like this to then learn. So I think they're still in a place where they can suffer these losses as long as they do learn. But if they start 4th in their group, then they're in trouble. And it's a big game this week. It's a big.
You mean
game.
because they're going to end up in the lower bracket for playoffs,
Yes,
and then
if
it's
right.
very difficult to make 4th.
Yeah, because then you could just get 4th. So
Yeah,
this
I was
isn't
surprised.
the
I had forgotten, but there's no points for coming 5th, 6th in playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right. So
That's,
then,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
I
rough.
was surprised at that. Yeah,
it's a
you really have to do like quite well.
yeah, it's a weird format at the moment. I think I'll go on a rant when we get into
mean,
the Zeta stuff.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. When we go into the Zeta stuff, oh yes, I really.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, yeah. Let's.
You'll see. You'll see.
I mean,
We'll get there.
do you-
We'll get
yeah.
there.
We'll save it until the end. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But a team that's in a somewhat similar position, I suppose. Well, no, actually not in a similar position. Quite different, in fact. DFM take a step closer to their playoffs. They're now 3-1 by beating Boom. Upcoming game against T1 as well. They've already beaten Zeta. They've beaten Talon as well. So this team has really turned around their fortunes.
I mean, they look good.
Yeah.
They look good. Yeah.
They look good. The individuals are really like believing as well. They're taking it. Actually, weirdly enough, it kind of reminds me of how Boom looked in stage 1, where it's just like they are each having their moments to shine and winning big rounds. Boom also had like good starts on the majority of their halves as well. So it felt like polar opposites, whereas like that whole spark that Boom used to have, DFM now have that, and they're all believing. And I have no idea how May gets some of these entries on attack with a Waylay on Crowd, but
Yeah.
I mean, Paper Thin said it, and I don't really disagree with him. I think that May might just be the most incredible player in the entire world right now. Like the shit that this guy is doing,
consistently,
it feels like no one else is able to do this.
against
He's
the
operating at a
best.
different level. And
Yeah,
then the thing that I really like that DFM have just leaned into is just like putting Akame on a second duelist and just kind of having him like supplement. Like it feels like May's Goku and Akame's there is Krillin. And as long as he's playing near May, his power level goes up. Alone, he is not able to do much of anything. But when he's playing alongside May, he's just like he's rising to the occasion. It's fucking great.
They got a pretty good meta at the moment as well for them, right?
Yes.
They can kind of lean double duelist. They can lean double controller. That seems to be the two most consistent success, at least at the higher level from teams. So it's a great meta for them. I think the change of art really actually helped them a lot. And dude, it's the firepower, man. They got the firepower. It isn't the May show, even though it is kind of still the May show. Other people are like making cameos as well, so it's kind of sick.
I mean, GN, I would say GN is in a lot of ways, I think, more the pillar at this point, right? Like May's getting all the explosive kills, and he might have more kills, but GN's the one that you feel like you can really count on. May's the one who's opening up things and really starting the snowball. But GN, I think, has now gotten very comfortable in his role. I think it also helps that he's double controller with Cess, so GN can really kind of start to do his own thing, more or less, right? Where he's not having to always like smoke for a teammate and whatnot. So I think they've figured out how to play to their strengths. About May's Waylay, personally, it frustrates me because I feel like he is building bad habits for everybody by getting away with things where he's just like all-inning as Waylay, like using all of her abilities at once, but he also produces results, so you can't really hate it. But I think a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, well, I guess that's only because it's May, where I think Waylay just has a lot more value overall. But, you know, but he's doing his thing, so you can't really blame him.
I would at least look at the demo if I was a team and be like, my teams would kill him if he did this kind of vibes, because he's literally dashing in, there's no util, and then he just somehow. I mean, he gets the gun out earlier because of the update of Waylay, I guess, but it shouldn't be that fast. It's still like people have like 3 shots that they should hit on him and then just miss him, and then he always hits the first bullet. He's on incredible form right now.
Human.
Like one of the best we've seen, like world class form.
Have we seen?
Yeah.
Oh, go on. No, go on.
Akame was saying in the interview as well, he's like, May's playing the best Valorant he has right now, so like we have nothing else to worry about because we might as well just all support him. And hey, it works.
It must feel incredible being on that team. He must do. He is so good right now. He's pulling out outrageous rounds way more consistently than we've ever seen any player do. It's nuts.
Have we ever seen a team go 0-5 into like such a large turnaround?
Well, remember a crew?
Well, but Crew did it in a tournament format though, didn't they?
Yeah,
that
that's
is
true,
slightly
true.
different, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I
maybe
do.
not.
Yeah.
It is quite similar.
It's a little different. I think.
But yeah, I mean, Crew went 0-9 and then turned it around by winning. Did Crew win like 4 matches in a row or something in that
5, I
tournament?
think.
Was it 5? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have been 5.
Yeah. So that's a huge turnaround. But this one does seem pretty remarkable as well.
It's
That's
incredible.
Oh no,
It-
it's an insane one.
They got people believing.
What is the is it wave by wave?
Yeah.
Wave by
For the
wave.
DFM boat?
Dude, I can't believe
Yeah.
he's getting away with this, man. Wave by wave.
And the thing is, he pulled out the hat, so it's like, well,
He did.
he's put a bit of effort into
What do
it.
you,
We'll
what
let
do
him
you
get away
go
with it.
for if Nongshim makes it to champions? Noodle
Oh.
by noodle, slurp by
No,
slurp.
we're already on our
Slurp
way.
by
Slurp by
slurp
slurp.
is
It's slurp by
good.
slurp. We're,
That is a good one. That is
we're
good.
going slurp by slurp.
I can't believe though that Paper Thin's faith has ended up paying off like this. I feel like all narratives have ended up converging towards the end of the year. Like we're gonna have to talk about Spank Theory later on, and we're gonna actually have to give it more than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
like
When do
we were clowning on Paper
5-minute
Thin.
segment on a pre-show for
Yeah.
for Spank Theory at Champions.
We'll have to. We'll literally have to. But also, like, we were clowning on Paper Thin at the very beginning of the year said DFM were going to make it to an
Actually, yeah.
international event.
Yeah.
And we were like, there's no way, you maniac. And then they go 0-5 and we're like, what the fuck were you thinking? And now they're, I mean, what do you reckon?
They're in contention for first place in their group. Like,
Yeah.
If Paper X
But that doesn't-
loses, they can make first.
But that also doesn't mean shit unless they actually make second place or first place in the playoffs.
Sure.
They got to get top 2, and
Yeah, they have to get top 2.
In a region with Gen.G and Paper X.
Where would you
But- we're gonna be-
actually
But with
power rank them
them-
right now, though?
With them going like this
Mm.
and a playoffs the last 2 days happening in Tokyo, ooh, like the anime storyline might just be coming together here. Like they really
Oh,
might just
shit.
be running
Wait,
that
they're
fucking
playing
plot.
in Tokyo at the
No,
end.
well, no, only if they get into top 3.
If-
They have to
Yes.
make at least
Top 3.
That's what I'm saying.
Finals.
I'm saying with
Yeah.
that on the horizon, if
Ooh,
like
that would
like,
be amazing,
motivation
though.
there.
Oh,
like,
but that could be the choke factor. That could be what gets them to
I
kind
mean,
of
it killed
start believing.
Zeta. It killed Zeta ahead of Masters, and
Yeah.
So like, but they're not. You can't compare them. This is a very different teams right now.
Where roughly would you place them if you were to rank them, though?
7 fish at the moment.
I would put
DFM?
Maine first, and then the rest of the team somewhere between 5th and 7th.
Yeah. I was thinking like 6, 7, depending. So
The way that you were talking about them, I thought honestly that you'd be ranking them a little bit higher. But I mean, the top is
Well,
really tough.
It's
yeah,
stacked.
it's
that's
so
the issue.
packed. But I don't think it's like you're just. It's different from how you used to rank old team secret like 7th, 8th. It's not that. It's not that they're only good enough to do that. It's that's just where that's like their floor, right? You're like, oh no, I would feel comfortable putting them 7th, and then they could very well punch up on any given day against some of these teams.
But presumably then if you're putting them in like 6th or 7th, you're still putting teams like T1 and TALON ahead of them?
Well, not. Oh,
They might end up
actually,
being
around-
both of them.
around the same.
Right,
but
around the
around the
same kind
same,
of team.
But
Yeah,
I think
right.
you gotta go off the history, so you probably favor the teams
Yeah.
above them.
I think
Yeah,
I would definitely
right.
favor like Gen.G above him for sure.
Oh,
Paper
dude.
X above him for sure, right? So,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
Paper
yeah.
X maybe
never-
we'll see, but so yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's go on to some of those teams then that presumably you're ranking a little above them. DRX won a big win over RRQ this week too. From what I saw, kind of dismantled them as well, actually. On the second map. Now I didn't get to catch the first one, but I saw them pretty handily put them away on Ascent.
Yeah,
This was
the
a
fu-
fever dream for me. Sorry,
Cool.
like because
You guys-
I had just gotten back from LA that morning, and I was going strong, and then VCT started, and I just started fading. And I remember I was like laying in this chair watching the games, and I would just pass out, and I'd wake up, and it was like getting ready to go to overtime, and then I'd pass out, and I'd wake up, and then they're in the next map, and then
Well, I mean-
suddenly DRX is just stomping. This is a weird one for me.
The comps feel like a fever dream. Like if you're to me, if I'm going in and out of consciousness and I'm witnessing Waylay Yoru into Waylay Neon on these two maps, I think I would be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, they misplayed their comps. Like, both teams misplayed their comps on bind. It was actually pretty frustrating to watch it. I felt it was a pretty low-level bind, honestly, from what I saw. I was just getting annoyed. Like, DRX have a team that is like a comp that is good for like fighting map control, and they didn't really do that. They just gave them up, like they gave them a lot of space, and then just got XX'd on repeatedly. And then RRQ are pretty good at like letting them take space and then fight back, right? Try and trap play a lot of the positions. But they were trying to fight for space, and it was like, you're both playing your comps. You should be switching. You should be doing it the opposite way around. So that was annoying. But the good thing, at least for me, watching DRX come in back-to-back good weeks. That's two now.
Yeah.
And Flashback had like probably one of his best weeks, to be honest. So
Yeah.
that was good signs for DRX. I'm enjoying DRX week by week at the moment. I think started stage 2 was insanely worried for them, but the more I watch them, the more I'm getting like my faith back in them.
They're that TV shows people say like, oh, you gotta just get past the first 3 episodes and then you'll love it.
Yeah, it was that for stage 2.
And then it really takes off.
They're gearing up.
Yeah, I think the calling seems a lot better on DRX. Like Estrella, something that I've always said is he's always still so slow, like even if you make the right decisions. But this game, as messy as it was even on bind, I think they were much quicker on just like committing to a call as a team. And then, like you said, I mean, the bind, Hyunmin and Flashback definitely kind of carry over the line. But even on Ascent, it seems they're just much snappier, which I think is big news for DRX believers.
Yeah, I agree with the Estrella thing. I think his fade is maybe looking his best from what I watch him on. I feel like his fade util is pretty good. So if they lean a bit more into that, then I would maybe feel pretty good. Yeah, the calling's getting better.
I will say I agree, especially on bind with the RRQ comp, but I also thought the executes were very well planned, like with the Wayland of the Euro.
For sure.
They looked very strong. So
yeah, the dash in with the late gecko flash was like really good. But dude, they shouldn't have this space for free anyway. It's just like
true.
It's just like, oh, you guys want to take long and exec on us? Sure. And you lose 3 rounds against it, and DRX are just like, yeah, let's just sit back on the site. It's like, Jesus Christ.
It is a cool comp. I mean, you've got the flash combos, you got the gravnet, you got the saturate to try to scrap with as well. And the exec power is. I mean,
it's really just exec power plus post plant with deadlock, right? And so you're using the way like kind of similar to the Rays, where they're an extra distraction. You got the Dizzy to follow up. The Yoru can always either port back as an extra entry or just go for a second flash. So they had a lot of different variations planned. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for taking map control, and it's good at popping, basically. So it is nice. People have got some nice Waylay stuff, but it's still struggles a lot of the time on attack, but this was probably one of the better uses on attack that we saw from RQ.
And you were talking earlier about Gen.G's playing the default comp on Ascent and feeling like with how good Munchkin and obviously Texture's performance on it was that you were feeling all right about that. I mean, Hyunmin put down a like beast of a performance, and they did kind of, I mean, they played a good game here on Ascent. Does the fact that they're playing default comp bother you at all?
Yeah, I don't think Estrella's KO is good enough to warrant it long term. I think he has to get his util a lot better.
Get him on Yoru.
Could actually get him on Yoru.
Yeah, I mean,
get him on.
Well.
I was joking with that one.
But. I mean, but you might as well if your KO's not getting all the lineups and all the timings and all the pop flashes and whatnot, right? So
I mean, you might just end up with a dead Estrella at the beginning of every round if you put him on Yoru. I mean, he's supposed to challenge a lot more.
True. They get away with a lot on Ascent, I think, because Hyunmin's on Jet and he's just so comfortable and just flies around and zips around the entire map. So
he's definitely back, man. I was so worried first 2 weeks. He disappeared, man. It's like the first time for the whole year he disappeared.
I swear he might have he probably saw that Rookie of the Year Reddit thread, and then everyone was just like, he didn't do anything international. Can't consider him. Not with Patman and Kayak, and he just went, right? Fuck this, let's go.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Nongshim RedForce played against Global Esports, and it was kind of Is it fair to say it was kind of last chance saloon for both teams? Because it felt
Yes.
like
Yes.
Nongshim had
More
like
or
final
less, yeah.
chance.
Oh, it was. I'm gonna
Yeah.
step away and use the restroom real quick though, and Chober can yap
Okay.
about his team.
All right. Well, yeah, exactly. It's a good opportunity for you to have a good old yap because it was a 2-0 favor of Nongshim.
I mean, I'm afraid because it's not over yet for Nongshim. Just so we're clear, just so everybody's clear, there are very convoluted 3-way, 4-way tiebreakers that can happen. And there's actually a summary on Reddit as well where someone went through it, and I think it's mostly right because I went through it with some of the staff that was on site, not like the powers that be, but some other staff. So there's some weird ways where they're not completely in, but at least they
do
have
also-
another championship point. So
I mean, they also have the head-to-head tiebreaker over Secret and Global, right? So they're in.
Yes, but the
good
problem
spot.
is if RRQ loses and it's RRQ Secret and Nongshim, it gets complicated when it's because then it's like head-to-head map difference and not total map difference and all that
Right.
stuff. But it's very low chances. But either way, it's not guaranteed. Global, unfortunately, obviously is out by losing this match because in any tiebreaker they're not making it in. But I'm afraid because it's not completely over yet. But they are back, as I stutter that, and primarily because they swapped IGLs, and Francis is IGLing again, and you can tell, stylistically, not necessarily one is better than the other, but just the comfort and the pacing and the wild calls that they make. It's Francis for sure.
So run me through it. Sorry. So they were originally calling with Francis, right? And then they swapped
Yes.
it over to RB when RB came in.
Yes, but as I've clarified before, they never originally planned to get a new IGL. Like that's not why they got RB, but they got RB. Obviously, he had experience IGLing. He's a veteran, so I think they wanted to try that to try to inject some different styles and more like traditional stuff.
Yeah.
But Francis said in the interview as well that he kind of asked could I try IGLing again? They went through a discussion and they said, all right, let's give it a shot. And it looks good. It looks very good. I mean, Francis was popping off, man, this whole game, his calls and his frags. Like he was everywhere.
Yeah, it was, dude. He fragged so heavy. Like he fragged insanely heavy, and the calling was like good. They won a lot of clutches as well, which I think is important to mention. Like it could have been a little bit closer for G, but they're like all the individuals were stepping up. I think GE kind of messed up a lot on corrodes. They were just getting wrecked by Danby. Didn't have the best game if you just look at the scoreboard, but in terms of like the impact of him actually taking middle and disrespecting all the util at the beginning was actually huge. So I actually think that he had a really good game, even though you look at his score and you'd be like, oh man, this guy had a rough one. I think he did great. I think he was one of the big reasons they won so many rounds on attack as well. He was just getting the mid every time, and then once you lose mid on defense, it's like at least the first initial choke, it's so much harder to play against. So I felt like it was great.
And they also have the cojones to scale mid on corrode. Will win you again.
The neon just beats so many timings. But if you, it's also G's fault because they don't like spam it enough. They don't like spam bottom and mid, so he can kind of just get there scot free essentially. But
I do just want to on the corrode part. I think so. GE changed their comp. They changed their comp coming in. And while, Clove, everyone can have their own opinions on whether Clove should be in any comp or not. But I do think if it was RB calling, they would have a much better chance if you just look at how Nongshim played it before. So I think part of this was GE obviously prepped with what they saw. I mean, you're not really expecting an IGL change. And also usually that would imply that there's some time period to adjust. But for Nongshim, you're just going back to the old stuff. So I think that also wrecked him a little bit because if you look at the way they're set up, they're kind of waiting for util, scout it out, and then go step by step, and then we burst. And then, like Sliggy said, this Nongshim is just like, all right, off the rip, Dobby, you go in and we'll trade you. Let's go for it. So I think that really messed up a lot of the timings that they had prepped.
I mean, that kind of goes both ways, though. You would assume that, Nongshim would have prepped for having to play against the ISO as well. And then they get in and they're like, oh, hey, we don't have to worry about undercut and getting spammed out and
we can just send it.
Fucking, dinked by util and everything like that. So they just had a really good read. I wish I like for GE's sake, I wish they had kind of just stuck with the original game plan because I thought that the times where they looked the best, Ban was able to really kind of take control of the map as the ISO. Like the first debut that they had on the map with him playing it, he was a bit of a raid boss and he was looking really clean. So I don't know.
This was the game, right, where they kept on going fast middle, and then they kept on popping B, and then they never really went A too much at the beginning of the round, right? And
Yeah.
but they would always, like, this is where Yeoman needed to use double fawns over towards B
Yep.
to stop the pop, and it just never happened. And they were
think
so
they might
weak
have-
on B.
They might have literally never gone A main. I
Yeah,
can't think of a
yeah.
single round where they went A main.
They always had RB like lurking a couple
RB was
times,
lurking,
but,
and he got punished like once or twice, but then the rest of the team would just like collapse onto B, and they would just win.
Yeah, they
Yep.
couldn't hold B. They needed double fawns there for sure.
I got asked this question recently, and I feel like it's one that a lot of the global fans will want an answer to. Is that, I mean, how do you assess now that they've missed out on playoffs and don't have a chance of making it? How do you assess the year as a whole? Because they're 3-9 in terms of matches that they won, but like I kind of was picking up what they were putting down. Like I don't feel like Global had a bad team or were catastrophically managed or misused their roster or whatever. I just feel like they were in a difficult region personally, and they had an all right showing.
Like for me, it's a team that's had a lot of turmoil. Obviously, lost the head coach pretty early on. So had that whole thing happen, and then basically did a complete rebuild going into the stage. And I think that the rebuild ended up looking good. For me, like if there was ever a time to have like kind of a long-term plan, I think Global is a prime example for that. I think that if they can keep these players, if they can keep this coaching staff and kind of keep the direction, I think there is a bright future for Global Esports, because I think that this was starting to really land in a solid place for them compared to where it's always been a little bit rockier in the past. So I think if they stick with this, I think that they could very well be a very solid team, and I would expect them to be able to make playoffs. But for the year, I'd say, yeah, it's been a fucking rough one. A lot, some of it is in their hands, some of it isn't. Some of it's because someone's a fucking weirdo. Like it's difficult. But I would like to just kind of see them stick to their guns and say like, okay, this didn't get us playoffs, but it was working for the most part. Let's continue.
It's hard. They remind me a lot of like Apeks, whereas like this is like some maps I would watch like early on their Lotus, I think it was, and then at the beginning sometimes their Corona, I would watch it and be like, damn, you look really good. Like the potential is really high here. And they just never really lived up to that. And again, it could just be down to the issues of time. But I don't know, man. They had me believing a couple of times. I think that's the thing as well. Like I was watching, I was like, damn. Like I think this might be the year. I think they can actually like do something, and then next week it just doesn't look the same.
I think
or it looked good on one map and that was it.
Maybe one of the problems though is that compared to some of the other bottom teams in Pacific, they've never had that like period of time where they've gone on a run. Like I feel like even like any other organization that you look at that has been about as successful as Global has over the period of franchising has had at least one period where they've been like good for a couple of weeks in a row, or not just a couple of weeks, but like a month in a row, something like that, where they've been able to put it together.
But I think that's the thing, is that most of those teams have had a core that's stuck, right? Whether it's over the years, whether it's from tier 2 to in, right? Even DFM, right? You're bringing in the old core together so that they can play together, right? Like May and Friends. There's always something where it's like, okay, you're at least building on some synergy so that when things go well one week, they know how to build that chemistry on each other. Every year, GE is resetting this roster, oftentimes with multilingual players that are already trying to adjust by being abroad with each other over a second language with new coaches. And like this year, you're bringing in coaches that, especially in terms of elevated, like as great as, he is in terms of, what his prep and whatnot, he hasn't had the opportunity, right? Like nobody on here has had the experience to really just be able to build up with time. And I think that's probably what's so frustrating as someone who watches, because I'm with Sliggy. Like week 1 of stage 1, I even messaged some of the guys on G. I was like, dude, you guys looked so good. Like I could see what you prepped. I could see your comms like through the mini map. Like that's how good you looked. And it's okay to falter. You didn't have experience. That's understandable. But you gotta give them at least a year, right, to see where you can go with it. And I think that's the unfortunate part, is that they never did. And not to
they should this year though. I think. I mean, this is the first call where I feel like they can keep it going into the next.
Yeah, they should.
It's hard to do though. Yeah,
it's tough. I get it, but I think we see so many examples otherwise that prove that you need to, right?
Yeah.
So I think you just have to bite the
give
bullet.
this team a fucking off season to continue working together and develop the communication, and I think that this would be a force to be reckoned with.
Now, at the beginning of this week, I believe I'm right in saying that this team we're about to talk about had the same number of championship points as Global Esports. And now they have overtaken them by one with a incredible victory over PaperX. ZETA Division, when all hope was lost. I mean, this is spank theory. No, this is spank theory.
No,
It just is, man. It is.
It's not, man.
It is.
I said on the broadcast.
I can't. First of all, I
Spank
hated
theory.
that you said it. 'Cause-
You called it
It's hard to
Shio's
argue
theory,
against.
I think, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, let's call a spade and a spank, motherfucker. That was spank theory in practice.
this is also, though, this also seems to me like one of those situations where you have nothing left to play for, and so the players play way
Yes.
better. And we have seen that many times before. We don't normally
Zeta.
label it spank theory, but well, yeah, sure. But go on.
I was gonna say you go on.
Well, I was gonna say, that this is like the brightest light for Zeta Division when there is no end to the tunnel. I mean, there's nothing they can do about it.
I agree because I was gonna say that it's probably the best we've ever seen any team that is like fully gone play. This was some high level shit that we saw here. I've never seen a team out aim PaperX like this as well. And on top of that, like they just outbrained them like in so many rounds. The 4-person stack over towards stairs was 6. They like to contact all the time. They like to see default a lot on attack on Lotus, and they were doing this 3-person heavy C, 1 person getting info on B and just open the door, so you just take all the jaws. It was so cool. And then first time you see it, it's so hard to play against because you're just like, you don't know that this 3-person stack until you kind of B default, and don't really B default. You just see your A, and then when you're struggling, you're normally like B into C default. So they actually kind of just owned PaperX on a map where they had 13 wins in a row or something, 12, 13,
Yeah,
14.
something
12.
crazy.
This would have been
Yeah.
13.
12? Dude, that's insane. And I was even clowning on them. I was like, why have they picked their best map? Like I get it in the sense that this is also Zeta's best map.
yeah.
They came in so prepped, and they came in hitting every single shot. And I couldn't believe some of the shots they were hitting and some of the rounds they were doing, and just
Clues
the pure
was
confidence
nuts.
of the players. Clues was nuts. Depp
Dude.
was crazy on
Yeah.
Sunset. Dude, does his like you could tell he was mid-round calling every time he had the Sage util, and he was just like bringing his team over, and he would like shoot the wall from far back, take a timing, win an aim duel. Bro, it was nuts. They were all insane. They were all like, I'm trying to think if they played like this consistently, where they would get in the world. Is it not just like top 4 of the Masters? Like, am I being really over
Yeah.
the top? It was two unbelievable maps.
They have accomplished top 4 at Masters before. They
Dude,
have.
but it
They've
looked
gone to top 3.
insane.
Yeah.
But
Totally
okay,
different.
here's me. I'm happy to keep this as the positivity episode. I've just got a question to like. It might even be a softball to let you rant about how good they were even further. But is there some level of it that was like they happened to choose the right stuff at the right time, and they, is there some coincidental layer to this where it was like this is our game plan coming in, and it just happens to work amazingly against PaperX, or do you think they really like? Is this an identification of something they can use in the future where they had a great read on an opponent, knew what they were doing, like everything was thought out beforehand and they knew all the reasoning for it? Where do you go on that?
It's always awkward when you have a series like this because Zeta genuinely looked fantastic and they were the clear better team. But PaperX also were, I think, pretty clearly having a very big like off day as far as their performances. Like they were whiffing shots that they normally wouldn't whiff. And their strat book was like so limited compared to how big it normally is, especially on a map on these 2 maps. I mean, Lotus and Sunset, they have so much stuff that they're usually capable of pulling out, but they kept trying to run like the same like defender side, like crunch into tiles, like round over round. It was like watching like Groundhog Day, but everybody else other than Bill Murray remembers what happened. And like Zeta Division knew everything, and then PaperX remembered fucking nothing. And they just kept trying to do it, and it just wasn't working. And then Zeta eventually just fully fucking countered it and just pounded them into the pavement. It was really weird to watch.
Yeah.
But again, not trying to take away from ZETA Division, because clearly did their homework and the players were fucking on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I would
really were.
say. Yeah, I would say that. I mean, PaperX looked off, but here's the thing: is that PaperX can look off. Just because they had an off day, we've never said, oh, they had an off day, so they got crushed. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, they had an off day, so they lost. Yeah, that can happen. But a convincing 2-0, like both on macro and micro, is you gotta give credit to Zeta. Whether it's like, oh, your prep
Zero
was good,
pistols,
you can
right,
use this
as well.
No, they want all pistols.
Yep,
That's
yep.
it. Yeah.
So I think probably something that Zeta can take away from this is that, like, hey, the way you were playing in the server, right? The way you were calming together, believing in what you prepped, the calling in the middle of the rounds, things like that is what you take away. The prep and stuff obviously meta dependent as well, as who knows how much of that carries over in the future. But I think also you have faith in this roster, right? You see that when it clicks real hard. So I think they've proven that at the very least, even if it's a little bit late.
Yeah, I also think this was like a good case study of just how the average team is getting a lot better over the years. Like, I've said a lot of times on this podcast, like if you win double pistol, even if you're the worst team, you should be good enough to understand how to snowball within those first, second, third, fourth rounds, that you can go on and take these maps. And I think this was one of the prime examples where they did that. They either won the bonus, I think it was like two out of 4, or they always had like a really good start. They never got ecoed. They always capitalized off of the pistol win, and then they did just always have the ults in the big rounds. And like on top of that, obviously great ecos, good ideas on top of this as well. But it was just a good example of just the lower teams just in general having a way better understanding about how the game works and how to capitalize off of these starts. And this is one of the reasons that I always count and always talk about the pistols, because this right here is what should happen if you win double pistol. You should be winning that map. So it's a good thing.
I just looked at the stats again because, like, after this game,
I was about to say.
I just looked at the stats again and I just saw the first kills, first deaths for Forsaken, because I knew what it felt like. And I'm not sure if it's worse than what I thought, but maybe it's like right on the spot. But that's fucking abysmal.
He's playing Omen.
Deaths.
Yeah, he's playing Omen and he has 12 first deaths. Is rough.
Some of them are bad. Like you were talking about the walks down
Lotus.
through middle. I'm thinking of Sunset as well. Like the ones where they were all up and then he would walk through. Like gun was showing before he'd walk through, and it's like, man, come on, dude.
But that is the same level of aggression that he was playing with at, like, Toronto, for example. He just wasn't getting punished for it.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not saying he was making the same mistakes. I just mean that he was like, he's constantly challenging early, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, that's his style. I guess, is this just what happens if he has a bad game while still tries to pull off the same style? It's pretty rare, though.
I mean, I think it's just like Siggy said. It's just you can't assume you can get away with mistakes even against like the weaker teams now, right? The floor has gotten high enough that if they come prepped for you and you make a mistake, they will capitalize on it. So no one gets a free win. I think that's just the case in point. I also just want to add, Zeta guy apparently was crying afterwards because Zeta's gameplay was so beautiful.
I mean, yeah, dude, I don't blame him.
I mean, credit to
right
him.
there with him. It was like seeing the fucking Mona Lisa in person. I'll reiterate this because Paperthin was telling me, and I did not know this until he mentioned it on the cast. Zeta guy is coming to Korea.
Yeah, I had told Paperthin about that because I talked to him at home ground. Yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. So he's coming here this weekend to watch, and I cannot wait to meet this guy. Like
Zeta plays against Boom coming up.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be at every game other than the Gen.G Nongshim one, is what he told me. He said he got tickets for every game except for Gen.G Nongshim because that was sold out. So he'll be there every single day.
You know what? I'm pulling some strings. I'm getting him a ticket to Gen.G Nongshim.
Don't worry. I've got a seat for him. Right next to me.
You already do?
Yeah, I've got a seat for him right next to me. He doesn't know this yet, but I've got a seat for him right next to me.
That's perfect.
Oh, that's sick. What does this mean for Zeta for like next year or whatever? Because their season is so close to being over. Does it mean anything?
It gives them a little bit of hope. Like it gives them a little bit of hope of like building for next year, and it's like this is the potential. How can we make this happen more? It's I'm not saying that they can stick with the same roster, but it at least gives you belief that you can build on something here, and I think that's kind of all they wanted.
I think they could widely stick with the sim roster.
Yeah.
I think 10-10 would be obviously the easy one to kind of point out, like, is this in question or not, just because he's, you know, non-Japanese player. But I think that you could stick with this and try to develop it, and I think that if you can just continue to build consistency and get solid reads on your opponents, get some anti going, then yeah, I so desperately want to be excited for Zeta Division, you know, in next year or in, you know, off-season tournaments and whatnot, and to see this kind of performance continue.
This is like the perfect time for me to talk about something, because this whole I've been feeling it's the whole of stage 2 from multiple regions, where it's like we're talking about these teams that are out, but some of them are maybe like peaking now, but it's way too late. Dude, we need LCQ. Like we actually need LCQ back. It's so good. It's so shit to talk about these teams and see these teams peaking, and it's just like, well, they're out because they had a bad start like at the beginning of the year, and they changed this stuff. And even these teams that are kind of looking good that you could make champs, but the only way of making champs is getting top 2. But then you got to beat Gen.G or you got to beat a Paper-X. That's not happening because they're like 2 of the best teams, maybe even 2 of the favorites that are going into champions. It's not fair on these other teams. You have to bring back LCQ. It is the best tournament outside of the Masters and champs. It is the best thing ever. It gives all of your teams something to believe in, even like when they're fully down, and like we'd be talking now, like, what does this mean for Zeta? It's like, oh yeah, next year. Like that's shit. Let's talk about
it's August.
Within a month they have a chance to do it. Like, they're looking on form. If they can keep this up, they can do it. Where's LCQ? Bring it back. It has to.
I'm so with it. Why
don't we just do our own for Plat Chat?
Just pay for all the players.
If they win, they can promote their bundle.
We take all of the teams that would have otherwise played in LCQ, when we have them go through a little gauntlet style tournament, and then we'll take the top 2 from each region. We'll throw them into their tournament, and we'll run an 8-team. You know,
18 Plat Chat
two group
Dude,
bracket.
I'd like to see LCQ return, but like even expand it, man. I want to see like the top tier 2 teams get to play in LCQ.
Get Ascension before, do that.
Yeah, like I think that'd be sick. I think having the Ascension winners be able to be inserted into that year's champs is so crucial. I also, dude, I want to see them partner with third-party tournament organizers and run international LCQs before Masters events. So like you get like a wild card slot into the Masters right before Masters begins. So you get to watch the because the bad thing about LCQ is you're not watching the best teams. But the good thing about LCQ is, like, if you put it right before a Masters, it's like a warm-up. It's like a little taster session right before the big teams. That's what made the champs so good. It's because you're about to watch the best. Yes. So now let's watch some of like the middling teams. And then
I don't think that matters though, because people already watch Americas and EMEA. So like they're used to not watching the best teams. Like, it's fine. It's already baked in.
And with that, let's move on to the predictions and get the bloody Pacific people out of here. The gloating's begun already. Okay, we have our viewer report card check-in as well. There was 2 Pacific matches of the week last week, and so you little Timmies at home got a chance to predict Talon versus T1. And so let's have a look what you went with this. It was 65% for T1, which is reasonable. I mean, I can't believe it kind of because of the hate watchers. Like, I thought the hate watchers would be coming out predicting against them.
People, I'm just seeing that there's so many flat earthers in the viewers. Like, you just don't believe in science, man. It's just week by week. It's simple. Like, what do you believe in?
That's so true. And then we had a bonus Pacific match of the week, which was RRQ versus DRX. Tough one to call, I think, but you ended up calling it correctly with 53%. You went for DRX. So there we go. You can check back in for our community tab and vote for the match of the week this week, which is Talon versus Paper-X, I believe. But that's not the first one that we're predicting. The first one we're predicting is Gen.G versus Nongshim RedForce. Oh, okay.
He's done it.
He's got the curse here to save you this time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for it. But surely this is you saving it. Like, you've managed to create a scenario in which the Plat guarantee is going to.
Oh yeah, I guess it would be. Oh fuck! I mean, trolled him.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. One of us needed to go for Nongshim in order to deny the guarantee. Yeah.
I mean, listen. I'm repping Gen.G. Like, Gen.G is just gonna win. They're just one of the best teams in the world. So there's just nothing to discuss.
It's crazy what he's up to, man. But also, I agree. Honestly, I agree.
I feel fine. I feel fine about this.
Locky is back. They're gonna put him in.
No.
They're gonna do the 6-man roster. It's gonna be great.
No.
I think we should have a clause for this one that if there is a substitution ahead of the game, the guarantee is null and void.
I agree. I think that's a great.
That needs to be in the
I think
fine
that is
print.
yeah, I'm on board with that.
Kurt will never let us. He doesn't even let us switch the pred to avoid the guarantee anymore.
Which is crazy behavior.
Yeah, it is. It is. But he runs the
That needs
show,
to be-
so what can we
that
do?
needs to be
He's
addressed.
let me do it
Entirely.
multiple times in the past.
He's in charge. He's in control, and we are mere peons. Let's move on to our match of the week, though. It is Talon playing against Paper Rex. This is two banging teams from the Omega Group.
Oh
Like
boy.
Chobra? Nope.
Now, this is coming off the back of Paper Rex losing to Zeta Division and Talon having really good performances. I did not think this was going to be a guarantee. I thought
Really?
someone at least would be going for Talon as like...
Who? Who of us
I
is
thought
is
Chobra
bold
was going to
enough?
go for it.
Yeah, but I believe in science, unlike all of you who just don't see the truth.
Well, yeah.
So
I guess that's the problem. It's the pattern, isn't it?
Well, see, I made these and I wasn't thinking about it because I didn't know about it was all in the same week. That kind of, yeah, so.
You're saying that as if we're making up some random bullshit. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
like, what are you
Actual.
talking
Well, I'm saying I didn't understand the rules, that's all.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, officer, I
mean,
didn't know I couldn't do that.
Give me a percentage chance here, though, because there is a serious chance of Talon winning.
Yeah.
I would
is
say
a banger match.
45-55.
Love that from you.
For
Damn,
me,
that's a little bit lower
this was
than I
like a
thought.
60-40.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, okay. All right. I mean, it should be a
Slightly
great
higher
one.
than Ball's Law.
And also,
do
you know
wanna
what? This is
say-
two teams that want to scrap, too. So it's going to
Yes.
be a sick game to watch.
But I think PaperX losing to Zeta does make the chances better for PaperX. Like, I think that's like a, like, sure, like you're pretty safe for, playoffs and champs and all that, but like we can't be doing that, guys. Like that conversation for sure is happening
Spank
this
theory.
week.
They got
I
spanked, and now they're
agree.
going to come back and want to spank their opponents. I mean,
I think
what?
it's belt theory. I think that Alex took it, he got.
that sounds more abusive than
Well, yeah,
spank
let's-
theory.
Yes. That's what I was going for, in fact.
Let's move on to our next game. It's DRX playing against Global Esports. Smile.
No one's doing this. Oh boy.
Yeah, this one's just too good for DRX, unfortunately.
DRX just look better and better. G look inconsistent.
Well,
I feel great about this because if GE wins, Nongshim's in. So, thank you,
Okay.
Plat Chat.
okay.
great.
Plat
He
Chat
keeps
guarantee.
playing the game. Look at
It
him.
really is.
This just
Working
so,
as like
so
a
you know,
fucking
there's
little
no
puppet.
analysis in any of my group alpha predictions this week.
It's
That's
just pure
all out
cope.
the window.
Pure cope, pure faith. All right, let's go on to the next one then, because this is group.
You can do it. There's only
It's Omega.
50 chance. 50
It's Group
chance.
Omega. It's Boom playing against Team Zeta. Zeta Division.
Oh,
Okay.
thank God.
I'm glad someone did.
I
Spank
appreciate that.
theory, bro. It's spank theory. There's no... Okay, Zeta have already had their moment of returning. Which team has been spanked more this stage than Zeta? Boom. They have lost every single game 0-2. 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, 0-2.
That's true.
There's no other opportunity for them to rise up if it's not now. If it's not now, there is no opportunity for them. They're done. They're gone. And if this week has taught me anything, it's that Shayo's theory is completely correct. And that's why I went for Boom.
It's an
but
insanely
he also-
doable game as well.
He was also backing Spank Theory for the series earlier with Loud and Crew, was he not?
That's no.
He
Loud,
vocalized
And then,
He
Loud.
vocalized
He's
it the
just
most
a
with
big
MIBR.
Loud fan. He's
and
just a
that
Loud
one
fan.
didn't work. But it might just be that you get one Spank Theory per region per week.
And Zeta's already had theirs. Okay,
Wait,
Zeta's
I'm-
already
okay,
had their
I
game.
misspoke because the jet lag. It's really fucking with me.
I know what you mean.
No,
though.
I need Zeta to win, please, God. We have Zeta
No, but
guy in the venue.
I will say that I don't know if this works in favor or not for Boom, but considering how DFM's looking, Boom's not actually safe either for Ascension by points, depending on whether they apply tiebreaker rules.
I've got to
to
be honest with you.
championship
I
points or
thought they
not.
were just out. I didn't even realize.
If I'm have to come like third or fourth,
No,
right?
playoffs they're out. Playoffs are out.
No,
But
I know,
championship points
I know.
for Ascension. Yeah, yeah.
But they have 5 championship points. They're in joint 7th at the moment. So if DFM get like
third or fourth,
more
Third or
if
fourth.
they get third or fourth, basically, then they get points. And then if Nongshim, even if Nongshim doesn't win, I don't know if they're going to apply like the champs points tiebreakers or not. I've heard it both ways, because if you're like tied for 8th, you apply the same tiebreaker rule that applies to qualifying
no,
for
I
champions
think
as you do
it
for
says
Ascension.
it says if you're tied for 8th, you make it. I
Oh, does it
believe.
clearly?
Like if
Okay.
you're just tied, you make it. I
I mean,
think
then I guess they should be okay. Unless,
but how many points do you
obviously,
get for
Nongshim
coming 4th or 3rd?
It's 4
Three
for
or four.
3 and
Yeah.
3 for 4.
So they're just screwed either way if DFM make 4th
Well,
or 3rd,
Nongshim
right?
would
Yes.
have to get an extra point as well, or we would be tied for 8th technically. So
Right, okay. So these games pretty important, maybe.
Yeah.
it can be important.
Possibly.
Yes.
Could be
So
important.
there is some pressure.
All right, okay. Interesting. Well then, yeah, go boom.
I think it's gonna be a very scrappy game though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
You
Boom
don't think
probably
Zeta
says,
are going to play Perfect Valorant again?
no.
No, I don't.
That level.
Okay,
Nah.
okay, good. Good. All right, let's move on to our next game. RRQ plays against Team Secret. Whoa. Now, why have you gone for this one, Chobra?
Because he knew that we would all pick RRQ, and he's trying to save them because he loves them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
He is
also-
Snape and RRQ is his Lily Potter.
No,
Like,
that's
he
not
was
why.
just saving
Because
them.
if RRQ beats him, we're also in. So, like, either just G or RRQ winning. That's all I need this week, man. I don't even
So
care
you've-
about the Gen.G Nongshim game. I just
So
care
you
about the other
you
shit.
knew that this was going to be a plat chat guarantee. You want RRQ to win, so you deliberately fucked up the plat chat guarantee so that the curse would not rebound on. It's gone too far. It's gone too far. It's got superstition has gone too far. We need to
I've done this
return
in the
to
past, but it's been
rationalism,
like one
science. Talon, 1 week they win, 1 week they don't. The sun, we're orbiting it. The Earth, it's not flat. Okay,
I mean, listen.
return to science, Chobra.
I sideshow. When you're on the verge of getting fired twice in 1 year, you do whatever you need to, right? To keep your job, man. All right. The friggin' Nongshim fans told me at the venue that I have to vote for Gen.G on Plat Chat this week if I'm on, because they saw what happened when I voted the other way for GE. I mean, this is out of
Okay.
control. I don't have a choice, man.
Okay, all right. He's being pressured by outside forces. That's all right. We'll speak to the fans. We'll try to get you some ability, some liberty back on this show. Let's move on to our next one, though. T1 plays against DFM. Now, this one, 2 3-1 teams playing
no.
against each other, and nobody's going for DFM at all.
Achilles, I thought it would be you.
I mean, these two teams are
I
basically
too
neck
can
and neck.
play silly
Oh, for God's
games.
sake, dude, what have we turned into?
I too can read your minds.
What's wrong with this show? What happened to the show I
we've really peaked, man. We've gone downhill.
I
Jumped the
am,
shark.
I'm the fucking I'm right there. I'm on the deck with Captain Paperthin. Dude, I'm ready to go.
Sorry, I also
Wave
missed
by
up.
wave, baby.
I said that T1 were 3-1. They're not. They're 2-2. So we're actually
this
we're
is-
predding the team with the worst match record here.
Yep.
Guaranteeing the team with the worst match record
Yep.
against DFM. While
Yes.
May is playing like one of the best players in the entire world.
And
Yes.
T1 looked pretty dodgy.
And T1 are looking dodgy, and
Yeah.
playing some
Damn.
comps on different maps
Real-
where they don't feel super
Real
confident in
shame
what they're
we
playing.
gave this one a guarantee, huh?
I mean, this is astonishing. This is.
Well, why?
Anyone want to swap? Any
It doesn't matter
swappers?
now. It's done.
No.
Cuts,
No.
Cuts
No,
laws
no
here.
swapping. No swapping.
Cuts law. He just doesn't accept it if we swap.
This final segment on Pacifica sickened me. Sickened me. Sickened me. Thank you, Achilles, for joining us, but get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. You've perverted what was good and right in this place.
What the fuck? How are you gonna say that about me when Chopra did all that shit? I did it for one prediction. He did it for like fucking 4 of them.
Well, yeah, Chobra's also a bad offender, but he's hosting the next segment, so I've got to keep him happy.
I
Job
see.
security,
Well,
Achilles. Job security.
in that case, it's been a pleasure. Sideshow. Fuck you. See you later.
See you later. We're going to get TMV on. I don't know if he's ready and waiting. Oh,
Smooth.
he is, and I'll hand over the reins to Chobra.
All right. Thank you. Finally, the show can get good again. All right. Welcome,
Finally.
TMV.
Hello.
Thanks for- I'm like hearing voices in my head. All right. Well, welcome, TMV. Hope you enjoyed all of the great science that's happening in Pacific. We'll see if it
Yeah, I
continues.
don't quite know what I've joined into. It's got very strange, this show.
It's become very superstitious. I'm
Yeah,
hoping
it
you'll
has.
bring us
You
back
mean
to normalcy.
scientific? It's become very scientific.
Will I? I can't remember what I did. I might. I might have done some strange things. I can't remember.
Dude, is our guarantees even a cast anymore? Look,
No.
what's our odds?
What's our percentage? Yeah,
They're
I feel like it's
good
been
this
pretty
year. They've been good.
Before, just so you guys know, quite frankly, I didn't care whether you guys were going to guarantee it or not. It's just me and
Just
my
show the
powers.
pick.
I've just
Yeah.
come to
This is
accept
your own
this.
your
Yeah.
own singular cast is
Yeah, it's just
overpowered
me.
everything. At least you're on
We
board
are-
now.
As, since tracking it, we're 76 and 25. So
76 and
bad.
25.
It's not bad.
That's really
I
good.
mean, yeah, so
like
that's
76%. Yeah.
yeah. That's
I mean, it's
pretty,
literally
that's
just
pretty
Bala's
decent.
laws, actually.
We're actually doing
crazy.
better than Bala's law,
Yes,
which is pretty damn good.
Yeah,
that's
Maybe
true.
Bala's law needs to be adjusted down to like 25%.
25.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, that's how laws work. We can just adjust. What
We can just change it.
It's science, Joe, bro. You can change things when you get more
Oh,
information. That's how science
true.
works.
True,
Yeah.
true. I almost forgot. All right. Well, let's get on track and talk about EMEA. But before we do that, we actually had some other big news. Lakia Valorant returning wasn't the only big thing that happened this past week. The location for Champions of 2026 was announced ahead of time, and we will be returning to Shanghai. There was a lot of chatter about, well, it's like another city we've been to, etc. But I think we all kind of knew the pattern, right? It's going back to China. At some point, we know there's a rotation, so I guess they're
I mean,
just
it does seem to
reusing-
be really strictly following the rotation as well. They
Yes.
are just
Yeah.
cycling between the 4 major regions, which is a good. I mean, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
Mhm.
I mean, this was great last time, in my opinion. Yeah, it went good, especially the group stage. I think using the same venue is obviously cheap for them as well. I guess they're going to do that, but it's like a nice venue. Like if you watch the
Yeah.
Chinese match of this regular season, it's pretty sick to watch. Everything's good, like to the highest level. To be honest,
It was also, I think it was the biggest VCT. I might be wrong actually, because maybe Tokyo was bigger or something. But they had a massive venue at Shanghai last time. I think the capacity of the venue was like 16K, but I think they the stage always takes up some level of the capacity, so I think they filled it out for like 10K in the Mercedes Arena. One of the cool things about this announcement, though, actually, that isn't necessarily about 2026, was that 27 they were saying Americas. Like,
Yes.
the fact they've made it vague, I'm hoping that they run it somewhere in
South America.
South America. You know,
Yeah.
like running it in Argentina or Chile, like Chile in particular, because we have a lot of players from there, would be pretty cool, I think.
I mean, that would be interesting as well, just because that's the year where we're going to potentially have shuffles, right? With the format and the
Yeah,
teams
true.
and whatnot. So who knows? Maybe that's also why they're leaving it open. But sounds like we're all just excited for going to Shanghai. Big venue, lots of good fans, great drawings, good halftime cameras.
Silence when Gen.G win.
Silence when
Yeah.
Gen.G
I mean, that
win.
was funny as hell, man. That was funny. The fact they beat every Chinese team as well. Oh, no, wait. No, it was Heretics that beat every
No,
Chinese team,
Heretics
right?
beat
But
them
then,
all on the way.
yeah,
you know?
and Heretics was like amassing the Chinese fans for the grand
Yep.
final where they played against Gen.G. God, that was entertaining.
Oh well, yeah. Hopefully, also the Chinese teams can do well again. But obviously, that's a ways away. But they look like
The
they're on a good
Chinese teams
trajectory.
played astonishingly poorly in Shanghai. I didn't
Yes.
think about it until I went back and looked at like the data, but the Chinese teams played awfully in China. The Korean teams played awfully in
Yeah,
Korea.
it's strange, isn't it?
It's only, I
Yeah.
think it's literally
EG.
only EG,
EG,
that have done well
Yes.
in their home territory.
Well,
So-
Lau did well in
well,
in Lock.
in
Yeah.
Istanbul. Oh, right,
in
a
Lock-in.
lock-in. Oh,
lock
right.
in, and
yeah.
then
Yeah,
Japan
that's true.
didn't have a team in Tokyo, so it doesn't really count.
Loud did do well at lock-in, but I don't think any team has ever disappointed their home crowd more than Loud at lock-in. Do you know what I mean?
Also
Like,
true. It's such a devastating.
but they
one.
did do well. They did do well.
They
It
did,
is a
yes. Yeah.
different curse.
Yes. All right. Well, something to look forward to. Good to know this ahead of time. We'll see, obviously, which teams will do that next year. That's a little ways away, something to chew on. But for now, let's focus on this year because we're not even at Champions and we have to figure out which teams are getting there. So going over to EMEA, we're going to kick off with the first match of the week. And it was between Foot and GIANTX. And listen, I'm just going to open the floor up to you, TMV, because you were the only believer.
I've got the fucking read on Foot. I don't know why. I don't know how. No one else does, and I just have figured out this team. They are bizarre. They're fucking strange. This game was quite strange. Giants in the last two maps go up 5-1 in both maps.
Yeah.
And they win like one round. outside of that, but look at just
Well, not
stomps,
even a
like-
bind. They didn't even
Yeah,
win
yeah, they
one
didn't
round.
win another round on
Yeah.
bind. It's very weird how quickly and strongly fuck just like guns are coming out. Well, we're fucking you now. You're done. It's over. But yeah, I don't know. Foot. I mean, this is what I was saying last week though. Foot. They've got talent, and they are just. Like that's the thing. This is a different Foot to what we've seen before, where they were kind of like, you know, you always knew what they were going to be a solid, you know, they're going to be the third best team in the EMEA. That's who Foot were. You could set your watch to it pretty much. Now I think they've just become one of those teams that's just fucking one. And there's a few teams in the EMEA I think like this. Maybe you'd even put Giants to some extent in there, but like KC as well, you know, another team that can go fucking up and down. At any time. I mean, Gentlemates do it. We'll get to them, but you know, Gentlemates do it within games all the time.
I don't actually think. I don't think that's necessarily true though. Yet, I think Foot are still in that gate. I think Foot are still in that gatekeeper role in EMEA. It's just that they're not as.
Oh, I don't agree.
Solidly there anymore. But like, okay, the teams that they've lost to, right? They've lost.
Yeah.
Well, they've only lost one game, and it was to Vitality.
Oh, Vitality,
right?
yeah.
And then, yeah, that was a bit of a weird one, and they absolutely flopped in that game. And also, our expectations weren't particularly high for Vitality then. But the teams that they've beaten are the teams that you would also expect them to beat.
But,
like
but
the
no
Mates and
one
the
gets
Giants.
any points for being Gentlemates. You don't get any points for. You don't get any credit for being Gentlemates. There's no credit for being Gentlemates
Nah,
because
he's right.
It's
they
true.
beat themselves. Like Gentlemates
And also,
outplay
Gentlemates should have
you,
won that game.
and then they lose. Like,
Yes.
so you don't get any credit for play. Like, you can play however the fuck you want against Gentlemates. It doesn't matter.
But
You'll
I'm not
find- you'll
saying
win.
I'm not saying that Foot deserve credit. I'm not saying they're even a good team. I'm just saying they still occupy that same floating space between the good and the bad.
Sure.
No, but I think you're way too harsh on Old Foot because Foot were good.
Yeah,
Old
no,
Foot
they were
a good
they were.
team.
Yeah.
Like now, I think you're right. They're in the middle, but before they were a good team. I think the big problem for Foot, I would say, going forward is I was looking at it earlier. Zeus is the third lowest rated player so far
he's
during
having
the
a rough
stage.
one.
Well, that's weird because he started the year so well.
Yeah, and I think that's a big concern that just his whole performance this stage has just been extremely rough. Now, again, they did manage to win this game, and as I said, the two maps that they won, they kind of just they were stomps as soon as Foot figured out how to win one round. It was kind of over. What I found interesting about this one though was actually the Giants side of it, because when we were talking about Giants last week, I was expecting at least someone to be like, yeah, I'm kind of in on this Giants team, and no one was. And then it's all like, yeah, this is kind of why.
Yeah, I just find, because I was at least feeling a little bit better about their like Giants calling last week, but then I was looking at this week and it's like it's just what I call NRG calling, like 2024, where it's just like it like bit of util over towards here question mark, we hit other site. I'm just watching Foot just like not rotate at all, just or just go clear the question mark instantly, like no hesitation, just like this is fake pressure, and then just go clear it. I will say in terms of Foot, I liked how proactive they were, especially on defense. Like they were doing all like the right things, especially when I look at their Haven. They had a astonishingly bad Haven the week before, and then they actually put like a lot of time into it. They're actually defaulting, which is a great sign.
Yeah.
that normally helps a lot.
Great sign.
Yeah, it's normally a good sign.
Step one.
But they're actually doing like a lot of good stuff like that. They're super proactive on their defense every single time. When they needed to do something, they were doing it. So I think that they had a read on how Giants like to call, in my opinion. And again, on defense, I think they were very, very proactive when they needed to be. And I think that works very well against the calling style of Giants, because every single time they would either catch people that were unaware with their reaction, or they would just clear a question mark and then instantly go stack the other side. So I thought they had a bit of a masterclass on defense, even though they a lot of the times were having like bad starts.
I think their group is going to be really interesting though, because the next two games that they've got coming up, they're like I would expect them to lose, because Foot are playing against like the teams that are like above them in the gatekeeper hierarchy, in my opinion, like Heretics and BBL. And maybe the BBL one would be winnable if they played like they did towards the second halves of Haven and Bind, but that's going to put them on like a 2-3 if they did lose both of those, and that is where it looks like teams are really going to be scrapping for playoffs. And there's really only like Yeah, I mean, Giants are going to probably sink back down. Then you've got Vitality scrapping for that point. So, this group is going to be insanely competitive to get into playoffs, I think.
So is this just a result of like, okay, we see the strengths of Foot and the weaknesses of GIANTX, but we don't really know how else to foresee? Or are you still leaning pretty heavily after this match? Like, oh, Foot definitely seem like the stronger team. Like they should be ending above.
No. Don't let the fact that we're talking about Foot smacking them on 2 maps lead you to believe that Foot are back like they were before. They are still a bit of a mess of a team, and also just I feel like really got the war machine fucking momentum behind them as they went into those latter 2 maps and just ended up bulldozing via aim a lot of the time, and you can never take that away from them. They are going to be an aim heavy team, but that's not the issue for this squad at all. Like if anything, adding CNED over Adder Captain just increased their firepower like even further, which it was already at a pretty good spot. But actually getting this team to play some good I feel like one of the things that's really gone missing a little bit from Foot compared to that older system was the really tight micro that they used to have, where they would play off each other and like insta swing off each other and that kind of stuff. The discipline, the fundamental trading and spacing stuff does not seem to be as good as it was before. If they get that stuff up, they might not even need the best macro in the world to be able to make a bit of a playoffs run.
It was better this week, though, for sure. Like, you could see the improvements. Even if
they're getting better with it.
Even if you just fully focused on binds on defense, like, they actually played together, like, all the time. And they would, like, react together instead of just playing, like, one, like, I'll hold long, you hold hookah, and then just hope for the best. They were, like, playing together and then be like, oh, we've lost long. Should we stay here, push, or should we, like, fight together and then actually have, like, a crossfire? So they're definitely... All of the stuff from last week, they actually fixed it pretty fast. I think that's a good sign, but I'm still not like
all the way
I'm still like fully sold by it. But it was like it was still good improvements from 1 week.
Nothing changing in the grand scheme yet, but some positive signs. All right, a little sunshine for Foot. But another team that you guys had mentioned, actually both of these were mentioned in different ways. We had Gentlemates versus BBL, and I mean, which side do we start on here? Is there even 2 sides to talk about? Because
I mean, let's Can we start with the Lotus game though? Because if you work backwards through this, you start with you actually get to see both perfect sides of Gentlemates here. You get to see the one side which is they are clearly the better team. Oh wait, oh shit, oh fuck, oh no, and then oh no, we've lost. And then you get to see the other side of Gentlemates, which is we just get blown out of games. And that's, I swear to God, that's all you get from them. That's all you get from them. When they're up massive, you still know they're going to lose. But it's astonishing how much they're doing it.
Dude, it's unheard of.
It's astonishing.
It's literally,
this is
their legacy. It's called a Gentlemates now. Like when you get 12 and you lose a thing, it's called a Gentlemates. Like everyone would go, 12-5, like FNS, funny. But like this is, bro, it's now a 12-4, a 12-5, a 12-6. It's actually a Gentlemates.
We were co-streaming this, and we just stayed quiet the whole time from 12-5 all the way back.
It's like 30 minutes.
And we just,
30
minutes of just silence. And it was just amazing. We were just sat there witnessing. We were just witnessing.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
We knew as soon as they got to 12-5, they've lost this game.
Dude, everyone felt it though. Everyone felt it as well. Because like we were just kind of down with just like, it was more just like trying to work out like what the lead was going to be. Like, was it going to be like a 12-4? Was it going to be a 12-6? It was just like, how big a lead are they going to make it? At one point, I thought it was going to be like a 12-2. And I was like, oh, dude, they're trying to...
they're trying to beat their own record.
I mean,
because they've lost a 12-6, a 12-5, a 12-4, but they haven't lost a 12-3 or 2 yet.
Yeah, they still got them.
So next week,
got 2 weeks.
It's a big god. They're checking them off.
The gauntlet of comeback.
But it's so astonishing watching them not just play to their outs. Like they're throwing away these ults in rounds that they don't have chances of being able to win. But they're also just, they get so close and I don't know if they don't believe themselves or if it's like super in their heads at this point or something, but there are winnable rounds in the midst of this. Like they're not just like, they're not just complete foot off the gas, like throwing the entire time. They get close to the line and you're like, oh shit, they're actually going to win. Oh no, they're not.
But how have they not learned? Like first week, sure, you guys didn't use the ults in the 12. It was 12-6 lost fast, right? They didn't use
Yeah,
your ults
yeah.
in the 12-6 loss.
Yep.
Like you used them in the wrong rounds. You didn't use them all together. Sure, you live, you learn, and next week we'll make sure if we get 12, this won't happen. 12-4, exact same thing happens. Literally just using the ults in the worst rounds. They're using the neon ults like hero ults. Comes to this one as well, dude. It's 12-5, and then one of the rounds they use in a 4v5 2 of their ults. They use breach and Sova ult in a 4v5, and then Sova ult again later on in a 4v5. It's like, how many? What the hell's going on in the VOD reviews? Like, what are we doing? Like, is anyone actually? Are we VOD
I
reviewing
assume they're
at this
just
point?
panicking though. Like they must know themselves that they need to be doing this, but in the moment they think that that's their opportunity and they have to seize it.
Yeah, but
It's got to be mental. It has to.
Yeah, but at what
It
point?
can't be.
I mean, it's got to be, but I guess a question I had is, like, if you have a team, if you have players that just don't know what it feels like to win, right, to close it out, like, how do you possibly train that? Because if it's really a mental thing where it's like you always know in your head, and then in the server they're just like, I think I can win, like, how do you fix that?
Sure, I agree with it to an extent, because that's like some of the rounds when you don't have the ults, I agree with like the choking or whatever. But just literally, it's as simple as, my mates died, I will not use the ult in this round.
Yeah.
Just wait until you get that one advantage and then use the ult. That's it. That's all you have to do. Oh, it's a 5v4. This is now the thing. That's not a mental side. Unless you literally can't like process information and can't learn from the past. Like, it's not.
Whoa.
I think
All
that,
right.
I think
Whoa.
though when you are in these kind of spots and you're like, a lot of performance coaches work on kind of visualization techniques and positive visualization, because what you tend to do when you get stuck in these kind of spots is you visualize yourself losing. Like you think about how I'm going to lose this and how to avoid losing this. And I think it's, dude, I'm a born choker, Sliggy. I know what it's like being out there and not having this be able to work at all when the pressure is on.
3 times.
It's hard to just not look into a round at that point. Like, you know, your
Yeah.
opponent does something completely shockingly bad and you just, you know, happen to win. Like, it's actually difficult
that's true.
to do this.
Yeah.
Like, at some point you would expect one of those 3 teams they were playing against to just, you know, fuck up massively around.
I was
Sure,
just waiting
sure.
I was waiting for Comeback to have a spectacular round on
Yeah, he was
this
popping
Lotus.
off first
On
off,
the
yeah.
attack half, he's 20-5, and then on defense, he's 9-12, just like the same as the rest of his teammates, really. But like again,
Yeah.
for any other team, you get stuck in a rut like this, and somebody does something, and for some reason with mates, I mean, maybe they're throwing. Maybe they're match fixing, but if so, they're the greatest team. They're the greatest team in VCT if they are, because they are getting it down to the wire. Do you know how difficult it is to get it and a perfect
We'll
scoreline
guarantee
like
you
this?
12 rounds.
Yeah, you have to be so much better than your opponent to give them 12, and or rather to get 12 yourself
Right.
and still lose. They must be actual champions level, like
Yeah.
best team in
But
the
on
world
that
if they're
note-
tossing.
I mean, they didn't succeed at all on Sunset.
Well, yeah,
Let's talk about that
They
a
got
little.
blown
that was
out.
just a-
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, because I think obviously, you know, previously it was like every map, okay, and then they run out of steam, but this time it almost looked like they didn't even have a chance to let that happen because it was first map.
Yeah, this was just a complete beatdown. But this is what you were saying, Josh, as well. Like, throughout this whole, which again is strange because they've had a very different team from the start of the season. But at the start of the season, they did this
Same
as
thing.
well, right? Kickoff.
Same thing.
They would get blown out in some maps and then be, you know, very competitive in others.
The
It was
classic
quite
thing with
strange.
General Mates is they'd give you one good map and then they just fizzle away. And yeah, now it's
This
like
was it. But I think this was good for BBL. We should talk about BBL though.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the BBL side, like, I think had they lost this game, and obviously, like, even if they didn't make that comeback, you know, it was still going map 3, they might have still won the game, right? But like, I think especially map 1, it was like, I mean, everyone was kind of chipping in. It was kind of like what I associate with BBL. Like, everyone is chipping in. I mean, Yampy in particular had staying Sunset, but you know, like, everyone was kind of on it. They've got 5, you know, very good players. I mean, this is a funny pistol, but like, I feel like we were still on the BBL, you know, train, essentially. We were still feeling good about them, and I was certainly feeling like, you know, I was still picking them. I was still like, this has still been a good team throughout the season. Had they lost this game though, I think that's when you would have been concerned. But now I just feel confident with this team that, again, it looks solid, the aim was good, the understanding was good, Okay, we got fucking blown. I mean, we did get blown out. This is the thing about playing mates, is it's a strange one. Because one half, you're always questioning, like, well, we did get absolutely fucked on this half of Valorant, so we've got some problems. But like, as Heretics showed, they got blown out on one half versus mates, and then this week, they got blown out on the other half, and one on a cent on the, like, basically, playing mates doesn't make any sense. No. I mean, you talk about VOD recently, I don't even know if it's worth it with mates, because it's just like, maybe it's all of them.
I mean, sure. I do think at least for like BBL, it's just the best confidence ever because you don't really go. It's like gentleman's choking. It's literally just like, oh, guys, we did this against them. We can do this, and then you kind of feel like undefeatable, especially at any score. And I think that's something that's really scary. Definitely some big rounds. I think Yampi played really good. That 1v3 to actually make the comeback happen on Lotus was huge for sure. Even though gentleman's obviously could have probably played it a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, they've had a rough start, BBL, but it's starting to look better. I still don't think it's at the same level we saw at stage 1.
No, I don't think so. I'm slightly further down on them than I was before. I think that there's something I'm not really big on the way that they're defaulting on Sunset. I think that the priority towards this mid Viper wall and then doing a lot of splits through top mid, and it doesn't. I know that they won a lot of rounds, right? So okay, well you can't complain too much about it, but I'm not seeing the vision that much. I don't think they're playing the macro amazingly on that map. I think it's just more so that mates got crushed every time they hit a site. They just couldn't hold whatsoever. I want to see them play against like a team like Foot, for example, which they're going to play.
Well, they're playing Vitality and Foot.
Well, they're playing Vitality. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, because they're tied.
We're about to
as well.
find out how good they are. Basically.
Yeah. And I think that both of those games are actually losable.
Oh, for sure.
But, and like, I'm struggling to know who I favor in those spots. Whereas I think if you look at what BBL have done earlier in the year, you should be giving BBL the benefit of the doubt because they've been the better team than Vitality and Foot, aside from, Vitality during kickoff. But aside from that, leave that aside, they've been better than these two teams this year. And yet, I'm starting to waver in my confidence for them a little.
But is that part of Vitality looking better? Or is
it's part of Vitality looking better, and it's part of a bit of the volatility of Foot as well, where I feel like BBL are not a slam dunk to be... Because they've been the 4th best team this year. I think that's pretty fair to say. But I think there is a chance, actually, that they could even miss out on playoffs here.
Yeah.
And
well, for sure. Statistically, I mean... Yeah, them playing against Vitality, that might even be a decider, right? So
I think they've actually got some of their most like year-defining matches on the horizon, and they're going to need to improve week to week in order to stay alive, I think.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Again, we'll get to the predictions later. We'll see how many people believe, because obviously against Vitality, still alive for the playoffs, but not quite in yet. Just 1 foot through the door. But moving on for now, let's talk about a team where it wasn't so much the result, but we were just hoping to see some changes, and we did when it comes down to the next matchup. Team Liquid up against Apeks. 2-1 scoreline. Kind of come to expect that from Apeks. But I want to... Well, I mean, listen, I don't think that's a negative.
No. I'm just remembering this game, Chobra. Yeah. I'm just remembering this game and the psychic damage it's done to me. Because in theory, right, you've got an insanely good team here against the bottom team. You've got like a top 3 team versus the worst team in the region.
Right. This could have been our ZETA division in the EMEA.
Yeah.
Could have been.
But... Man, there was some... I mean, it's positivity week here on Plat Chat, so I'm going to give you some positives, right? I'm going to give you the positives. Apeks are starting to build out some maps where I feel all right about them. And their Sunset is already a map where I feel pretty decent about Apeks. Their Ascent, if they continue playing double duelist, I'm going to feel all right about them. I don't feel amazing, but I feel all right. And their Corrode, they actually had a pretty good game plan. They run I think most teams should be running 1-3-1 defaults on the attack side, putting heavy emphasis on mid, doing a lot of A splitting, that kind of stuff. They actually went for a different approach where they focused super heavily on extremity control, and they ran a comp that's really heavy on popping into sites. But it is really difficult to stop these pops when they're running the Yoru and the Neon. So they had some nice kind of like game plans. They fleshed out 3 of the maps in their pool to a reasonable degree. So yeah, some positives there. And I'm gonna cede my time because
There you go. Good. You're showing self-restraint. You're growing, Sasha. We're so
Thank
proud
you.
of you here at Plat Chat.
I mean, they could have 2-0'd this, right? Am I the only one that believes that they could have?
yeah, they could have,
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. They definitely could have. I think it's
and that's shocking.
well. We can talk about the Liquid side of it in a second because I think
Yeah,
the
sure.
Liquid didn't have the best day that they've had for sure. But this is just what we've come to expect, though. You know, like it just like yeah, they are starting to build up maps, but it's too late now. Like they. The thing that's going to be annoying, and this could happen for a few teams, could happen for like a 2G as well, right? 2G could have beaten EG. And the thing is for these teams, like all you need is maybe just that one win that you could have got. This one win here against Liquid would have been a big upset, you know, but that could have been the difference. You know, then you just scrape out another win somewhere and it's like, oh, now we have a chance to play an Ascension and, you know, hopefully we're better than these tier 2 teams, you know, and then we're back and everything's
chance,
good.
yeah.
But like you lose because and I mean, here we go. We'll have to swap over to some negativity now as
We'll
well.
have
though.
to.
They just sometimes it's like they just lose their minds. I think they just lose their minds, and it's like they don't know how to win sometimes. Like they could refuse to win sometimes, like just with stupid individual mistakes or a plan that never has like much chance of making it. Like we've seen it with like last week in the KC game, you know, like Avova making some terrible mistakes, and but they take turns. I mean, Saito, you were popping off about Batu's Euro at one point.
Hold on. Yeah. Finish your thought, GMV.
No, actually, I want to cede him the time. Talk about Batu's
Okay.
Euro because we've been big on this double duelist train.
I really wanted them to play double duelist. I thought
Yeah.
double duelist because we saw it once earlier this year where Batu pulled out the Yoru, I think it was a Pearl, and he could op. Like he could op. And I was like, God damn, like this is the key to their success because Batu on Sova, which he's been playing most of, although he's been playing some like Deadlockers. And the Deadlock's been looking shocking too, let me tell you
Hey, it's
that.
been looking better than the server though.
Yes, but that's because he put the bar in the floor, Sliggy on Sova. The bar's in the floor.
Positivity.
Okay,
yeah,
positivity.
yeah.
It's gonna
Chill,
be
chill.
hard, Kurt. It's gonna be hard. So I love the fact that they were running more double duelist, okay? Even if it hasn't quite been working for them in scrims. I mean, that's what Adam was saying when we were talking about crew as well. But Batu has got to work on these Yoru ults a little bit, man. He's got to put some time into the Yoru ults because what I was witnessing was getting me irate. He's also... Believe in yourself, man. And maybe it's difficult at this point in the season when you haven't had many reps playing double duelist to have that self-confidence. But when I was watching him on Ascent on map 1, he just didn't have... First of all, he's not getting himself on aggressive angles very often. And that's how you play on the defense side with Jet Yoru. You get posted on aggro angles and you force them to push you off. And then you go and try and get inserted onto another dodgy angle and use your gate crashes to constantly have threats. Always have threats. And he's holding the most passive lines of all time. He's not calling for Multi to come and drone him onto deeper angles. There's no initiative coming there. And all right, maybe it's because his confidence has been fucking battered into the dust or something from playing
You're
Silver
helping that, are you?
repeatedly. Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, who knows? I'm trying to give him bail, though. I'm trying to shoot him some level of bail.
Okay.
But the Yoru ults were spectacular. I've never seen a game with as many shit Yoru ults as this match. There were some amazing ones.
Yeah, there's some,
I
yeah.
think there's
There's some more to come in this episode.
I think there were 4 all-timers, though, where he was coming out of his Yoru ult and only shooting one shot with the shorty.
Oh, he did that twice. Yeah, that
He
was,
did it twice!
Yeah.
But,
That's crazy.
does he know there's a second shot in that thing?
It even cut to the coaches, and the coaches are like, "Why does he only shoot one all the time?" It's like, oh man, you know it's bad when it's like something they've picked up. As well.
But I also do think that if they'd been running this kind of strat from at least from Toronto on, like from the beginning, when it was obvious that double duelist was reasonable, if they had started then, I think we would be getting a better look from him by now.
I think so for sure, because they kind of went for they realized that they needed to make a play. So, and then obviously their play is what everyone's been asking for, double duelist. And then it's just like a week, I guess, to do it on multiple maps. So maybe it doesn't feel super comfy. So I do think that extra time would have helped him a lot. I'm expecting him to look a lot better this week. It's kind of like what TMV was saying. It might just be, it's just too late. It is actually just too late. And it's just like all all of the dreams of like the Augur just done.
Well, yeah.
No, they are done, Chobra. They are done.
Yeah.
No,
And you know what?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, is there really any positivity to look for on the other side of this
On
coin?
Liquid?
Yes.
On Liquid, no, it was pretty rough on them too.
there's some
Map 3,
positives.
they became Team Liquid again.
There
And literally,
you
Nats
go,
at one
there
point, I
you
think, in one of the replays was like,
Yeah.
like he like finally said, finally we've like
Yes.
fucking locked in or whatever. Like there was a replay of him like saying like, what, we've been fucking shit basically today,
Yeah.
pretty much. And it was, I don't know if it was just like oh, we're playing Apeks, so we'll be fine. And they just it took them a while to kind of wake up and actually feel like maybe once they lost their map, they thought, oh shit, we actually need to kind of lock in here. I don't know what it was, but yeah, this was because I had been like really starting to build into this like Liquid are going to be super good. And look, they still won the game, right? They still won the game. In map 3, they dominated, and it was what we probably expected from this game. So that's okay. But I didn't think Liquid's floor. I mean, again, they won, so it's difficult to say this, but like their floor, I thought was higher than this.
Yeah, I agree.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There was definitely, it's like the first time I've watched them where I've seen like initial pre-barrier setups on defense, and I'm just looking at thinking like, dude, this doesn't make sense. Like this one's not good. And that happened like 3 times.
On
I was
Ascent?
like, on Ascent, yeah. And I was just like, I've never felt this about them. Normally I'm just like, oh, this setup's like really good. But there'd like be certain times where it's just like one person isolated on their own, no help, and I'm just like, this
They also
doesn't make sense.
they weren't re-clearing ever on defense. They would give up space on the attack side to Apeks, and then they would, and this is one of the teams that's most known for re-clearing, right? They get proactive in the mid-round, somebody makes a call, doesn't have to be Nats, and they go and re-clear a bit of area on the map. But they were never really getting like info back in mid, info back in B main, doing a re-clear of A main to try to catch people. And so Apeks just kind of like slowly took the map against them on the attack side. And that's pretty disappointing because it made the calling from Molzy look really good on Ascent, but it was also just too easy for them to do that. When you have a top level team like Liquid, this was one of my problems with FNATIC way back when they were running their previous comps on Ascent, is that they would just default back into these like defensive bunker setups on Ascent more, and they wouldn't try to ever retake space on the map or fight for it. But I think somehow Liquid have been infected with that same disease.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah. I mean, I guess we have to kind of wait to see if it was simply a matter of like who they were playing, right? Whether it's a mental thing or not. Because I think all of us
Chobra, I
agree
do want to say one thing. I do think, like, I do wonder: are we just looking at this of like our opinion of Apeks is so low that we just think that when Apeks play KC and Liquid close, and I know there was moments where those games were shit.
No,
But a part of me does think, what if
No.
there's a world? No, you're not buying my theory.
I don't
What
think
if
it's
Apeks are
positivity.
actually Gentlemates 2.0 and they're just like actually good but
positivity.
can't win? What if that's the case?
I
Team
think
Liquid had shit macro on their defense side of Ascent.
Okay, all right.
And they need to
well
get
done.
rid of the gecko on
Okay,
Corrode
all
as
right.
well. And if they do that, maybe I'll be on board.
Your negativity quota has been reached.
Yeah,
we gotta
it was a lot.
continue with some more positives here, all right?
I got a lot of things for Liquid, for positives. I think the
Ooh, okay.
Trex being full scans nice. I liked their retakes on Corrode on attack. I think that a lot of teams can kind of steal similar stuff where it's like set protocol retake over towards middle once you take the sides to actually like clear out, so you create pressure on the sides that you can pop and then you clear back middle on attack. I thought that was pretty good. Can't look this bad twice, I guess, is the other one as well. I think I think it's literally just like it's a free lesson, basically.
All right.
Trying to put a positive spin on it.
And they won.
And they won. Yeah, it's a free
they
lesson.
did win. Yeah, there you go. So it's a free lesson. All right. Well, hopefully we have some more positives to talk about for this one.
No, not for me.
Oh, well, come on. It was a pretty big redemption, especially for
Yeah, but I
all
don't
of
give-
us, right?
I don't give a shit about KC.
What the hell? What's that mean?
Whoa, okay.
I mean, the
Well,
negative-
okay, hold on.
It's because they beat his boys, Chobra.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he
my
has
boy.
TMV's in the under the dunce cap here for a minute while we talk about the positives of this match. And last week, actually, I mean, all of us thought that this would go the other way.
Whoa,
We kind of
whoa.
had lost hope on. Well, not, I mean, all of us but Sliggy. So I'll open the floor up to you. You can start us with some positives here.
Positives? Oh, I had a lot of negatives. Hold on, let me search these notes for some positives. There's a lot of negatives right here. Maybe someone else should take over right now.
I mean,
I can looking at this VLR. There's a lot of negatives as well.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll tell you.
pretty
I'll tell you this. Avez's Phoenix performance
Yes.
on Sunset was like he was not team blinding his
Yes,
team
there you
constantly.
go.
He had.
That's true.
He was getting an insane amount more value out of it. And I mean, listen, 340 ACS, wiping the floor away with Koi, easy peasy.
That's it.
Great, good start.
think
All
I
right.
don't. I really don't have much more. I mean, he also they had. Okay, how about this then as well? They had a really strange composition on Haven too, right? They run the Yoru with the Phoenix, and they also got again a huge amount of value out of the Flash characters there too. Do I think it's the greatest comp in the world? Well, that's not the point.
No, but I mean, hey, they also made adjustments, right? Like they started going to clear and retake and flank and stuff, and so there were positives. They adjusted to the game to win out the match.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Yeah, they definitely adjusted because there were some points where they were like playing off site against the Viper, or they were like weren't proactively taking middle once they lost sights. So they at least started to be a bit more proactive on the defense. That's like a main one, even though I think they got a little bit lucky in some of the rounds, and more just lucky in the fact that like Koi, when they take sites, don't really. I'll be honest, I don't think they understand their comp.
Their comp is supposed to lock out flood defenders, and Karmine Corp are playing the most flood defend comp you could come up with.
Flooding all the time.
And but they would like, there was one round where they took over towards C, and it's like, with this comp, you now win, right? If it's a 5v5, you have the smoke down towards spawn, you now win. And then they're like 3-person took over towards garage, and it's just like, guys, you think you're playing a different comp. You don't understand. You don't understand the comp that you're playing right now. You've won the round already.
Yeah,
well,
and even on Sunset as well. Hold on, I need to talk about Koi's attack side, because Koi's attack side is like KC. Like you have to understand who you're playing, right? KC, I feel like have a pretty defined style, right? They play heavy flood, they play heavy kind of groups of people, and they, fucking throw tons of util at you, like if it's a trap, or whether, like it might be a trap on one side of the map, and then it's flood retake with a Yoru TP, to get across on the other side or whatever. And Koi are just like, let's group up and walk this way. And then either we spring a trap and we all fucking die and we're getting hit by a million bits of util. And then, or if we go the right way or whatever, we're slow enough that where KC can get fucking everyone there, and now we're running into 5 people who are already there, and the map looks fucking shit and the spike's not down, and it's like, oh shit, we've lost. Like everything they did was just like, this, like, you've got to know you're playing against KC. You got to, like, KC have been playing like this ever since Eng got there. Like, you've got to know, like, to, poke and prod and find your way and, find little gaps and stuff. No!
You gotta default, man. You gotta default. You gotta look for the Cypher util. They're making Cypher look like the best agent in the game in 2025. That shouldn't be happening these days. Like, there's just trips cameras up, and you guys are 5-person grouping, and then you get shut down, and you have no one lurking, no one doing anything, so you got no backup. So you end up just running into sites where there's gonna be 4 people. It's really bad.
It was horrible.
No wonder everyone's trying to watch Pacific. I mean, I understand. I get it. You don't have teams defaulting. I get it. It's a darn shame.
It was a rough one.
I mean, is there anything else you really feel that needs to be called out on? I mean, I guess on either side, but even on the KC side.
I think K-Corp don't use their Yoru great on defense. They might as well be playing a Jet as well. Like, they don't.
Which is strange, because they have been like they were on Yoru before it was even that popular.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, if you ever want to watch someone, who understands the difference between Yoru and Jet, we have a player called something, in Pacific. So just leaving that out there for everybody. But all right,
we can get back to some positives now.
Yeah, just make sure you watch the demos after like May, basically.
Yeah,
basically, yeah, that's true. All right, well, sounds like that was
just flashing of a 2-0 loss.
All right, not the last one, right? Where are we? Where's my run of show? Oh, here we go. All right, closest match of the week, which, I mean, quite frankly, considering how some of these matches have gone on EMEA, it really didn't have to be, but this one went the full distance. FNATIC versus NAVI. Now, all of us last week were talking about how we just didn't see a world at all. Like, this had to be a complete, just an absolute win for FNATIC, and it did get really close. I mean, were you ever worried watching this, or were you still like, well,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
wonderful distance?
Oh, yeah.
This
I thought
This is the game of positivity. This is actually
well, no,
the game.
but here's
no,
the
it
thing.
is.
There's a
Oh,
depressing element to it, which is that Navi should have
This
won.
is the positivity show, TMV. Relax.
Fuck off, Kurt. I didn't start the show. I didn't go to shit. I'm starting off depressing, and then we can get to a ton of positivity about this game.
There is a lot of positives.
Okay, well,
The
end on
depressing part
positives.
is that Navi definitely could have won, and it was like right there for them. And I should have added them in the terms of the teams as well that have been like up and down. Because like against Liquid, I was like, this team's fucking dog shit. And then against Fnatic, I was like, this team, they're almost, it's there. Ruxic is going fucking crazy. I didn't even know Ruxic could play this well. And they're still lost because Fnatic just refused to lose.
Yeah, Fnatic have got that kind of like magic aura around them where they can't lose these kind of games. But I have a lot of respect for. Honestly, I came away thinking like Angel really understands how to play against Boaster's calling style. I think that they, more than any team at the moment, seem like they have a great read on how to punish Fnatic's really slow pace on their attack side. I think that he did an excellent job of calling for minimal utility usage on defense so that you still have a lot of it to be able to use when the site hit comes through, or if you have to play retake. And I think he also did a great job of never like telling his players to put their bodies on the line in ways to grab information in the mid round. There's something really, really uncomfortable about playing defense against a slow team like Fnatic. You feel like at any moment you can get pounced upon, and you're like, you have to be comfortable with the discomfort of sitting there without information. And I think that Angel called a really good game around that. And the players like Ruxic in particular, but also Alexic too, were just really on it today.
They were just saving util as well. Like that, yeah, it's like what you said. Like they even showed, did the replay stuff in the EMEA is so good in comparison to any other region. It's crazy. But like we're getting the replays where it's just like him just saying like, oh, dude, guys, just save your util. Like we can just keep doing this. To save your util, they're gonna play really late, and they were just saving the util. And normally Fnatic can like close out those rounds, but they're having to like force through so much more in terms of the actual util. And or like it was like Hero using trips that were like way further back instead of like early, so they think they've cleared it, but then you're only discovering those trips when you're like full committing. And at that point, it's 15 seconds normally when it's Fnatic, they're getting wrecked by it. This was an awesome game. It was actually an awesome game to watch.
It was really good.
It was so nice because we had quite a few like stinkers with like a lot of bad stuff happening, and it was just like, man, this is just a nice game to watch. It's very high level. It's a shame Shao had a bit of a stinker. I felt like he was losing a lot of angels that I normally think that he would win. But other than that, I was like, man, this is a high level game. Felt good. It's nice to see Navi. It's nice to see Navi actually look good.
Yeah, they really did look good. I mean, the thing in this series, across the series, they were plus 17 in first kills to first deaths.
Yeah, and how many of those came from Ruxic?
Ruxic was
lot, right?
13.
Ruxic was 13-1 in first kills to first deaths. That is unbelievable. But this is the thing that like is kind of crazy. Is like, if you're Navi, if we replayed this game 100 times, if you can't win when that's going on, how do you ever win?
But you know what's funny?
I think Shao can play better.
Well,
I think they might be okay.
Yeah,
do you
but
know?
Also, I mean, I want to add on to that and say, but how much of this is really just Angel like understanding Boaster versus Navi also likes to play slow, so he just gets it.
True.
Right? Like that's just his comfort zone as well. So if you're just the worst version of that, then I mean, you know, listen, I know I'm supposed to be the one that's keeping the positivity, but like, you know, where's the hope coming from, right? Because that's like the one thing you're supposed to be able to beat is where you're comfortable. And I mean, you got close, but
the other thing to Ruxic's first kills, by the way, is that when you look at who he got them against, he was 10-0 against Kayak. So he got 13 first kills, of which 10 out of 13 were on Kayak. So he's just destroying the entry player from Fnatic. You go to first kills, Kurt. So like that one's all kills. First kills, there it is, 10-0.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
I've never seen that before.
He had a really good week last week as well, right?
yes,
Ruxic?
He's on.
I believe
he's
so.
on good form.
He had a fantastic week a few weeks ago when they were playing against Vitality, I think it was.
He's definitely had those weeks where he's just popped off.
Yeah.
So he's looking good, man. I mean, there's a reason that he was like the most scouted controller player for tier 2. Like he's the one that everyone wanted.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, we'll get to it when we do
All
the
right.
Preds. I was going to.
Okay, yeah, they're future matches. But just before we move on, then obviously we're talking about Navi and understanding FNATIC. FNATIC, I mean, is this just they're just better? Is it a confidence thing that they just know how to close out matches? Are you still confident? Is FNATIC still the best team in EMEA?
Yeah, until,
Yeah, I
until
think
we
so.
see otherwise.
Yeah.
Definitely,
But
definitely at
me and
least
my chat were
convincing
talking
Red
about.
Bull.
Oh, you go. Me and my chat were talking about like FNATIC I think FNATIC is the hardest team to like just beat, like full stop. I just feel like you never feel like FNATIC. And actually, I was going back through history, looking at like have FNATIC ever been stomped 2-0? And like you actually have to go back to like Masters Reykjavik when they were playing with subs to find like times when they just like got beaten on 2 maps and like that neither map was that close. Like they're just insanely hard to beat because even when they aren't playing well, and this was true even back in like 2023 as well, like even if they aren't playing that well, someone will just bullshit their way to a random 3K that wins them the round.
Yeah, there've been a lot of I mean, they do have spectacularly good players who can take over games, right? And that's going to help them in difficult situations. But I think the big takeaway from this game, if you're looking like forward, is that other teams should be looking at why NAVI were able to play FNATIC close here. And it's not really to do with like Ruxic had a god game or something. Like the takeaway is about how to play in the slow tempo matches. And I think if you're not used to it, it can be really difficult. And I think that this is a great VOD to look at to show like what kind of stuff do you need to adjust in order to put the pressure back on FNATIC in those kind of moments, and how to not get sucked into these chaotic 20-second on the clock crazy execs where you just get mashed at the very end.
Well, shout out to Navi for doing everyone's homework for them. And we'll see if everyone's picked up on it and figures out the next time they play. I mean, seriously, sometimes that really snowballs forward. So we'll see whether it's just in EMEA or maybe even potentially at Champions. We do have one match left before we go on to the predictions. Perhaps, I mean, I guess there's a lot of competitors in this front, but the match that gave the best clip of EMEA this week.
Boy.
Heretics.
That's how you're starting it off. Meant to be
No,
positive,
Team
but that's
Heretics
where you
beat-
go, Joe.
Whoa, wait. Which clip
The
are
great 1v2 Sliggy is what it was.
Yeah, you
Oh, I
don't
see,
know which
that's-
clip I'm talking about. You don't
I
know
saw
for
a 1v2,
sure.
an all-time 1v2 win. That's what it was.
Okay. I mean, I think we all know. But honestly, I think because for me, actually, when this match was happening, I saw that moment. And for those who don't know, for any viewers and listeners who didn't see it, it was on Haven, and there was a little moment where Miniboo kind of got ahead of himself and might have absolutely tossed around. We're watching it on the screen.
I gotta watch this again, man. Because the crazy thing is, Miniboo played the rest of the series and the rest of this map real well,
Yes,
so well.
but
then he somehow put together one of the worst plays I think I've ever seen.
But that's what. So I was talking about this when they took the timeout, and chat was like asking, like, do you address it? I think you have to like address it a little bit, just to be like, mate, it's fine. Like you can make sure that everyone forgets this, and you can like laugh about it if you have like a good game. And his recovery after having, honestly, let's be honest, one of the worst clips I've ever seen in Valorant.
Yeah.
Like one of the worst whiffs you can ever get in Valorant. Let's like say it as it is. Like look at this. Like I can't imagine the feeling after doing this. 1v1, you know where he's spawning. Pre-fire early. Was it 8 bullets, 7
8
bullets?
bullets.
Holy.
No, I think it was only 6, wasn't it?
No, I
Does
think
it-
it was
is it
more than
8?
that.
Has he got 8
Yeah,
bullets?
I mean, 8 or 6, either way. Just
The thing
Yeah.
is, though, I think this does describe something genuine. Like, people have gotten good enough with their movement when they come out of this ult that it can actually be difficult to kill them when they come out of it. If you watch the pros, they're immediately strafing, immediately ducking, and so it is easy actually to beef that a little bit if you're trying to react. But also, if you're a pro, you should know the timing to be able to pre-fire and not
Yeah,
that
I mean,
early.
yeah.
for sure. But I do think the main thing to focus on is, I guess, the recovery that he had, because there's a lot of people that'll be mentally boomed, just not
Yes.
even in just this map, like a whole best of 3. And
I
that
think that's a
recovery
good-
for him and the way that he ended the map was just awesome.
I think that's a good synopsis for Team Heretics as a whole, to be honest. Is that, pre-EWC, they were this team that, could get blown out randomly at times, right? And seemed quite mentally fragile. But now I think, and we've seen it again back-to-back weeks against like mates, and even on like Ascent, right? Like what was it, 8-2 at one point, right, on Ascent map 2, and then they just come back and like dominate. And I do think that like that is something that has changed somewhat in them. Is that I do feel like they're kind of similar to FNATIC in a way. Like, you know, they maybe have gained this like aura of we still know we're gonna win. You know, like we're not panicking about it. We feel good about it because they've been able to make these big comebacks now, back-to-back weeks. As we were saying, Miniboo, him personally, you know, the fact he hasn't had a fucking disaster after that, you know, shows a mental strength. And I think that could be the difference for a team like this.
That would break most players.
Yeah. And you say like he didn't have a disaster after that, but it's actually better than that. I mean, he basically turns, because he on the attacking half in the first half, he's 0-2 in first kills, first stats. KST is not the best stat, but when you look at extremes, he's at only 50%, right, getting value out of anything he's done on the round. Then he goes to defense, 100% KAST, 6-0 first kills, first stats, 18-6 kills. That's, I mean, he literally just said, no, I win, right? And he just turned on the switch to say we are winning this map. So I don't think I've ever really seen, like, I've seen Miniboo be the one that's like staying in the game for Heretics, you know, when everyone else starts crumbling. But for him to have a moment like that and then be able to laugh it off and say, don't worry, guys, I got you, and you know, just come right back to the top is really impressive.
I think it's a good point because Miniboo has had periods where he's looked like a phenomenal player. But I think when I think about how he, like his body language, how he reacts on comms to disappointing moments and stuff, he does tend to wear his heart on his sleeve. He does tend to get quite frustrated, like visibly frustrated with what's going on if things are going badly. So it is a good sign just individually from him as well that he's able to brush that off and look it's as good as he did. Like, when was it? Was it throughout stage 1 where he just looked like the best player in the EMEA? Beginning of stage 1?
He was good in stage 1, yeah.
He was farming for maybe like the first 3 or 4 weeks, I think.
There's a lot of individuals on this team that look in form, man. I think Woot's probably in one of the best form I've ever seen him, and Rienz is just insane, man. He is consistently a rock for this team. The amount of like clutches he wins to just make it easier for them, the amount of good util he has, important kills, impact kills, and like when Rienz and Woot are playing like this, it's a very scary team. They're very good right now, both of them.
I wasn't feeling amazing about Team Heretics' defense side. Running the Jet Yoru, I think there should be more opportunities for them to be getting those cute, like they've got 2 players in insane form, clearly. And they're on like the roles where you can take over a game playing defense side Ascent. And I didn't feel like they really got into positions where they could dictate all of the tempo. I'm trying to remember if Heretics have been like great on Ascent in the past. I can't really remember.
But here's the thing about like last week against mates. Like this week they had a big comeback on attack. Last week they had a big comeback on defense, and Woot went crazy against mates on Ascent. They actually ended up losing that map in OT, but like they made the comeback from like 10-2 down. Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of strange that they've made kind of 2 big comebacks on different sides of Ascent.
Yeah.
Am I wrong for coming away from this game feeling okay about Vitality? I think they're getting better.
Yeah.
Every week.
I feel good about them.
Yeah.
I think this was just more the story of Heretics more than anything like to take against Vitality. Because if Heretics didn't do that, like Vitality should have been able to actually maybe even cruise through both maps, right? If they didn't like recover a little bit on some of those rounds that they lost or anything like that. So obviously placement-wise, Vitality not feeling great.
No. But that's why it's getting exciting. It's like, are they just gonna get to a level good enough to like defend their champ points and actually go to champs? It's pretty cool.
They totally could, because
they might be
again, like I was talking about earlier with like Giants and BBL. Like Giant, for BBL and Vitality, I couldn't tell you which of those are going to miss out on playoffs. I think it's entirely possible that any of the 4 could.
Well,
mates are going to be Zeta Division as soon as they're eliminated. Fucking
yeah, for sure.
It's stomps. They just close out. They just saw 13-2 up and they just run their win.
But that's
Imagine.
more obvious than ZETA Division, isn't
Yeah,
it?
true.
Because they,
Zeta Division
well,
just did
yes.
out of nowhere. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. They've at least demonstrated they can get to the finish line. It's just that they face plant as soon as they get there.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is getting interesting, especially with we just saw on the screen as well. Vitality, obviously, the next matchup against BBL, that'll be a big one as well. But we'll find out how we're all, where our pulse is when we get through all of the predictions. That's gonna wrap it up for all the weeks that happened this past week. So let's, in fact, jump in and see where we're predicting everybody. Before we go in, we do have to check in with how our viewers have done last week in EMEA. Wasn't too hot over in Pacific, but we had Vitality, Heretics, and you got it correct. 75%. A lot of faith in Heretics to be able to start closing out these games and look dominant. So congratulations, looking good in EMEA. We will have the match of the week this week. It's actually going to be a absolute banger, Team Liquid versus FNATIC. So make sure you check out the community tab to vote on that one. Very curious to see how that splits for the viewers. But that's going to come later in the week. So let's start with the very first match going into week 4. It is going to be Foot Esports versus Team Heretics.
Yeah.
And I think this is so reasonable. Like, I feel pretty good about this one.
You feel okay about the guarantee?
Yeah, I think it'd be tough to figure out a way that Foot win. Like, they could, Heretics could just have a bit of a collapse week, and maybe a lot of the stuff that we've talked about this week of like, oh, we feel really good about their mental and stuff, maybe that's just, some of that gets undone. But I think, like, I'm feeling very confident that the gap is larger between these teams than it was earlier in the year, than it was last year, maybe even as well.
Oh, okay.
So-
I mean, how is
agree
our
with that.
resident Foot expert feeling? TMV?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I've picked Heretics. That should tell you a decent amount, because that's the thing. If I'm thinking about how do Foot win this game? Like, it does seem quite tough because they're not gonna. You would think they're not gonna be able to out aim them, right? So they're not gonna have that in their favor. Heretics are a very solid fundamental team. Foot have actually lost some of their weirdness to an extent, so it doesn't even necessarily feel like that's on the cards either. So I'm struggling to even come up with solid ways of this will be the difference of Foot, other than someone goes absolutely crazy and has a life game. But I'm
Yeah,
just feeling good about Heretics.
Even the individuals just have to go crazy. I even think, if you look at the improvement from week 2 to week 3, I think even if they keep on that trajectory, I still back Heretics to be fine by a good percentage. The gap's just too big in theory from what we've seen.
All right. Well, I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but we feel okay about the guarantee. We'll see if it holds up. Heretics, if they can finally beat even the curses that be to continue on their dominance. Let's move on to the next match. A bit of a redemption match, this one, kind of the other side of the spectrum here. It's going to be Koi versus Apeks.
Oh no. Thank God.
I like that.
Good.
50-50.
I think 50-50 is valid for this
I think
game.
it is really valid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should this
I
be
think
the
Wardo's
bonus
going
match
to be
of
the
the
only
week?
one, to be honest.
What's right?
Match of the week?
No, should this
It's a funny match of the
so
week.
we have a slot for a bonus match of the week. Should this be the bonus?
Oh, put it in
Ah,
there.
do it.
Put
Let's
Yes,
do it.
this is
Let's
a
do
great
it.
Because
one.
who wins it, really?
I mean, I don't know.
No one wins.
Like, I think some of it does come down to map pool stuff, and I haven't looked to see what the map veto likely is. I don't know what the permabans are for these teams, or if they have them necessarily even. But again, I feel only confident on Apeks, on their Corrode, Sunset, or maybe Ascent. And so I feel like they need 2 of those in the pool, and they just need a better day from Badu.
Ooh, it's going to be an interesting
Yeah.
veto. I just took a look. They're both banning bind.
Okay.
It could be a
Well, it's-
strange veto depending on who wins the toss, maybe.
Yeah, little game of chicken, maybe. We just end up getting blind right off the
Oh,
rip, maybe.
Yeah, bind map 3 with these teams. Both.
Especially
Look, I thought you would ban it. Oh, I thought you were going to ban it. It just
Apeks,
sits around.
Apeks haven't played against Koi this year, right? Because they were in different groups at the
I think
at
that's
the
right.
start.
Yeah, they're in the,
Yeah.
each
Yeah.
of them. Yeah.
And Apeks have yet to win a game just entirely, just full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
This is the best chance.
Koi beat Gentle Mates, and that's it. But
At the moment, everyone will do that.
And apparently
Yeah,
nobody
that-
gets
that
points
one's
for
for
that.
free.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I just hope
are
that
these-
Apex
Oh, go
will
ahead.
look better with the double duelist. Again, I'm just hoping the Batu performance is just because it was like a week of practicing the double duelist. That's
Yeah.
pretty much all I've gone off of because I like the double duelist. I think that is the route they need to go, and I hope they stick with it. And it's just a time diff. And I mean, yeah, it's like you said, Sergio. He just needs to have a better performance. That's it.
And I could be completely on board with that. I was thinking about Pred and Apex in this game as well. But then when I look at the rosters on paper, I just have more faith in people like Monster, Buddy G, the tank, to be able to deliver,
I get that.
basically.
yeah, the thing about Koi is I thought the general consensus was that it is looking hopeful, like more hopeful than it was before. Not like
It was.
they're gonna make a run
It
or
was
whatever.
before this
It
week,
was.
yeah. 'Cause they played against Liquid and FNATIC, and they were okay.
Right.
Like they lost, but like they were. It was okay. And then they
I'm,
played KC.
I'm
and it
surprised
was-
you have faith in them after getting ruined by their attacks.
Well,
and
this
calling,
is last chance. This is just like cope. This is cope, to be honest. Like it is just cope.
It's a 50-50 game, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
I
Apex.
feel strongly on
Apex
either way.
literally don't know how to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
If we had a team, we were talking about this at the very start of the episode about worst teams ever in franchise. If we had a team that didn't win a game all year long,
DFM didn't.
DFM.
DFM in 2023.
23 DFM.
oh, in 23, right? Because
Yeah,
they did
but 23 was But also, if you
Afterwards,
put it
right,
in that way, like when 23 was such a mess and you still couldn't win a single game, then
That's
that
pretty
is-
bad.
that is a
pretty bad.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Neither of these are completely out, right? Like there are cases.
That's
'cause they
paths. I
both
mean,
have-
Apex have to beat FNATIC. Koi have got Navi
I
and
think
Apex.
really not
so, like,
out.
No, you can win 2 games. What do you mean?
Yeah, there's
you win
2
2
games left.
you
yeah,
have a chance.
Yeah.
Koi have
Jesus
got
Christ.
Apex and Navi. Like there is a world for Koi. There's a world.
Boy, actually
Yeah.
could.
Apex
yeah.
play FNATIC week 5. There's less
I
of a
mean,
world.
dude, two more weeks of double
Unless-
doubles. Who
Yeah,
knows? Who
maybe.
knows what's
Maybe
gonna
I believe
happen?
him. Let's see how they look.
All right. Okay.
God
Well, a
almighty.
50-50 match is just so Kurt is just going to be the bonus match of the week.
Well, I'll think about it.
Okay. We will think about it. So just make sure you check the community
Let's know
tab
in the
to
comments.
see if.
I think we should do
right.
it. Make it hard for them.
Do you want the toilet bowl?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, a very difficult one. All right. Well, for now, let's move on to the third match coming up here in EMEA. It's going to be Gentlemates versus GIANTX.
Wow.
Wow.
We're split
Wait,
50 as
two
well.
of you.
Yeah, it's a 50, yeah. But I think that's fine for this game.
Another
Right?
bonus match of the week.
No, this one is hard to call as well.
Now, this one is just cope for me. Because my cope
Okay.
is, it can't happen again. It can't happen again. Like, it's already happened
After all
too
this
many
time.
times. It
It did happen again.
surely it can't keep happening like this, right, TMB?
It can.
It can.
I think it's just too obvious how to close it out now. Like, it's just too
I
obvious.
mean-
There's so many demos now of how you've messed it up. There's so many people
It's
talking about how you messed it up.
already
It's all
too
good. Just
far.
listen.
Like, they've already made history.
Oh, dude, it's
So-
sticking in Valorant at the Gentlemates for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just not as an orc, basically.
So messed up. Oh my gosh. But does Shio's theory apply when
I think
It's
mates are in a different
self-induced.
universe.
yeah,
There
it's
it is.
self-induced?
I mean, they might have the biggest humiliation kink of all time, potentially. Maybe that's what it is.
I think it's the other way around. They are
Okay.
the spankers. They're spanking people so hard that by the time they get to 12, suddenly the other team's all horny, ready to go, and they're like, "Oh Jesus!" and they get caught off guard. So they're just too
so they
they're
have to-
too good at spanking. They need a closer game. They need to get it like
Yeah.
don't
Right.
get it to
Have
12-5
it
or
10-10,
12-6. Yeah, exactly. Play like a
Yeah, yeah.
10-10 game.
Okay.
Because the
Yeah,
more
let
you
go of the
spank your
pedal a little
opponents,
bit. All right.
the harder they get to beat.
All right. Moving on to the next one. I don't think I've ever lost to this bad hosting anything in my life, but Navi versus KC. Let's check it out.
Dude,
Wow.
we're doing
Well, that was
great.
50-50.
We're
What
doing
the
great.
fuck?
Me and TMV are mind
Yeah,
linked, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we? Let's start with you, Sliggy, since we started with the Tories last time.
It's more. So I do think Navi are favored from this after what we've seen. Dude, I just want to see K-Corp at champs, man. I need to believe. I need to believe right now. I think that there's a lot of stuff that they're doing wrong, which you can learn from their demos, and it's super easy to clean up. And there's also a lot of stuff that they're doing right, which they are kind of learning from the weeks. I think they've been a good team to kind of learn from a lot of their mistakes and then pretty much address majority of that. I'm not saying all of that. Dude, I just want them to be at champs, man. It would just be so hype. I'm just hoping, to be honest.
Assuming, I mean, Movistar Koi, if they win against Apeks and NAVI, this game could end up being vitally important, right? Because then it comes into the massive three-way tiebreak of silliness with teams on 2 or 3. But I think mostly KC should be set for playoffs anyway, in all likelihood. But they don't need this.
Yeah, but
I mean, you want to make it easy.
To me, this game is like what we've seen from these teams. I think is very mixed in terms of like how they play. So there's like a 25% chance that this is the fucking worst game of all time. There's a 25% chance that like Navi just are good and KC are bad. There's 25% chance that KC are good and Navi are bad. And a 25% chance, that's what I'm hoping, that both teams show up at their good side and we get a fucking gigabanger. But it's equally likely that it's absolutely fucking trash.
My concern with my Navi pick is that I fear Navi looked really good at that slower tempo because it's also what they're comfortable with.
Yeah,
and KC don't really play like that. KC, in fact, are about as far away from FNATIC as you can get in terms of play style. I don't just mean speed, but I also mean in terms of like more like trying to do more tactical stuff rather than strategic stuff. They come out with like set ideas rather than big overarching game plans that can adjust on the fly. They telegraph things a bit more, but they also have like more unique stuff that maybe you've never run into before. I fear for my Navi pick here that even though they do look good and Sliggy's saying they're like favored, that it was more a stylistic thing than actually them just being a good team. So who knows?
It's funny because I mean that's why I voted for KC as well, and it sounds like a lot of this is all of our eyes are on Navi rather than Karmine Corp, right? It's just, you know, can Navi actually do that against a different team or not?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it comes down to.
It's also it's like I don't think Martin can keep playing this bad. It was a little bit better this week, but
you did say that last week.
Yeah, I did, but it was a little bit better. So if we keep going like that, then it's great. I do think again. I don't know. The thing is he's so good on Euro. If you actually look at like 2024, is actually arguably like one of the better Euros.
One of the best.
Now he looks like he's struggling a lot, and I think if they played a little bit better in terms of their macro on defense, he would have a much better time. I don't think it looks comfy. They play like a Jet/Chamber on defense, and I don't think that suits him that well. So I would like to see them changing up a little bit in terms of just how he plays. But I also just don't think he can have a whole stage 2 playing at this level. In theory, he's too good.
Right.
In theory,
like something has to give. Something has to give for Martin. All right. We've had 3 50-50s so far out of 4 matches. Let's see if it keeps up. Really important one here for this group.
Honestly,
Team Vitality versus BBL.
It's a 50-50.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
guys.
Oh, this is a shocker.
No,
this is a shocker.
Kurt, I predicted BBL. Don't tell me I fucking put it in wrong again.
Ooh, this is a shocker.
Hold on. We gotta wait for the
we
VAR.
gotta VAR this.
Yeah, VAR.
All right, well, while we wait for TMV to find out.
Well, I'm telling you, I want to pick BBL.
I mean, sure,
Even
but I mean,
before
obviously at the time, your head.
I'm tempted to switch now as well. That's crazy.
I mean, this is nuts. This should have been a 50-50 pick again. Like, these teams are, even with, so it's like BBL are looking a little more shaky, in my opinion, compared to, like, my faith in them before.
Yeah.
And Vitality are improving, like, pretty enormously off week 1. And even off what they did in stage 1 too, I think. So I think they're intersecting at a point where you can't really tell which is better. And the fact that all 4 of us have gone for Vitality is nowhere near representative.
Even if I pressed the wrong button, I didn't.
Upon
My mind is what matters, and my mind picked BBL. Okay? My mind said BBL. I don't care. I don't care about Kurt's little buttons, okay? My mind is all that matters.
Your body pressed the buttons.
Yeah, that's the issue. Dude, I thought I was gonna be the only one. I really did. And I was just wait, what does VAR say?
Sorry, Sliggy. Yeah, upon further review, TMV did select Vitality.
Okay, so this doesn't
I
count.
picked Vitality.
Wow.
Wait, so
What
you
the
messed
fuck
up.
am I doing, bro? So you're gonna catch this as a guarantee. This is one of the L's.
This
We're-
is
no,
one.
we're
Yeah,
getting-
this is one of
this
the
a
worst
good one.
guarantees we've
No,
done.
this is a good one.
Is it?
No,
yeah.
it's
Does it feel good?
No, it doesn't matter if it doesn't feel good. If
I mean,
it's
Sliggy, you-
good for you.
yeah.
It's good. You got to eat your vegetables sometimes, you know.
I was ready with like a defense line to just be like, yeah, they're getting better week by week. It's okay because like obviously if I count Yampy out, then he wins, and then he can call me out in the after and like interview. I thought it was gonna be great, and I thought
mean,
you guys
this
were
is
all
a
gonna go
shocking
BBL. Oh, this is one of our last ones.
Yeah.
This is. It really is one
Well,
of
my
the worst.
mind and body don't even agree.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
So I mean, the take for BBL being good is just that they've been good, right? They've been like,
Yes.
yeah, they lost to Giants and had a bit of a wobbler in one of their halves against General Mates, but they are a really good team. They've had a unique kind of approach to the game. Their players have all been performing really well. They should be in a spot where they can at least go 50-50 in this game. And I think they're the on-paper favorites to take
Oh,
it.
they are, yeah. I think
Am
so.
I wrong in thinking though that in some weird way BBL kind of relies more on individual performance? Like I agree that they know what they're good at, they lean into it, they have their own style, they understand it and all that, but
They're scrappy, but I think it's hard
Right.
to argue they rely more on individuals than the team that like literally is begging Durka and Les to carry them sometimes. Like I think that's tough. Like it's great when Vitality have everybody working, but it's hard to deny that this team should be and is at its best when Durka and Les are going fucking monster mode, of which
All
Les
right.
was beautiful to watch last week and they still lost.
Yeah.
yeah, he did put up a very good individual performance. All right, well,
This is a shock.
here we are.
I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, we'll find out
Yeah.
if TMV's mind or body knows Valorant better next week.
true.
When we come back to this, we have one match left. So far, we have 3 50-50s and 2 guarantees. So if my math is correct, we're about to have an absolute banger guarantee here in the match of the week. Team Liquid versus FNATIC.
Okay, that's all right.
Good.
Okay.
Now what's going on here? Because this
Yeah.
should have been a guarantee.
Do you think this is a
Look
guarantee?
at his fucking background. What do you mean?
I-
What's going on here?
I don't think this is.
I think on paper,
Look at his
this is-
background.
really-
It says "Let's go Liquid."
Ignore that though.
on paper, I'd say this is a giga banger. Oh my god, they've got Trex. Holy shit, they
Yeah.
can win now. But actually, when you watch what Liquid have been doing, are they?
Ignore last week.
Well, yeah. Ignore last week was bad. The week before was good.
The week before.
If they play like the week before, were FNATIC that great against Navi?
Mate, FNATIC nearly lost against NAVI. They
Yeah.
got three maps that look
but
shaky.
Navi
on.
were playing really okay. What was a better quality game, Fnatic Navi or Team Liquid
Oh,
Apex?
for
They're
sure,
in different
Fnatic Navi.
buckets entirely.
Yeah. But that's fine. Dude, you're gonna learn from the week. FNATIC getting away with all of these wins. They think they're better than they are, and then now it's time to pick Haven again and lose.
Yeah.
That is
So,
true.
maybe.
They don't have good
said
maps.
that. Yeah, one of them said that they don't think anybody can stand in their way. So it is getting to their head a little bit. Fnatic, they're getting away with too much.
I believe, man. I think Liquid
what's
I
can't
don't
look
think
this
it's
bad.
unreasonable at all.
Yeah, I think this is a close one. I think you're putting
I think
FNATIC
if
too high up
Liquid,
there.
if Liquid play like they did against Navi, I think they'll be fine. I think they could easily win.
Do you think
they're gonna
then they
need Kiko to be prime Kiko?
For sure.
They're gonna need him to
Yeah.
Okay.
be on. I think to have a chance. But
Are they?
He has
Do
been
you
for
think
most
they're
of the time.
favored if they're on Team Liquid? Like, are they favored TMV?
I don't
no,
think they're
because
ever
if
favored,
FNATIC
man.
are also having a good
Yeah.
game, then FNATIC will win.
Okay.
Like I think Liquid, they need to have a good day, and they need FNATIC to at least be like not having a good day, maybe an average day, to win.
All right.
Look, what are the maps here where you feel good about Liquid though?
Haven, for sure, Haven. And then let's think of the Bank Road. They won't play
Yeah,
Sunset.
so you want to play Kurodo Sunset?
Ascent, I think, can get antied.
Yeah, I think
What do you
Ascent
mean,
Navi
can get
showed
anti?
how to
Like,
play
you-
against.
I would
Fnatic.
say,
They beat Fnatic on
Heretics.
Ascent?
I would say Heretics have shown how to play against it as well. Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah,
there's demos out
true.
there.
Maybe.
I
Alright,
just don't
fair
think.
enough then.
I don't think Fnatic. I think Fnatic is getting away with some maps that aren't as strong as people think. Basically,
Okay.
Even that. Well, how good is
I do
Liquid's
agree.
bind?
Liquid's buying's great.
Yeah.
Well, historically.
Yeah.
I mean, the 13-3 descent, right? I guess similar.
Well, yeah, that was quite a while ago.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Still the
bind.
year.
They
What
could win
kinda-
bind.
Yeah, they
Dude,
could.
I think they got some. I think they got some nice
Against the
maps.
Teo, against the Alfia Teo.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, possible.
True.
Okay, all right, you're bringing
All
me around. Maybe it will be a good game.
All right, we'll see. I do think it should be. I mean, it's a match of the week for a reason. So, Team Liquid versus FNATIC. Make sure you go check that out. Whether we have a bonus match of the week or not, we'll see how Kurt's feeling by the end of the show. Make sure you get that voted as well. But that's going to be it for EMEA. This is going to be an exciting week for EMEA, actually. All of the matches pretty
Quite a
close,
few good
pretty
games there, yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Finally
Yeah,
some joy
Some good games.
on the other side of the world. So maybe I'll watch some of those matches live, actually. All right, that's going to be it for the EMEA segment. Who's hopping off with me? Who's getting
Me.
away from...
I'm out of
Oh,
here. I would
good
flame.
choice.
I would flame some America's teams too much.
Oh, good choice,
I'm
Sliggy.
out of here.
All
Do
right.
you have any like parting shots just to throw?
Parting shots.
Like a 30-second spank theory
Sure,
kind of thing,
like
you know what I mean?
A FURIA at this level should have an anti-KO set up. I don't know what they're doing. We used to have that in 2021. And then I think EG, you got to accept it, man. You just play chamber every single map. If you want to win, you can actually still make champs if you do this. Who else is there? C9, I don't know how you're playing a Viper comp and you're losing 5v4 after plans. I don't know what you're doing. You guys aren't playing crossfires. No one's gone up with plans. That's pretty much it. Everyone else actually played all right. They're the three teams that annoyed me.
Okay. All right, very good then.
Awesome.
We're bringing in Dryad and Bren, so you know shit's gonna go nice and scientific. And
They're
rational.
already here and ready to go, so I'm gonna swap them in.
Lovely.
All right.
Let's go.
Goodbye.
See ya.
When did Sliggy dress up as Wally?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know. What the hell is that picture of Dryad?
I didn't know. I was so curious. I never knew what mine was.
Can you turn off your camera for a second?
Yeah, turn off
is
your
it
camera,
like?
Dryad.
1 second.
Is it just wide?
Just wide Dryad.
Wyatt. It's good. It's good.
Dear. Well, I'm taking the reins now. It's my show now. And it's America's.
hosting?
So actually,
What's going on?
I'm fucking hosting, Brent. Did you watch all the games?
Yeah, I watched all the games.
then you can
Were they
fucking
good?
analyze
Was it
these
worth my
games.
time? No, but I watched them. I watched the games.
Wonderful. You seem to be in a chipper mood, Brent.
Did you
I'm
guys
never in a chipper mood
watch
these
the
days.
new
I woke
Zootopia
up.
trailer?
Wait, sorry, what did you say, Dan?
What the hell?
Huh?
Just well, we're off to a chaotic start. I've
It's pretty
already lost
important.
fucking
I
control.
heard her.
The
Please repeat
substitute
yourself.
teacher's already fucking. The children are chirping up.
I'm done.
What did you
Okay.
even ask?
It was a good question. It was a really good
Did
question.
you ask, have you seen the Zootopia 2 trailer? Is that what you asked?
Cracks open a Mountain Dew.
crack open a Mountain Dew?
Anyways.
What's the hydration of the day?
Anyway,
Anyways.
Valorant, huh?
Anyway,
Shall we
Valorant.
dive into some Valorant talk? Are we ready? Are you ready,
I
Dryad?
feel like the guy who's like, I woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah, because I live in a shithole. Like I kind of feel like I'm in that kind of mood today. So,
Great.
but I don't want to bring that energy into the air. But
Why
I do.
not?
I
This
did
is the
get-
positivity
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
Kurt
you
said
are.
this was a positivity episode, but
This is
now
a
I'm in
positivity
charge, and
episode.
I,
You can
we're
bring some
rebranding.
negativity.
We're
The
rebranding
positivity
as the
episode?
fucking this
I'm gonna
dog
try and
shit
be positive.
episode.
Then I'm gonna try and be positive because I agree. I don't want to feed into the negative. Listen, I might have just got awful news this morning, but it's not the end of the world, and I don't need to take it out on you guys. I don't need
Okay,
to inflict
okay.
psychic AOE damage at the same time. But listen, I'll try and be positive.
Cool. Well,
Not
I mean,
me.
we can try. Good try. That's the energy I'm looking for. We can try. But it is America, so it is a little extra tough. Although it was better than last week. Couldn't have been worse, to be honest. God, imagine if it was worse. But let's talk first about something else. Because dun dun dun, Riot has announced their decision on the match fixing allegations. Now, to give you the too long didn't read, basically, there wasn't enough evidence. So we don't know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they said. Now, there was some things in here, they, went through all the VODs potentially of games, that were potentially suspicious. They looked at betting activity with different agencies to see if that was suspicious as well. They did all these things. There were some allegations about Riot staff that they couldn't prove as well. All these different things that, obviously was to do with a couple months ago it was. Some of you will remember, of course, the tier 2, there was alleged, match fixing in there. Obviously, Sean Gares was a big part of this and made his video about it. And Riot obviously did their own investigation. And yeah, as I said, they essentially came out and said there isn't enough, solid proof that anything did go on. And so we're just going to march on and hope everyone forgets in time. Does anyone have any major takeaways from Riot's findings?
I think
Yeah.
it's
Lack
wrong.
of.
I think
I
it's
do.
wrong to say that they found like there was nothing going on, which is, I think, what most of the community is taking away.
I
from
didn't
this.
say that.
No, I know you didn't say that. You're framing it correctly, where there isn't enough evidence to say that there was. But for example, people are pointing towards the fact that like the International Betting Integrity Association got involved, that kind of thing. As far as I'm aware, they only really know what's going on within their own sportsbook members, of which these like crypto places that it was being alleged that these bets were happening are not in any way under the jurisdiction of IBIA. So I don't really understand how that would have even helped, but at least like, again, it's all got to be framed under the aspect of like, what could Riot even do? It's not like they can force their way into the back end of these crypto websites and like, demand the information. So it sounds like they did a pretty decent investigation from what they actually could do.
Yeah, but I'll also add that, okay, there's a problem with our society where the drama frogs are so crazy for validation and some sort of online clout that in the first place, I don't think there's space for this kind of stuff where vigilantism should take precedent, where people are taking matters into their own hands and trying to dig up the dirt of the scene. Because with everything that went on with Sean and whoever the fuckhead was that just blew the whistle incredibly early publicly for clout, that made things infinitely worse. If there is stuff going on behind the scenes, I can guarantee you now it's going to be 100 times harder to find evidence of it in the first place when that's going on. Because as a child, have you ever been in fields and you were curious as a child and you lifted up a rock and then suddenly you reveal an entire ecosystem of bugs and they scatter under the light? That's exactly what the original fuckhead did when he started speaking on Twitter about this. Because immediately, it's an immediate warning signal. Everybody run, fucking hide it, stop doing what we're doing, fucking clear it up. But it's exactly what Josh said, and exactly the point where Riot, if they did want to go for this route, like if this was done through channels where, admittedly, it's in Riot's best interest to not reveal something like this if it was happening because it damages their own scene. But if you go through private channels and you don't scare people away so that the evidence is still there for them to actually dig up, maybe we'd be looking at a different scenario. But it's not conclusive. They found from their evidence that there's nothing going on, but we didn't really get clarity on it. It's just Riot went through their process when, in my eyes, it's already much harder for them to get a clear conclusion from it in the first place because of everything that went on beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, you look back to what happened in the Valve case, and they needed like somebody's ex-girlfriend sending them a text about it to even uncover things in the first place, and Valve hunting down where the skins went. Which, again, you don't have access to that because it's on websites that aren't properly regulated. But I do think the point that you're making, Bren, is it's a valid one. It's worth reiterating that. But also, when people say it's in Riot's best interest to cover things up, it's in Riot's best interest to make sure there's no match fixing going on. Also, you've got to those two things are both true. It is in Riot's best interest for there not to be a PR disaster about it. That is 100% correct. It is also in Riot's best interest for there not to be any match fixing that somebody else might find out about and make a PR disaster about. So it is in their best interest to actually solve those problems too. But I mean, they're only one actor in the space. They're not in charge of everything.
Yeah, and I would also point to, like, in Sean's video, the part that I think was most compelling was the Discord screenshots of what seemed to be, offering players to, potentially do this, right? Like that was the part that was like, this looks like it's actually
definitely going on.
Yeah, so like if the offers are there, like you would think that it might be naive to suggest that, every tier 2 player is above making money. Essentially.
Also, but I'll add as well onto this that if Riot really want to prevent this from happening, it's not going to prevent it entirely, but you need to make sure that tier 2 is sustainable in some way or form. I still haven't seen an esport set up in a way where they understand that tier 2 and tier 3 is the lifeblood of your scene. It's the foundation of which you build your house. You wouldn't build your house in a fucking swamp. So why are you building your esports on a tier 2 scene where the players can't get paid properly and they can't actually sustain themselves properly? I'm not saying you need to pay them extravagant wages and everybody needs a fucking Ferrari like Nate Nance's dream of the Overwatch League. No, they don't. We don't need that. But we do need a system where players can actually go through pro play and then they're not going to feel like, oh my God, wait, I'm going to have to like starve to do this, or I'm going to have to go through illegal, illicit maneuvers at some point just to survive in some way or form. Like that shouldn't ever be the case. And I don't think we're there entirely, but I do think that there needs to be a way closer look in terms of Riot's understanding that tier 2, tier 3 is not just a money sink. It is literally your grounds and foundation for how you build your esport. And how successful that is how successful your tier 1's going to be. Because otherwise, you're just setting it up to fail.
I love that you started that with, you wouldn't build your house in a swamp. Dan, who's from Florida. Wait, what? Wait,
Yeah.
we weren't supposed to be doing that?
I mean, it's a whole situation, actually. You're so right. It's all good.
Let's move on, though, to a game which also had suspicious levels of play potentially in it, which was FURIA versus 2G.
That's a crazy. Well, hold on now. Now, Platchat's not accusing
I'm
anybody
not-
of any funny
there
business.
are no allegations. Don't sue me or Kurt.
What
or
exactly are you
Platchat.
saying, TMV?
I'm saying that the level of gameplay in some of the rounds of 2G versus FURIA maybe wasn't the highest quality that we have ever seen. Now, I mean, Kurt, you've set. I can't believe you set it up like this with the little title at the bottom. FURIA get their first map win of stage 2.
Yay, they did
It's
it.
the positivity
One.
episode.
One, who
Yeah.
gives a fuck? Two, they still lost. It's positive, but just say like 2G won a game. They could potentially survive in VCT. They could get to back to Ascension. Like, you know, there are
We're just
other
laughing.
avenues there for you, Kurt, to be positive. Anyway, let's. Well, I want to start with FURIA. I do want to start with FURIA, just quickly.
There are
Just
other
quickly.
avenues for positivity, he says, but I want to start with FURIA.
Well, they did win a map.
I-
They did win a map. I do want to. I can't. What round is it on Sunset? Hold on. Someone talk about FURIA and how
I
desperately
feel
hopeless
bad.
they are
Okay, I'll
whilst
tell
I
you
look for
where
this
I'll
round.
start with. I feel bad for Basic because Basic, like this team had a lot of promise, and unfortunately, he's going to be getting in like on what, week 5 or something. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
said
Week
it's
4?
still a coin flip if he gets in on week 4 because his visa's been approved. But if you don't know how visas work, you get your visa approved and then they still have to send you back the
They'll have to
passport
send
with
you
your
back the
visa in.
passport. Yeah.
And so the U.S. Embassy is still kind of processing the claim, even though it's been approved. But he, according to recent interviews with the team, might still not make it for week 4. So that might mean he's only there for one match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Fundamentally-
I
Sorry, go
know.
ahead,
I think Adverse is the one who said it, that they've been trying to scrim with him still, the way that they were doing when it was the off season, where it was like with 150 ping. So they were trying to balance scrimming with Basic and also scrimming with Adversa. But I don't know. I mean, even if he gets here for the match, he's barely gonna have any practice, any time to, settle anything. So I think it's too late. It's unfortunate. The coach should be here though, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's over though for FURIA. It's over. Not all of
It's
this
over?
is moot. They technically could still make playoffs, but all of this is moot. It
There's
doesn't
no
matter.
way. Is that
There's-
still
the-
possible?
Of course, it's still
Yeah.
possible. It's still possible that one win can get you in. If FURIA beat EG, it's possible that you can get into playoffs with one win in Americas, which would be the most Americas thing to have happened before.
That's so
I swear we've had a situation like that in Americas before, where a team is like,
We were thinking
Probably.
about it before, yeah, for sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, Kurt, if you've got that round up, here it is, round 10. This is a doozy. This is an absolute doozy. So it's a half-buy round. You'll remember this one when it comes up. But it's a half-buy round. They're just going to go B. And they've held on to this breach ult, by the way, for like 4 rounds. They've just been saving it up, and they decide that this is the moment they wanna rip it on this little half-buy here when they're in like a 3v5. And then they pop us overall like it's fucking, a one-shot kill on everyone. And it kills within a full radius of wherever it lands. It's unbelievable. I mean, just watch this. So they're about to lose 2 kills. Like, nothing at this point is that bad, right? But you're going to get a kill just there through the smoke. You're then going to get a kill on a lurk timing just there through A. And now, 3v5? What do we decide? We're getting Cypher ulted as well. They know where we are. I'm going to Breach ult spawn. On my own. I'm Breach. Breach plays for himself, right? Breach is the agent that runs in on his own.
fuck.
Oh, dies. My other 2 players are in main. I've just Breach ulted CT.
You're
It's a
ruining
3v5, and
the
I have a
positivity.
Spectre. I've bought a Spectre. I mean, let's just start with that. What the? Who does that? And then they Soveralt and also lose the round. I mean, what a round.
All right,
It
TNV,
was,
now
however-
I need you to watch it again and say something positive about it.
I've got a positive. I can be the anti-TMV for this round if you like.
Go on.
The player that TMV is putting at fault here is Orango, who prior to this had not got over. I
Wow,
think
yeah,
it was
this is
7.
Positive, is it?
He prior to
not
this
positive.
game.
This is
No,
not
it is. I
positive.
swear to God. I swear to God, it is. Prior to this, he had never had more than something like 7 kills in a map. He got 14 kills map 1. He
Let's
got 8
fucking
kills
go.
map 2, and then he got 13 kills and top fragged in map 3. It was Orango
Whilst his
City,
team
baby.
is getting fucked. Right, let's talk about 2G. There is some positives here for 2G. Okay, there is some positives here for 2G, and there is no. There's no positives in a 2-1 win where you slap the other team. I know it's Furia, but they still did
It's
slap them
Furia.
on the
Well,
last 2 maps.
that's the point. It's Furia. Honestly, I'm just so sad because 2G, from how they looked in stage 1 towards the end, where they actually looked really good, to the expectations we had for Spike and how they were gonna look this time, I thought they were just gonna be better. And I know they won the match, but this is just not what I expected. I actually expected them to be a very competitive team, and I feel like it's too late. I mean, honestly. Sorry, it's
But
a
Dryad,
positive
they just need
episode.
Furia to beat EG, and then they can get in on 1 win.
They should have
just need to
beaten
win
EG,
some
though.
maps. They don't even need. They just. Well, they can beat Cloud9
You think
potentially as
Furia
well.
is going to beat EG?
No, not at all. Not a fucking help in the world. But it can still happen. And if
This is
anything
supposed to be
suits
the
Americas, it's
positivity
a
episode.
1-win team getting into playoffs. And 2G surviving by the skin of their teeth.
No.
2G also, I mean, they might be able to do a boom where they make it in off like champs points.
2G? They've got what? They've got 2 points.
They've got 2 points, but the team that got
How is that getting you top 8? This region is
It's
fucked.
no. But they'd have to win. No, you're right. They'd have to win against Cloud9 and Sentinels. No,
Well,
they
then
can't
they'd
do
be
it.
in anyway. They'd have 3 wins.
Exactly. No, they can't do it. They can't do it. They can't
Fucking
do it.
hell.
False alarm. False alarm. Right. Don't worry. Don't burst the blood vessel.
Yeah, we need calm.
I think we just
Okay.
shouldn't have discussed this game.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
move
think
on.
we should
Let's-
ever
let's move on.
listen.
Move on.
I
move
think
on,
this is,
move on.
but fundamentally, can we discuss this wider problem that is going to be the case for year on year, and it has been since the
That sounds like an
inception?
off-season topic, Brent. To be honest.
An off-season topic of talking
the
about how
visa stuff?
Americas is always going to be a bottom region from now on because half of our teams literally don't have complete
yeah,
rosters when we
fuck,
start the seasons. How about that?
Well, MIBR did.
Yes, maybe I did. Okay, well maybe not
Lev
half,
did.
half as an
They trolled.
exaggeration.
Crew did.
The
They
Lev
trolled.
did. They're a fucking NA org
Well, they're a LATAM org.
that sign only NA players and
Well-
King.
Yeah, that's how you get around it.
Yeah, but that's not a solution, is it?
I'm not saying anything about that. That's crazy.
I don't think we are in a feasible situation though where our region can be expected to be strong and competitive if only, I don't know, 2/3 of the teams are being set up to success at the beginning of every season.
It's good to
Because
see
of-
the America's cope starting early.
It's
as
not
soon
cope.
as
I'm
America's
just saying,
drops off.
listen, you've got to
No,
identify
we're
the
always gonna be
issues.
bad.
You've got to
Early.
identify the issues to find a solution here, and the solution is somehow reinventing the immigration process in the US or hosting it in a completely different place because
I'm still for put kickoff in Brazil. I'm still for it. Put
it's a
kickoff in
real
Brazil, and
problem.
that gives you more time.
Yeah, it gives you more time. I mean, it's not a bad shout, to be honest.
Put
It's not
the
a bad
whole of
shout.
Americas in Argentina or Chile.
I'd be down.
It's
be down.
it's nice. They're nice.
That's a long flight
Nice
for you,
countries.
Sideshow.
Yeah, nice countries.
Josh should be like that's like a 30-hour flight.
Nice countries, better immigration policies.
But all I'm saying is this is a fundamental problem that has been since the inception of Americas. Every single year, I'm getting sick and tired of it at this point. I'm getting tired of just constantly discussing these teams and these matches week on week, where our time is wasted watching them. The players' time's wasted as well because they don't get to practice wholeheartedly with their full squad on top of it. It's a nightmare, man. It's a nightmare. And inherently, our region is going to be weaker and weaker and weaker every single year that this happens, and where other regions don't have it happen. So it's like, I'm not one for tribalism in terms of our region needs to be the best, but
To
it's
be
really
fair,
disheartening.
Pacific does have it happen sometimes. They do
Yeah,
have
it
a
does.
couple times.
Patrick who?
It does, but I will say so the devil's advocate to that is when a player is not able to get in, they are still able to scrim at least on about 70 to whatever ping.
True.
Whereas they can't do that from Brazil to LA,
Basic
where
was swimming
most of the top
apparently on
teams are.
150 ping.
Yeah, which is just not, it's not
That is
good. You can't
crazy.
do that. You just can't do that. So they don't have the same geological issues that we would have, where you can kind of skirt around it, where the player can still practice with the team sometimes, even online, and they can play on ping. It doesn't work like that with Americas. It can work like that in other regions, even if they do have visa issues. Inherently, Americas is just at a massive debuff. Until that gets solved at its root cause, I propose that we never speak about any of these teams that don't have full rosters ever again on Plat Chat.
Permission granted.
Sure.
Okay, with that, let's move on though to a game that was competitive and close, and some might even say fun, because NRG won a very close match versus Leviathan. Sato continued his reign of absolutely popping the fuck off. Let's start on the left side of this. Dryad, what are your thoughts on left? Do you think, well, one, is it sustainable that Sato can keep playing this well, and is it concerning that when he is playing this well, they're still losing?
Yeah, well, it's kind of the exact same thing that happened when they lost the first time, right? When he's going insane map 1, map 2, and then it gets to Icebox for a decider, and it's okay. They can't close it out. But I think for Sato, I feel like this is the level that he's trying to find, and I remember when we talked to him, we asked about kind of the consistency that he's trying to find and the consistency that the rest of the team wants him to have, and that's why they're trying to also just set him up for a lot of things and make him as comfortable as he can be. So I feel like this is something that he can keep up. I love seeing him play. He's so fun, and I feel like we haven't had a new up and coming player perform like this. And now just a few matches. So I think left, the vibes are great. They're so fun. Not all of the games are going their way, but I think it's more on energy side that they look really impressive too. So I'm happy with Lev. Honestly, this is like one of my favorite teams now.
I loved what they were doing with the Yoru and the Neon. I think in order to get the best out of this team, double duelist is good. I mean, you don't have to run it, I think, for Leviathan. But also, Sato on Yoru, I know that he just had a great game in general, like his Jet was also really good on Icebox, but his Yoru is spectacular. It's really, really fucking good. In the last 90 days, if you look on his VLR, he's got a 1.0 kill per round on Yoru. That's menacing. That's unbelievable. And all time, it's like 0.97. So it's not like he's been playing better the last 3 months than usual. He's just phenomenally good, and he's been able to translate it to tier 1. And especially when it comes to the Yoru, he's been amazing. But yeah, it's given me faith in Lev. I think that I was expecting them to win their opening game against Loud. They tripped up a little bit, but I came away from this game feeling good about both teams. It was a nice palate cleanser after a shitty week the week before. It was honestly a great game for Americas.
It was good.
This is gonna sound like rage bait, and it might be. It's kind of crazy that the best Brazilian player is not playing on a Brazilian team. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it's kind of crazy. Rage bait.
Well, you're saying best Brazilian player.
Best Brazilian player.
Take Sato over Aspas. Here we go. You're doubling down.
It's not doubling down because I've been on the Aspas train after this whole debacle. Like previously,
you'll never lose that. You'll never lose that. It's like we were talking about Miniboo, like, oh, he had a great game in Haven. No one's going to fucking remember that Miniboo had a good game on the rest of that Haven. They're going to remember that he fucking whiffed horribly.
That's true. So you're saying I should double down? Well, I'm not going to double down. But what I am going to say is that Sato is currently the best Brazilian player. And it's just crazy that he's playing on Leviathan. I mean, it's just...
I mean, Brazil in general, like one of the other best Brazilian players.
They love having Brazilian players. Play for everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, he has been playing really well.
Talk about NRG. Because I mean, this whole group, you said you come away feeling good about these two teams. This whole group is either 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. Yeah. Right? It's the chaos group. NRG end up winning this game. Am I crazy to be thinking that they should now, after 100 Thieves loss, be the favorite to win it?
To win what?
The group.
Oh.
To be top of the group?
Yeah.
They have to go up against MIBR and Crew next.
Yeah, I actually don't think so. I think NRG. I think NRG are facing 2 squads coming up. Like, I think that they have a chance, right? Which is pretty astonishing after we saw how poorly they performed in week 1. But I think they've just improved a ton. Like what I think is some of the best stuff is that it felt like week 1 they were playing a lot of very loose attacking defaulty stuff that reminded me a lot of 2024 Ethan calling. And now what I'm seeing is a lot of set game plans from barrier drop or set like game plans from the start of the game. So for example, we have a plan for the first 5 rounds, and then we use that conditioning to inform the next, 7 rounds in the half. And that's the kind of stuff that, like, when you listen to Sean Gares when he was doing coaching, that was something he loved doing for 100 Thieves. Is we're gonna use last week's performance and use that to change up what we're doing in order to throw people off when we come in on the same map next time around. That feels like what Bonkar's trying to get the team to do, and I think it's made a huge difference for them. But the teams they're going up against are just... NRG are playing against 2 teams coming up that are actually on the upswing, I think.
Yeah,
MIBR and Crew are
that's the
starting to get
difficulty.
better. Whereas 100 Thieves, I think, have got matches that are easier for 100 Thieves to win, personally.
Yeah.
And they have the head-to-head as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and they have the
Tough road
head-to-head.
ahead. MIBR peaking. Crew have finally realized that they can play double duelists, and they're presumably going to be getting better on their comps as well. But listen, I'm the number 1 hate watcher of NRG, actually. I've been watching their games. I've been praying on their downfall every single day. But I have to respect the fact that they have managed to turn this around, because like you said, Josh, I was expecting and anticipating that they were just going to continue down the same track of Ethan's IGLing and calling on attack sides, being slow as fuck, without any sort of direction or objective, and people getting lost into the murky depths and losing on time. Not the case. There was that one instance and that glimpse of it. It genuinely felt like I went back in time. But since then, they've massively turned it around. And I have to imagine as well, to some degree, it probably helps getting Bonkar in, and you don't have a clash of ideologies as well. Now, this is just pure speculation on my part, but I can imagine that him and FNS didn't probably have the most agreeable attitudes in terms of how the game should be
I don't
played.
think that's speculation, is it? I mean, they literally dropped a coach when FNS was
Right.
there, and then
So
brought
I'm just
him
reading,
back when FNS
but
was gone.
I'm reading from the roster moves. Do you know what I mean? To
Yeah, you
infer
don't have
the
primary
reasons as to
evidence,
why they might have removed Bonker and why they might have brought him back in. Well, Finesse is gone. I think when you have that clash, it's really difficult, to be honest, just to even align in the first place. FNS is gone. You can align on one ideology of how you want to be playing Valorant as a game, which helps tremendously because Bonker already had a good track record as well. So NRG are on an upswing. I hate it as a hate watcher, but also I gotta respect Real. You know what I'm saying? It's like they are playing really well. So
By the way,
I
Mata
agree.
had a spectacular game too. Like a lot of the focus is on Sado because he's new and he's exciting as well. But Mata did just have an astonishingly good game. He went 13 for 3 on attacking first kill to first death, which is really, really good and shows how much better their attack game plans have looked so that he's in a position to have big performances. Because remember, week 1, he and Som were non-existent. They didn't even have impact in the game at all.
And those are the 2 players that I feel like they always need to win games. And that was my thing with Energy, the whole stage 1 and it just feels like unless Som or Mata are going insane, they're just not winning the game. It just felt very like they had to just go crazy individually and not really play as a team. But now it's like you're starting to see a little bit more of the things that the team actually has been cooking with the strategy. So I like it more. I'm just still worried about, what if Mata is not having an insane game? What if Som is not having an insane game? Are they still going to be the same? Because they look great. And I'm happy to see this Energy because I feel like it's the one that people have been waiting for the entire year. But I mean, it's hard. I don't know if it's enough yet to win the stage, make champions. They're underway though, for sure. It's just consistency. Mata was talking about it in the interview when I asked him, because I just said it. I just think Energy is very inconsistent. Sometimes they look insane. Sometimes they look really, really bad. Like everything is wrong. And I don't know. He was pretty confident. He was just saying that they've always been confident as a team. The practice that they've been putting has been working out, and then it's just like the first match kind of doesn't count. That was not really them, and what the real version of them is kind of what we're seeing right now.
I've got bad news. The first match actually does count exactly the same as the other 4 group stage games. I got bad news from out of there. But anyway, okay. NRG on the rise. A team I think that, I think a lot of people, myself included, maybe would have put in a similar bracket to the NRGs in the world. They are in a different group, but was Cloud9. Now, Cloud9 got slapped around a bit by Sentinels, and Sentinels actually have made it to champs. Now, here's the funny thing about VCT Americas this year. No team in any other region has qualified for champs yet on points. In Americas, there's 2 because it's been a 2-team region the entire fucking year. And that seems to be continuing with this game. Now, I don't know if there's too much to talk about. Well, no, actually, there will be.
I think there is stuff to talk about with this.
Sen, go on then, Brent. Talk
Well,
me through Sen. Is this completely raising your stocks? Is this the kind of
No, I
Sen
wanted to
that
talk
can
about Cloud
go on a
9.
run? Oh well, I
Actually,
fucking
so
set you up all wrong then, haven't I?
completely derailed.
Flip
every
around,
part
flip it
of
around. On Cloud 9, shit. Talk me through it, Brent.
I think they had an off day,
I
personally.
agree.
I think that you could see it from the walkout when they were disjointed with their hand raise. Oxy was like 5 seconds ahead of everybody else. I think they had an off day. I think they were looking really out of sorts. They weren't synced up with the trades. They were very individualistic. Oxy was doing some brain dead stuff, going back to the old, just really trying to rely on raw aim.
Yeah.
It was an off game for Cloud9. They were not playing at their peak like they had been before. And this could be for a variety of factors, but as we know, one of the things we do know from them talking about it in interviews is that they're trying to evolve their own game. They're trying to play a slower attack side calling game and try and get better at that aspect of it as well. So I think this is a team that's currently trying to still improve and shore up the weak spots that they've otherwise had in their games. And when that happens, you take a few steps back. It's a known effect that when you try and improve at something, you're not actually applying yourself until it becomes subconscious, until it becomes second nature. You inherently are going to be playing worse. You do the action worse. Which is just it's proven at this point. I think they're going through something like that. I think they're trying to get better as a team overall. And we saw one glimpse of it. The worst aspect where they're playing against potentially the best team, if not the best team in Americas currently. So they got absolutely smacked around, and we saw the absolute worst case scenario of it. But I guarantee you, I think the picture is probably painted in a much lighter way if we had scrim insights on this team and could actually see the evolution. But because we only see that one glimpse throughout the week, I think it's normal to jump to conclusion and be like, oh my god, this team's cooked. This team's cooked. But I think genuinely we just need to wait.
I'm keeping my same narrative that I was after they beat FURIA, which is the teams they've beaten are not impressive teams. They've beaten FURIA and they've beaten EG, Cloud9. And I think that
Except for their game against 2G.
What do they have?
Yeah, I mean, they've just been in...
They've been the one middle team in the group of the extremes.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that that's going to make it really, really difficult to assess them coming into playoffs because their level is probably pretty equivalent to a lot of the teams in Omega. But they're the only one of that in Group Alpha. So, like, Group Omega is like fucking 5 Cloud9s. And, you know, none of the Sentinels G2s and none of the Furias, EGs, 2Gs. So very, very unbalanced groups in Americas has created some weird situations. But when I was watching their gameplay, their attack side calling on Lotus, I thought was missing a ton. The rounds that they won were just them kind of brute forcing their way through the Vice utility and getting big picks onto Zelsis, or occasionally overwhelming him with like a C-pop or something. But they hadn't done good, you know, they hadn't worked the map well to get themselves into good spots prior to that. And they also couldn't convert in post plants a shit ton of the time while playing a comp that should kind of excel in those kind of positions. And same could be said on Haven. Like their defensive side worked remarkably well against teams that aren't as good. And then you hear a snippet from Kaplan in an interview being like, yeah, we think their game plan has like, or we think their comp has a lot of holes in it. And then they go and they just exploit hole after hole after hole in what they're doing on Haven. And that's even with Oxy having a good performance. So it's like, it's not even that they're missing that. I think this team is very difficult to assess coming into playoffs. They're almost certainly going to make it, but like, who the fuck knows how good they are?
Yeah, let's flip over to the other side, though, the Sen side. I just want to quickly, because obviously Sen, as I said, have made champs, right? So they definitely will be at champs. With this kind of level of performance, because what I've thought of Sen this whole year is that they're like an old DRX, right? Where they are a very solid, very good team regionally. They get to an internationals, they're good, and they are a bit short of like the very best teams in the world, right? That's where Sen have kind of been this year. Does this kind of performance encourage any of you to think maybe they can break that glass ceiling, potentially get to top 3 finals of champs?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I agree where it's like they start looking good. They start doing things that other teams are not really doing. And then they look really strong when they play in Americas, and then internationally it might not convert to, getting grand finals and stuff like that. But I feel like I love how consistent they are. You are always seeing improvements. You don't see them kind of stay the same. Kappa not really having any new ideas. They're always working towards it. And it's just the way that they're talking right now about champions is what impresses me the most, because no other teams are having that mentality of, we actually want to put that pressure on ourselves. It's not, trying to take it round by round. It's like we actually want to have that pressure of being dominant, winning the games very one-sided, and that way try to not only, make it to champs as they already did, but actually get number one, make it as far as they can and win a trophy. They are the team that seems the most passionate about it right now, and it's just the work that they're putting, the time that they're putting, and you see it individually. The turnaround that I realized Narrate has had since the beginning of the year till now, the way that he's closing rounds, it's just the evolution of the team is something that it takes time, and it's always been like that for Sentinels. I feel like since they were playing that off season, 2024 early on, where it was like, it takes some time for them to cook, but they're going the right direction, and they realize that they can't, and this is what they talked about in the interviews, they can't be playing the same standard ideas that everybody's going to be able to read. They need to be a little bit more explosive. They need to be a little bit more unexpected, and having that realization is what we're seeing right now and what is going to work internationally, because America's teams, they are very predictable, but Sentinels figure out a way to be a little bit less predictable and win that way in Americas, and then when they go to champions.
They're never going to be favorites for champs, but I think they're going to be in the running for like a top 4 spot if they play really well. And to be honest, once you're in the running for that, all it takes is some crazy shit going your way, and suddenly it's possible. So I think the Sen fans at the moment are being a little bit like, or a lot of people are being like, like they don't have a hope, like it's just classic Sen. But I think people are maybe being a little too down on them. Like, this is a team that can do something in the final tournament of the year.
I'm really with Dryad's point of like, I really want to see them, take some risks. Like often we find that whoever wins a tournament, like that's what the meta becomes afterwards, because they were ahead of the meta, right? They were one step ahead of everyone else in terms of some of the things that they were doing. And I feel like Americas as a region for a while has kind of been like, the region with the most kind of like, we'll just copy, we'll play standard comps across the board. And sometimes that works when there's an obvious clear meta. But I think particularly now where there's, quite a lot of shit you can do and be pretty successful with, I'd be much more excited if Sen, we're kind of cooking some stuff up for champs that came up with some weird stuff. I'd be with it. Anyway, let's move on though. Let's move on to fucking Spank Theory. It fucking exists. Shio Wager is a prophet, because no one in the world would have looked at MIBR, a team that looked completely down and out. They looked like they were about to completely fall apart. And now they come out, and on the opposite side of that, 100 Thieves were looking like they were on the fucking rise, and here we go. And instead, MIBR got spanked one too many times. They got fucking hard. They got fucking ready to fuck. And unfortunately for 100 Thieves, they were the team that was on the other end of this pounding.
It's just the truth.
But it's just the truth.
It's just the truth. I'm
look
sorry.
At that, Bren.
Look at that.
MIBR, they got 10 spanks. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Cortazir had a fucking life game, and I'm not gonna put this all on his shoulders, but he was the not just the person in game pulling his weight and more, but also just keeping the hype up. When mistakes happened, he was keeping everybody active. The energy was high.
Yes.
You saw after replays, this guy was shouting at his team like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Look at them in the face. They've needed this. They needed an injection of whatever the fuck that was, because listen, it wasn't coming from any other player on that team. They needed that presence to pick them up when they're down. And sometimes the team just needs a reminder that, hold on, wait a minute, we were the third best team in America for the longest time. We were the team that everybody was trying to beat, and we were stopping you from going to the international events. Like, they've always had that in them. They just need to get their confidence back to a degree. I think they've got it back with a win like this now. I certainly hope so. And it's not just going to be a flash in a pan, because God almighty, I'll be disappointed otherwise. But yeah, this team, they're looking nice. They're looking nice with it. But I have to say, so much of it is on Cortazir's shoulders, because my God, did he play well.
He played it phenomenally well. When you're looking at this game, though, I think there's like, on Icebox, they went A every single rifle round. They went B every single anti-eco round. After doing a little bit.
It's a classic Icebox strat.
It's an absolute classic, like from 2021. But also they ult cycled really well. They got, because Cortesia was popping off, he had lockdown a ton of times, but also they're alt cycling onto Artisine, making sure he's picking up alt orbs, making sure he's getting the plants, and so they've just got Harbor ult constantly. And that, I think, was the biggest reason. And then actually it happens as well on Bind to power their 10-2 comeback. Because, again, once they get started with winning the pistol, winning the bonus, suddenly they're ult cycling like crazy. And this comp is genuinely so difficult to stop when you start that ult cycle happening. So I think that a combination of, like, they didn't actually have to do anything too crazy with the calling or with the macro. They had to play a pretty, like, standard game, but have the players going a bit nuts and use the ults well and dodge what 100 Thieves was throwing at them. And they able to sail their way to a very nice 2-0, like a really important 2-0 win here. But it also didn't make me feel too bad about 100 Thieves, because the way in which, like, 100 Thieves had maybe like 4 critical rounds where they are at a massive ultimate disadvantage, or this, this is another example of it. But like, critical rounds where either the ults just ended up being too much, and you're like, okay, well, 100 Thieves tried, they had a good game plan, but it didn't work out. Or it's a scenario like that where somebody goes absolutely bonkers. It wasn't like 100 Thieves were stumbling, tripping over themselves, playing some dog shit out there. So, I mean, quite nice, really. Another decent palette
America's
cleanser.
needs this. America's needs
We need this.
a decent MIBR, I think. They need, like, because I mean, this did come out of nowhere. Because it's funny you were talking about Cortezera and the vibes and all that. Because last week the vibes looked horrendous.
Terrible.
They looked horrific
they're
last week, right?
atrocious.
And it genuinely looked like they were done. Which would have been funny if they were, because they still could have easily made champs on points because of the way America's are set up. Which would have been funny if they were just completely folded an 0-5 or something and then made champs anyway. But this is so good, I think, for the region just to have. I mean, again, it's good for this a third team that you can feel good about, right? And maybe even 100 Thieves as well. As
Honestly,
you're saying,
100
Josh,
Thieves
like,
too, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, of having other teams that, you know, you can actually feel decent about.
And
like,
maybe
okay,
an NRG and a Lev. Maybe the doomerism of last week has got to
we
dissipate
can lift the
slightly.
cloud of doom.
I mean, we're not saying these are like champs winning teams, but they're at least
Competitive
not
teams, they can
they're-
compete.
They're not bums, yeah.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of bums.
I know for MIBR, I just this is literally what they talked about when Artsine was mentioning that they realized after last week that the vibes were really bad, and what they needed is somebody to hype them up and kind of bring the energy up. And Cortesia, I mean, what was most impressive to me is, like, you know, when players are feeling good, when they're stomping one of the maps, you know that they're standing up, they're yelling at the other team, whatever. But it was 10-2, and then Cortesia, they won that second round on Bind, and Cortesia was standing up and screaming. I'm like, if you're standing up, you just 10-2, you're about to lose. And then they fucking turn it around somehow.
Yeah, I
it's
was
insane.
amazed at that.
That's the most impressive one,
What you
because
need, yeah.
getting excited for when you're winning, that's easy, but being positive about
you're
such a
that
one-sided
far
map,
down.
it's insane, and
Bro,
it
I'm
really helped
telling
them
you,
out.
someone needs to get a standing desk. It would
Yeah.
be aura if one player had a standing desk and the rest didn't. You'd instantly win.
Was Verno still calling? Does anyone know?
Yes. So I asked Artsine about it, and then so the situation is none of them are technically the IGLs. They're both co-IGLing, as I said before. And then Verno is usually IGLing before the round, and then mid-round and everything is Artsine. So they're kind of switching
Okay,
it up.
So that's like what it was last week, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're kind of keeping it. They can both do it, but he's saying that mostly Verno's doing the early round.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm excited for MIBR, and it's good that they aren't just a punching bag. And also, again, means that this group is now the hardest group to predict in all of VCT.
Yeah, I don't
'cause
really
it's
know
like,
how it's going to land. Because
Nah,
you've got,
so tough.
I don't even know. There might be a scenario where NRG don't make playoffs. off
Yeah,
that
I think
group,
it's,
which is kind of
it's
weird.
possible that
Any
any
of
of these
them.
teams could.
Any
not
of
yeah,
these
make
it
teams
playoffs.
don't
honestly
make
is
playoffs.
kind
Genuinely.
of crazy. But let's talk about the shit group again.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
good. Lovely.
Do we have to, Daddy? Do we have to?
Just one more time, because G2, I mean, well, EG wasted our time by winning the first map, and then
Bro, that's frustrating, man.
That's how it
we could have
felt,
got
yeah.
like we
G2
could have
were
got
just
like
like,
10 games of
yeah.
rematching in that time, bro. I mean,
yeah.
listen, full respect to EG for giving it a good go, but yeah, man, it's looking rough for that
Now,
team,
what's interesting
genuinely.
about this game, though, for me, is, Joshua, we were talking about it with NAVI, where you were saying, you know, they just didn't use any util until the last seconds. When I actually, you know, was bothered to take a look at this game and analyze it seriously. I was noticing a similar thing with G2, where they've still got Fade Seas, they've still got Omen Flash, they've still got Viper, Snakebite, like until like 25
On
seconds.
Corrode, you mean?
Well, even throughout, but
throughout the whole game. Okay.
Throughout the whole game, they just had it was like we've still got a decent amount of our util in the back pocket because we know EG are gonna play slow.
Yeah, because we know slow.
And we know the hit's not coming until 20 seconds. And
I mean, you could tell that on Corrode massively, and also there were multiple situations where Derek would use his paranoia and Nature would use his recon, and they wouldn't even have it for when they hit the site. So they'd be using it to try to just neither team is that great at Corrode. The big takeaways for me on this map were, I mean, I know that Sliggy earlier was talking about just run Yay Chamber every map. You can if you like, but EG are fucked anyway, so I don't think it really matters too much. Like whatever, don't care about them. If I'm gonna pull away some things to learn about G2 don't look that good at Corrode. G2's attack side, they are not taking mid control in basically any of the rounds. Yeah. They're also not getting info in mid to fast split. And
I agree.
Go on.
They're just in scrim mode though. They've made champs. They're playing without their full roster. They're literally altering their comps permanently for this split to put Baby onto a role where his decision making is narrowed, so it's easier for him to fit in by putting him on chamber predominantly. And they know they're not good at Corrode. They haven't scrimmed it, so I think they realize the only value they're getting from these games is literally just trying to get proper match experience to shore up the rest of their map pool, which is why they first picked Corrode, even though they
I think that's reasonable, and I think that they should continue first picking Corrode, even if they're losing on it. Yeah. But I think that they need to go back to the drawing board with some of their ideas on this map. Because I think that the slow approach to mid only works if you have a site pop comp, and they don't. They have a slow comp, but the slow comp needs fast mid control at the start in order to work the rest of the map slowly. And instead, they're prioritizing Jonah P's lurks on A with the Viper wall, which he's doing a great job with, but the rest of the team just can't really get anything done. So, I mean, especially when Ye is just farming people in B main. That's another big thing, too, is that Ye was, like, on both sides of the map, Ye was dominating. Yeah.
I thought they were going to play that chamber kind of the way the 100 Thieves played it, but I think that was me hoping to see a little bit something slightly different from them on Corrode. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I liked the chamber idea more, especially, I don't know, if Leaf is coming back and they're able to play it kind of in the way the 100 Thieves did. I just feel like that would be a little bit better. But yeah, I think it's true. I mean, they're just kind of testing, trying to win games, but also knowing that it's just a very uncomfortable position with Baby, and we don't even know for how much longer he's going to be playing, or if it's going to be until the end of the stage or the group, whatever.
You want some good cope as well for G2, like in terms of like, I don't know. I think they will be able to plug and play Leaf into their compositions. He's played Chamber for them in the past on a variety of maps. They used to play him on Abyss and Pearl, and not just that, Chamber's got buffed. Chamber got buffed, the stealth buff, where the trademark now has no range removed. One of the best things that Leaf is good at as a player is finding the gaps in the defensive default and making the calling a lot easier, or just finding those moments to really push up and clear up all the question marks on the map and make the calling that much easier for Val and the rest of the team. And Chamber's now just going to be unleashed to do that. Your trademark's still going to be staying up. You're going to be getting active value and passive value just from having that up on the map. And now you don't need to stay within the range restrictions. You can actually just keep pushing up. And if you spot those windows, you can go for it. So I think they could plug and play Leaf into their current compositions. It's not wasted time for them in this group as well. G2 are kind of using their time the best that they possibly can, to be honest, given the circumstances.
It's all wasted time. This whole group's a waste.
It's not wasted time, though. Like if they keep first picking Corrode, they're getting valuable official time. It's not just scrim time, because sometimes when you're going into a scrim, the enemy team is like one of their team. They might be throwing out some fucking whack comp that they want to test out, and they want to try their A execs like fucking 8 rounds in a row. Like it's not proper practice compared to a team that's genuinely trying to win on Corrode. So it's all valuable for G2.
Practice.
Jesus Christ, I can't deal with this guy anymore. Let's move on.
For the group of hope. It's meant to be the positivity episode, and this guy, he can't stop. He can't stop.
We're back, Zen. Perfect.
Yay.
Right, crew played loud. I mean, if we are going to talk negative about this group, I think loud.
I don't think that's very positive. I don't want positive things to say.
Because loud, man. I mean, Shayo tried to get me on this train as well with loud, and
I fucked with this game. I fucked with this game heavy.
Well, let me start with Dryad first, Ben. You can have your words later.
No. Let him talk. Let him talk. What's up, Bren?
This reminded me of the good old days. I'm talking like, well, the quality of life is good. The US dollar to GB rate, the Great British Pound ratio was even better. Like their life was good back then. You know what I'm saying? And this reminded me of some good old fashioned
Valorant
jail
wasn't out in 2015.
Valorant jail. It probably wasn't like that, but jail Valorant that we used to get all the time, which was like teams that listen, strategy, fucking get the
What is
playbook.
it?
Throw it out the window, buddy, because we've got 5 aimers versus 5 aimers, and we're gonna fucking send it on some rounds. And it was some good
Gladiator,
quality,
ready.
bloody Valorant, just in terms of the shooting. I've missed this, man. I've missed this. Now I'm oversimplifying it because there was some level of thought being put in, but the pace and the fact that we had 2 teams that were constantly trying to hunt for that gap where the other team like wasn't ready and they're setting up almost meant that we had the most pacey Valorant we've had in such a long time. And my God, was it a breath of fresh air in a double controller meta right now, because double controller, it incentivizes you to play slower games. It really does. It's not really purpose built to really be going fast. I mean, you can pop, you can exec, but it's not really built for that necessarily. It doesn't really play to the strengths of it. But these 2 teams were playing so fast. Genuinely, I was entertained, but I'm also an ADHD Subway Surfer baby. So that's all it takes to really entertain me. I fucking love this game. That's all I had to say about it. I respect to these teams for going back to their roots and going back to what's real.
Dryad, you wanna follow up on that?
Yeah, so the game was just so fucking chaotic, honestly. And I agree with Bren. That shit's so entertaining. I mean, you really never know what's gonna happen. Robbie getting an ace, like who the hell think that was gonna happen at all?
A great ace as well, by the way.
It was
Like
I mean,
an outstanding
just-
play.
He was incredible throughout the whole game, but it was very chaotic. Honestly, the way that Brent just phrased it really is kind of what I was thinking about it. But the calling for crew here is fun, but for any other fucking team, it's just like we're back in 2021. We're trying to fake. We're trying to sell a fake by doing the bare minimum and hoping that that's gonna be enough. Hoping that's everything that you're gonna need. And guess what? Even Loud, we're not even falling for it the whole time. I mean, it was happening on mine constantly, and it was
What, you
happening
don't
on
think
Haven as
one
well.
Fade Haunt in shower is enough to make a whole team rotate?
If once again you do the bare minimum, maybe
And
your
then no
girlfriend will
smokes? But
stay.
if we don't smoke the site, surely they'll rotate across.
What is that analogy, Dan? If you do the bare minimum, maybe your girlfriend will stay.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. Maybe it'll be enough. Just maybe it'll be enough. She will not notice. She will not think about it.
Maybe. I mean, the bar is in the fucking ground, so yeah, maybe.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's the whole point. The bar for these 2 teams, it was so entertaining, but it's on the floor. I mean, there's so many cool things that we can do with it, with all the 10 players that we have here, but I just feel like it has to be better for the calling of crew. I was just, and I love talking and saying great things about Mouser, but it's just any other team is not. Yeah, I mean,
Oh dear.
There was some
my prediction
devious,
was
crazy
loud.
shit.
for the last episode. My prediction was loud, so yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, great.
I mean,
Well, they
it was
lost.
a positive.
press.
I mean, there are some positives because it's entertaining, but it was also the first game where you get to see the
Double
potential of
duelist,
Dante.
yes.
Yeah, you get to see Dante actually like popping off, whereas previously he hadn't really had those moments on stage. I think he's still got a lot to go in terms of refining himself to become like a true force to be reckoned with alongside Kesnet. But as a raw player, like the aim that he displayed this week was nuts.
Well,
That's
I
a good
do
round.
want to ask Dryad about this, which is the crew did play Double Duelist, and they did kind of lean into it for kind of, the first time, like across all the maps. We were talking about Apeks and their Double Duelist, like, oh, well, it was just 1 week of prep, so it should get better, and, there's some hope there, maybe. Do we feel the same about crew? Like, maybe it was a bit scrappy, but maybe that's because, they had to change some
I
of these
mean,
comps.
obviously, I would 100% always rather have the double duelist for this team. And I think it's not because Kesnet is better on the duelist than any other role. It's more just Dante needs Kesnet to perform. The only thing that I'm not really happy about is that Kesnet just seemed off the whole game. And I mean, imagine a world where both of them are performing well. It's just, we haven't seen it yet. I mean, that week 1 where they look incredible against MIBR, that was just Kesnet. And now it was just Dante. Kesnet was okay. I mean, he had some moments, but not really as much as, I don't know. He just looked a little
Kind
bit
of fried
off.
map 3. But yeah, map 1 and 2, he wasn't really taking over.
Yeah, he looked a little bit off, and
that's
Adam I think
also-
made a tweet about just like a mental thing that Kesnet is going through, and how he was able to overcome it throughout the series. But I think overall, I definitely always rather have this team play double duelist. When I asked Kismet during the interview for LATAM what he thought about it, he's like, yeah, the fucking Twitter analysts were telling me to play double duelist nonstop. So I guess I did, and I still fucking lost. So if you guys have any other tips, let me know. I'll play whatever you're recommending for the next game.
Twitter analyst.
Yeah.
Dude, we should do an experiment where a team just gets ran from the most popular advice circulating at any
Yeah, we
given
should.
time.
A team. Honestly, FURIA. Let's do this.
Yeah.
The season's
Furia
over.
just follows the most
Let
popular advice for
Reddit
them.
run your. Let
I think
whatever
it'd
the
be a
most
great
upvoted
experiment.
Reddit comment is, that's what you gotta do.
I'd be down for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the right direction though to go in for crew. They're building towards success. The comps make sense for them.
No, he's doing great, guys. He's doing
They're
great.
doing great.
Don't worry about it.
Wow.
He just talked about retiring last week. No, guys, he's doing great.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on to talking about next week though? Well, just before we do that, let's check in on how the little Timmies did. We gave them a bit of an easy one, I think. Sentinels Cloud9. I'm gonna
Yeah,
guess
very
that the
simple.
majority of people went for Sentinels, but let's find out, Kurt, shall we?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
78%. And you were, of course,
Wow.
right. Sentinels did win. Our match of the week this week is going to be what? I'm going to say MIBR NRG, Kurt.
No.
Oh, there's your grade. B+. Nice.
pretty good.
Good job. Pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
Boo-boo smile.
Pretty good. Good job.
Pretty
What's our match of the
good.
week, Kurt? Is it MIBR
Crew
NRG?
Lev.
You're the analyst.
I'm saying that that's better than Crew Lev, to be honest.
You think?
MIBR. I'm back in. I'm back in on MIBR.
Sure.
Maybe versus NRG.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't mind. They both
Energy.
are really.
Sorry, Dryad. Sorry, Lata. Anyway, that's not our first game, though. Our first game is going to be Cloud9 and 2G scrapping for their lives. Can they win? Can they stay in the league? Not if they lose. And we
And
all
they're
think
gonna
they will.
Nothing can go wrong with
No, surely not. The team with
I
nothing
want
to
to know
play
percentage,
for.
though, for this
The
game.
team
I
with
wanna know
nothing to play for
percentage.
against a team that's literally going through a bit of issues
Well,
last
Cloud9
week.
could still miss playoffs if they lose this game.
Oh, great. Very good.
I mean, that would be astonishing.
It would
if
be
they did.
astonishing, but
How
it could
the hell
happen.
would that even come about? Let me
Because
pull up the
if
standings.
EG need to beat Furia, Cloud9 lose out against 2G and G2. 2G would have 2 wins. They'd be there. There'd be a 3-way tie
Yeah.
beyond maps.
Wait a
Although
minute,
their
they're
maps
so
are pretty
back.
good, so they'd probably still be fine. But
Wait a minute.
probably
anyway,
They're so back.
But I
what's the
think
percentage? I want a percentage for 2G.
for 2G, I'd say this one's a 35. I reckon.
Okay.
It's definitely not impossible for them to be able to win, but they'd have to be playing their best Valorant that they've played all year.
Okay. Well, if Cloud9
If
played like they
Cloud9
did
played like
last
they
week,
yesterday, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It
What if they
doesn't
played
matter.
like
I
last
mean,
week?
It doesn't matter. 2G are not going to play like Sen last week. Those same holes are not going to be exploited to the same degree because they're just not playing against as great of a team. So like 2G, it's all on them in my opinion.
The team with
Okay.
nothing to play for. Scary opponent.
okay. So well, Zeta had nothing to play for as well, and they
Literally
fucked Paper X.
nothing
So
to play for.
anyway, let's move on to MIBR NRG, our match of the week, according to me. Let's see where we've
I
gone.
don't even know what I put. Maybe this is why it's match of the week.
We got an NRG hater who went for NRG.
The
I told you.
haters.
I told
They're
you,
haters.
Real
Went for
has to
NRG.
recognize Real, and as much as I hate them, you got to respect that they're playing good Valorant right now. They fixed the issues. They're not having the same problems as before. And for MIBR, I'm a little bit worried that it is just going to be a flash and plan. What if Kodazia isn't having a good game? What if he's not standing up?
What if
he's
Aspas
not
does?
absolutely mogging the opposite? What if Aspas is a good game?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty normal for him to. I mean, he's supposed to be incredibly consistent. It's been the most strange thing about this year has been the fact that Aspas hasn't had good consistency, to be honest, because he's known for his consistency. But
True.
yeah, the current way the NRG are playing, I gotta respect them. They know ball. They
This
know
one's a
ball,
50-50 though. This one
Yeah.
with
50-50.
MIBR playing well. I
You're
think this is
lucky
a
I
straight
went-
up-
Live.
Yeah, we're not live right now.
Oh.
That's what I was looking at right now.
Yeah. You guys have internet. I didn't. Can you help
Sorry,
me?
I'm like looking. It's because it's super delayed. Wait, we are back. It's
Oh,
back,
we're
now.
back. What?
It is back.
Actually,
We're back.
Yeah, no, I see the Sentinels.
We're live
I do
again.
see it.
Yes,
I
I
see
can
it.
see Bren looking
we're
to
back.
the side.
You guys
We're
said you saw
back.
it already.
You'll never
Anyway.
guess what, guys. You'll
Yeah,
never guess
guy.
what.
TNV lied to me.
Guaranteed Sentinels against EG. You're never gonna fucking believe it. Oh, you've missed a fucking whale of a time back here. We were like, oh, do you think we've guaranteed Sen against EG? Do you think it's happened? Oh, I'm not so sure. I'm not so. We were fucking going crazy.
We had a full
back.
game of rematch.
Yeah, full game of
Oh,
rematch.
yeah.
Fucking
Did you
Bren
actually?
trolling
That was
again.
awesome.
Fucking
trolled again.
hell. Bren trolling.
No, we
Fuck me.
didn't play from
Anyway, Sentinels,
Funny we
they're
did.
gonna be EG. They're gonna
Yeah.
be EG. No one has any doubt in their minds.
I don't think there's much that needs to be said.
No.
about
No,
this.
let's
No.
move on. Let's
Nothing,
go to
no.
a better game. Interesting game. Could have been match of the week, but I decided it wasn't. Lev versus Crew. The LATAM derby.
I'm scared. Wait.
Ooh, a split
Okay,
two
I
and
like
two.
this.
Dryad reveals her favorite child. Why have you gone for Leviathan?
I already said it. I think Crew has a lot of things to work on when it comes to the calling, and I think King's calling over Meltzer is better, and he's always been the better IGL. Seems like I'm hating on Meltzer today, but I swear it's not like that. I swear it's not like that. And regardless, I just think Sato is better
goat.
right now. Yeah, I think he's the go. I think Dante and Kesnet obviously have a lot of potential and a lot of things that they can do together. But I feel like it can be very close. It can go either way, but I just feel like in terms of the general way that both of the teams have been playing and the consistency that they've been having, I think Lev win.
And Bren, a dissenting opinion. Why have you gone for Crew?
Because I think they just need a little bit more time with the double duelist, and I think they found a meta, not a meta, but like comps that suit them. And I don't really think it's going to be a case of Kesnet and Dante taking turns to pop off. It just looks like that on the stat line because that's the way double duelist plays. There's always one player that usually is creating space for the other, and if they're not getting the kills when they're actually going in and they're actually dying, the space that they've made is capitalized off by the other duelist. So you rarely have a game where both duelist players are really popping off. So yeah, I think that they're just going to look better and better and more drilled as time goes on, and they're going to have better ideas to introduce as well, because Crew are not one to shy away from good ideas to open up into rounds for pistols. I didn't mean to do that, but it just it just happened. But yeah, I think they're going to be looking better. And Lev, I think listen, this is a close game. Make no mistake, it doesn't really need to be stated from me because
Our
we are
picks, I
split
think,
down the middle.
accurately represent
Yeah.
the closeness of this game.
It could go either way, but I just have a little bit more faith in Crew. I think that they found their footing, and Lev are a good team, but yeah, I don't know why. I just went with Crew.
I love Lev so much. I'm dyeing my hair blue.
Wow.
Really?
That's
Wow.
okay.
You've been like identifying with the color pink for as long as
It's
I've
been a
known
while. Yeah. it's been a
Yeah.
while.
you. Are you gonna have like bright
It's a
blue
serious
lipstick as
change.
well? Are you gonna have like blue
Why don't you
clothing?
determine it on the result of this game?
Well,
Oh.
I just don't want to wait. I'm very
So you plan
Well,
this ahead of time, and it just so happens to come up that it's Lev
No,
versus Crew
don't
and-
don't
No,
look
no,
behind the
no.
curtain. Don't
Okay,
reveal the
sorry.
Wizard of Oz.
Shit,
no,
my bad.
no,
My
no.
bad.
It's real. It's real. It's because of Lev. If you guys don't know the lore, very quickly is just when Crew in 2021 we were playing champions and they played against FNATIC. I was like, oh, I'll dye my hair pink if Crew win against FNATIC because I had orange hair.
Was that the origin?
Yes,
I
actually.
did not realize that.
Yeah.
The lore.
And then they won against FNATIC, so I dyed it pink.
The law.
And it's been like that for 4 years.
Yeah, well, I've been switching it up a little. You know, I go white and then
Oh yeah,
black
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then,
Switch
you
up a
know.
bit, yeah.
But
All right.
I'm bored, so let's go.
There you go. So let's go,
go,
Lev, I
Lev.
guess.
I guess.
Let's go, Lev.
And if they lose, well,
If you lose, it'll be like me in the clown suit last time I predicted
Yeah.
Leviathan against
it will be
Crew.
funny.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of clowns, let's move on to, I shouldn't say that really, should I? G2 versus FURIA. I have a feeling you might want to
Whoa,
smile.
what do you mean by that?
It doesn't feel good, does it?
I mean,
It doesn't
if,
feel
I feel
good.
great.
if
I feel
Spank Theory is cosmically real,
No, even
how
Spank
many
Theory
times
can't
can
do this.
FURIA get spanked?
One more time. Because
One more
also
time.
think about it. If
They
Basic
played
is
EG
back,
in the last week,
exactly.
honestly.
If Basic
Yeah.
is back for week 5, that could be a great time for Spank Theory to rear its head again. But
But
this one,
this is week 4.
Yeah, no,
so
that's
they're
what I'm
losing
saying.
this one.
So they're losing
They're
this
losing
one.
this
so they're
one.
losing
The
this
spank theory. They need a fourth spank
Right.
Yeah.
before they get hard.
So you're saying
Fully
they're
get
going to
their
beat down
hearts.
EG?
Why
Yeah,
not, Kurt?
that's the
Kurt,
theory.
honestly, I think it'll happen because 2G will make playoffs with 1 win.
No.
And that just feels fitting for that group. It just feels very fitting for that
It
group.
does feel fitting.
No,
But Shayo
you
has
think
said that Furia don't count for Spank Theory. Like they're one of those teams that have just been beaten down instead of beaten hard.
I see. Why have we spent so much time on this game?
I mean,
Let's move on.
Valen said that this was the scariest match, and you know what? Maybe he's right.
Yeah, they have
Right,
spoken.
moving on.
No, okay.
Loud 100 Thieves.
No.
Bring the thing down, Bren. We're
That's
not
valid.
giving
No, that's
any
valid.
credence to
They
that
have
comment.
nothing to
I
lose.
know we're not.
They have nothing to
Kurt,
lose.
No,
fucking
because-
get the graphic up,
Okay.
Kurt. Loud 100 Thieves.
Hold on.
Smile!
1 second. Real quick. Real quick.
I need to leave.
Real
Your
quick.
fucking internet's been dropping. Brent's
Real
fucking
quick.
yapping.
Real
Although,
quick.
Again, it's G2.
Let me, if you just let me
Furia
speak.
playing G2.
If you let
They
me
got
speak, we wouldn't be in
zero
this
champ
mess.
points Against 21.
We wouldn't be in this mess right now if you just let me speak from the get-go. I'm just going to say that right now. But, okay, Valorant has spoken about the fact that they were so used for the last 4 years of being the underdog team, of being a team with always something to achieve, to always prove themselves. And now they are the top dogs. And it's an unfamiliar feeling for them, where constantly they are expected to win no matter what, no matter the circumstances.
Playing Furia.
What happened to Josh? Josh, where
Anything
are
can
you?
happen, bro. Anything can happen. Why? You guys think this is 100% guaranteed pred of G2?
Yes.
No
Yes.
game is 100%.
This game defies Balor's law.
Doesn't
Defies
defy
it.
Valor's law.
spits
Nothing
on it.
defies the laws, Josh. They're
Bring
laws
on
please.
for a
Loud 100
reason.
Thieves.
Please, Kurt.
Please.
I really
This is
hope
good
Furia
content,
wins.
I think.
I hope Furia wins.
Please.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh no! No!
Red
Wait,
was
why am I
good.
doing this, dude? Last
Bread. Good
episode,
bread. Loud aren't that great. 100 Thieves are better than them.
I have things to say. Okay. I showed you guys my jersey. Please respond, 100 Thieves.
This is not as simple as a game as we're making out.
Oh my god.
No, because again, okay, here's why. Stylistically, I think these teams are going to be trying to match each other.
stylistically.
Stylistically, these teams like to play pacey Valorant, and they're going to be trying to find
Yes.
the windows
And one
to try and
team
punish each
is messy
side.
with it, and one team is more clean with it.
It all gets messy when you try and play pacey Valorant. Listen, the only time it looks clean is when you're playing against a slower opponent and get caught off guard. What if they're trying to fight you onto the same tempo? Then you end up with a crew versus loud situation. And those games, naturally, we look at it and we're like, wow, this is really sloppy Valorant. But that just happens when the teams are trying to
Yeah,
play
and
at
also
the max
Loud
tempo.
lost.
You know who lost that
Loud
slot?
lost.
Loud.
But now they've been forged in the fires of crew, and they're going to be ready for 100 Thieves. Now, okay, well,
People are too
why
down on
am I
100
trying to make?
Thieves.
Why
Yeah.
am I trying to make the case for Lau when I predicted 100 Thieves?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And now it's time for the most important segment of the week.
We're moving on.
It's Wyatt's Weekly Award.
Did we want
I love this guy hosting. Yeah.
Just moving on.
It's Wyatt's Weekly Award. Oh, Wyatt, I love your face.
I'm dying.
Very good.
Okay,
Very good.
the last segment of the show, Wyatt's Weekly Award. Right, there's a nomination there that I see in the show notes, so I'll bring that up second. I do have one other little one. It actually hasn't happened yet, but it definitely will happen. I personally would like to nominate XLG and BLG for finishing in the top 2 of China's playoffs, and everyone like Tech and DRG not finishing in the top 4, because Wolves will make champs, and this is how they do it. So I'd like to personally thank XLG and BLG ahead of time for when they finish in the top 2
At that
and
point-
help get Wolves
At
into
that
champs.
point, TMV, I think we should give it to Furia for winning against G2.
Honestly, if Furia beat G2, they can have Wyatt's Weekly Award for the next month. And I don't think anyone would say
Yeah.
otherwise.
No, I think that's valid. But well, maybe Baby Bay could get the award for giving the win to Furia.
Yeah, maybe we'll put one baby. But the
And then
other
it goes
one, let's
back
say
to
the
the
serious
allegations.
one, let's give it to Zekken. Go on, why not? Zekken is on
Yeah.
2,000 kills in VCT. 2,000 kills! And he's only 20 years old. Saicho, how old are you?
20.
Oh,
looking good for 20.
They did check his idea when we were getting wine, so.
Yeah, they refused to serve
Oh.
me at a bar recently while I was out with some of the casters
What
in
was
LA.
it for pensioners only?
They asked for my ID, I didn't have it, and they were like, well, you look well under 30, so I'm afraid we're not going to be able to serve you. I was like, well under 30? Who's a pretty little boy?
Well under 30. Maybe they meant 1930s. Anyway,
I think it's
everyone happy
valid to
with
give it to Zekken. No, yeah, I'm happy with that.
You're happy with that, Brad?
I've said it year on year, but this kid is so damn talented, man. He's so damn talented.
Is Alice okay? Back
She's
there?
losing her shit.
It sounded like she just collapsed to the floor from laughter. And you're like looking down, so my theory might be true. You okay?
She's just laughing at the chat roasting Josh for being old.
What the fuck?
They're just talking like 21 decades, 20 years of
die.
casting, maybe. Just roasting your ass. She's just laughing away. She's giggling away at it.
We should actually give it to Alice, I think. Sorry, second.
We need to
Oh, yeah,
escape the
give it
nepotism.
to
high.
chat. Give it to chat for roasting
We have to give it to a
Josh.
player, man. We never give
We-
it to
we
players.
never
Fine,
give it to
Zekken, well done. Zekken, you win. Plat Chat Valorant episode 228 ended exactly how as I thought it would. Goodbye. Positivity week is over. Back to negativity next week.
Yes, finally.
No.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Kurt, shut up.